All right, ladies and gentlemen, the wait is finally over. Hope you're all doing well. We're back in business, baby. And it is a surprise tournament today. So I wanted to do a little bit of testing on the website and make sure that everything worked for the weekend tournaments. And I was like, hey, who wants to play in a tournament today? And I thought we'd get like 4 or 5 people, but we actually got close to 30 within like 40 minutes of the sign-up announcement, which is pretty cool. So we are in the first best of 3, which is going to be Zyphos facing off against Ulrich Rahl here in the top 4. And as soon as the players are ready, we'll get this started. We'll get this show on the road. How's it going? Yes, welcome. Welcome. Everything's going pretty good. So let us make sure that the players are all good. I'm going to be checking on the website as well to see who has made it. Right now, we have Ulrich Rahl versus Zyphos. And on the lower side of the bracket, it's Random Nix who made it to the top 4. And he's going to be facing off against either A Move Hacker or Void Lols. So we're not sure how that's going to be going, but we will find out nonetheless. Hey, so we got a new member before the stream even started. Right on, man. Don, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be good. We got some high-stakes duels today. I know it's a little bit of a weird time, but again, I didn't think we'd get this many people signing up. I just thought it'd be like a test stream type thing, and we'd go from there. But, I'm not going to complain. So, something else to show you guys. Let me go ahead and get this set while we wait for the players. Zyphos, I believe, is getting a quick snack before we get started here. That looks fine. Let's do this. Cool. Alrighty. So we can switch on over to this. One sec, guys. I just want to show you how the website's looking and everything. It's pretty cool. So we can actually keep tabs on the old brackets and all that on the website. So here is the website. It's been updated, and now when individuals sign up to participate in a tournament, you can log in through your Discord. So, it's much easier in terms of backend management, and also it makes it easier to find your opponents. Something else that's also quite neat about this is now you can see leaderboards. So as people win and lose tournaments, we have an official leaderboard on my website. So obviously right now it's just for myself who's hosting tournaments. So it'll be like the Turin tournament leaderboard. But eventually I'm going to work with other folks to get them on here to do all this sort of good stuff. Have you seen? Yeah, so actually I've been winning a lot of games with Nurgle lately. Yeah, I have. And I have some cool replays to show you guys in the next week. You can't load the website? That's really weird. You should be able to. It's been working all day for everyone. Maybe try and refresh. So you can see the leaderboard right now, right? So this is one feature that we now have. And if we go on over here, you can go on over to the tournament that's happening right now. And you guys, like this website, whether you're a player or somebody who just wants to follow the scene, you can come onto the website, and I'm going to be posting other people's tournaments, right? This is today's tournament. We have one tomorrow, and we have one on Saturday as well, which is a land battle tournament. And this is another 2v2 tournament, which somebody else is hosting. So tournament hosts can basically just send me they can send me links to their tournaments, and I'll happily promote it. So if it's not on my website, I'll just put like a challenge and the sign up, they can basically just go there and do that. But as far as our tournament for today, it's pretty cool. So you can go down, you guys can go to totaltavern.com and you can follow the tournament itself, right? So this was today's tournament. You can see the brackets, you can see their Discord usernames, the wins, the losses, and you can also see now we're in the top 4, right? So we have Zyphos versus Ulrich Rahl and Random Nix versus either Void Lols or A Move Hacker right here. So yeah, it's really, really exciting. Also, we have a check-in feature just like Challenge does and all that. So yeah, here's all the tournament details, the rules. And of course, this is mostly stuff for me to like generate the brackets. But yeah, really, really excited. It's been super fun. And if you guys are new, we have some guides as well. So here you can come and you can read a guide written by B-Master here in chat. Umais wrote this one. It's a really, really cool Cathay guide. So you can come on and learn how to play Cathay. And we'll be adding stuff over the next few months. There's other articles. We have this one written by A Move Hacker about how he improved his game. This is a community interview with a tournament winner from the early weeks with Houseplant by Jay Phoenix. We also have another one from Jay Phoenix about how important chaff units are and how to use them properly. And then we have another blog about, this is more of like an op-ed piece by Effing G about the game and his experience playing and getting into Total War as like an RTS game. So yeah, it's pretty cool. If you guys want, you can see sign up instructions here about how to sign up for events, and we're going to be adding all sorts of neat features, but this is the kind of basics. So this is the tail of the tape. But what's really my favorite feature is being able to see, the leaderboard. And the way the leaderboard is weighted is tournament wins are the heaviest. So tournament wins are the most important thing, and then obviously wins and are the next most important thing. So like tournament wins are the biggest thing. That will make you the boss hog on the leaderboard, because obviously winning a big community tournament is a big accomplishment. So, but that's something open to interpretation and stuff that we're going to be doing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So we got our little slider here, and you guys, if you just want to know when tournaments are happening so you can watch them, you can come here and you can see when they start. And the streams usually start like 2 or 3 hours after the start time. So that is more or less the tail of the tape. Cool. So now we're going to load over. I think we have both players in here. Nope, Zyphos isn't here yet. So let me go ahead and make sure he's all good. And Zyphos, I'll message him. You are up. Give him the link here and invite him. So we had a minor, also today's tournament, I was testing a new rule a little bit for the sake of the tournament. I limited the Kislev bear chariots to the light war sleds to only 2 per army, so people can't like spam them in like droves, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so Armando, yeah, no, it's there's currently a little bit of an issue with the so the leaderboard on the front page is working fine, but the leaderboard page itself, it needs to be updated because it's not currently weighting properly. So I was just talking to my developer who did an excellent job with everything, and he's going to go and fix that a little bit later today or sometime in the next few days. So, but yeah, the front page leaderboard should be working 100% fine. So yeah, we're just kind of ironing out all the details, and now we're in the first best of 3. Cool. So the leaderboard sort of rewards rewards playing more, which is good. Yeah, absolutely. Like tournament wins are the most weighted thing though. So if you win 2 tournaments and nobody else has won 2, no matter how many games they play, the individual who has won the most tournaments will be the boss hog, basically. Yeah, tournament wins are the big thing. So yeah, and like what's cool too, if you go back to the site, we're still waiting for Zyphos here, so I guess I can show you a little bit more. I don't know where he went. Is he still here? Zyphos? You probably didn't know the stream was starting so quick. It tends to happen. But let me go and show you guys this and go back to the main page. And here we go. All right. So yeah, you can find, I know there should be a Discord link up here. This is okay, so there will be a Discord link up here later. Right now we have a YouTube link and then we have a Twitter link. So I'll make sure to have a Discord link, but nonetheless, you can find the Discord by going to any of the tournaments. And there should be an active link to the Discord in all of these. So you guys can find it. I'll make sure to add it up here as well. It was here before, but like I said, we had to redo a lot of stuff on the website. So say that was a factor. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So once again, thank you guys for joining. We'll switch on back over to the battle. Let's have some fun. Let us have some fun. Yeah, we're going to be adding a lot of cool stuff to the website as well. I'm trying to think, like, collect what features people would like to see. So if you guys have any good suggestions, like about things as both a viewer and somebody who wants to participate, that would be great. Like if there's something, one thing I'm going to be adding is like a slider on the bottom or side of the website that basically will have like, oh, here's the community creations, and it's going to have links to miniatures people have painted, like from, Warhammer stuff. So there'll be that. So if you guys want to like submit miniatures you painted, there'll be a section on the website for that, and it'll appear in a slider, and you can like, shout out your painter and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah. So Nicholas, no, I only stream on YouTube. And if you're watching, sometimes when I watch the VODs, you respond to messages that don't show up in the live chat replay. That is simply because YouTube is not as good as Twitch in that regard. Something I will be doing soon is I'm working on like a new graphic, which is going to have the chat. So basically when we're sitting in between games like this, there would be something that would have like the active chat so you could see what I was responding to. So good question there, but I will have that probably for tomorrow's stream. It's not quite ready yet. Good evening from Scotland. Hey, how you doing, man? What time is it over there? The wife and I have always wanted to go to Scotland and check out that glorious realm. Wanted to go to Ireland too. All right, Zyphos is on the way. He'll be here in just a second, and then we'll get started with our match. And I'm going to check on the website and see who has made it to the top 4 between A-Move Hacker and Voidlaws, scrapping it out on the bottom side. What's really nice about this website compared to using Challenge is I have a lot more control. If I need to substitute people in or manage the scores, like I have a lot more back-end control, which is nice. So if there's any tournament hosts who are watching right now and you guys are interested in hosting tournaments on the website, like actually hosting them where you're, because if I link to your tournament but it's on Challenge, it won't feed into my leaderboard that I have. But if you do host on site, which today's test was really good, we had no problems whatsoever. Like it was very, very smooth. Let me know and we can get you going. I'm actually working on patch notes right now. Yeah, I'm working on patch notes, which I'm going to be submitting to Creative Assembly. I've been working with top level players, individuals who have made it to the top of these tournaments over and over again. and getting a lot of really, really good feedback. So I'll have patch notes coming out. I'll be doing a video, and they'll also be posted on this website, and then I'll submit them to Creative Assembly from there. Yeah, so a lot of patch notes. It's pretty dense. A lot of good buffs for Nurgle and Cathay. And of course, it's a little bit more structured around domination mode. All right, Atlas says, Turin, have you considered maybe adding some kind of a build maker system or somewhere to share builds together on the site? I've taken pictures. I had to take pictures and ask some people about my builds. That could be kind of a cool thing. Yeah, I'm going to be posting guides about like build guides and things like that from my own builds that I've had success with. But also like, so are you saying, Atlas, like a feature where you can basically build an army on the website outside of Total War and then like save it and then share it with people in that sense? So you don't have to like screenshot. You could just like save it and it will download it as like a JPEG or something. Is that more or less what you mean? Yeah, do let me know. Good morning from the Philippines. Hey man, Mabuhay, how you doing? I used to work at a Filipino newspaper. That was one of my first jobs out of college. Yeah, I used to write articles for them. I also gained like 30 pounds of eating all the lumpia Shanghai and pancit, and yeah, it was a good time. Hope all is well over in the Philippines. Benjamin, question about Lord selection. Why pick a spellcaster like Katarine over a witch? I know better stats, but if you just want the spells, well, because Katarine has typically legendary caster characters have better items, right? So, they have different items. Like the Ice Witch is a little bit weaker, has access to a Snow Leopard summon. Katarine, on the other hand, has a really good item called Frostfang and a ward save item, making her tankier. So it's really just about what you're looking for in your build and what you want to complement the rest of your build. That is more or less the important variable to be noted there. All right, Zyphos is here. Let me see. Okay. Just chatting with some of the players in the lower rounds here. Just chatting with the lads. Okay, and I think the bottom side of the bracket has been decided. So we will take a look. The players are going to be doing their picks and bans right now, so they will take a look in Discord and get that going. And now we can update the bracket. So I think the bracket was previously set from the last tournament we had, so I just need to update that real quick. So just bear with me. Oh, looks like it's all good. All right, so on the other side of the bracket, we have Zyphos versus Ogre Kingdoms, which is the match you're about to see right now, and then Random Nicks facing off against Voidlaws. Of course, a heavyweight competition here. Bush! We will see how this goes, and we're certainly going to be having some fun. Any plans for 2v2 tournaments? Yes. So also, that's something I wanted to discuss with you guys. Tournaments that are basically alternative formats will not be included on the leaderboard, but I will be hosting them as well. So you just hang tight for that. So things like 2v2 tournaments will probably be hosted off-site, but the tournament will still be posted on the website in case you're like trying to find it or something like that. Just a way to create some, so Atlas was asking about the army builder tool on the website. Just a way to create and share builds and get feedback, kind of like Reddit threads, maybe even up and down vote system. Okay, so maybe let me go ahead and get you guys links to Discord. I see you guys are asking for them right now. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. And all set. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm setting up right now. So I eventually will have something to get you guys a Discord link. But for now, there you go. That will hopefully tickle your old pickle here. So Ulrich and Zyphos can go ahead and do their picks and bans. Let me go ahead and tag the players. Ulrich and Zyphos, go ahead with picks and bans. Alrighty. So we do have Random Nicks against Voidlaws on the bottom side of the bracket. Two of the definitely heavier hitting players in the community right now, as are these individuals on the top side as well. And we have representatives from several of the major clans here. We have RTK, we have ODM. Random Nicks, I don't think is in a clan. I don't think Voidlaws is either. I could have sworn he used to be in VM, but I don't think he is anymore. Any tips for Slaanesh? You would need to give me a specific matchup. You should have a website suggestion page. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will. Because we're going to do another development cycle. Like the web developer, Paul, who's done a great job, is Like, we're just finishing like getting everything functional from the initial project, and then I'm gonna, you know, work with him again over the next few months to add more and more features depending on what you guys would like to see. So that's the plan. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Jay Phoenix, how you doing? We were just showing off some of your articles that you wrote. We were taking a look at the website, and we are live indeed. Yeah, we're just waiting for the first match. Slight delay. One of the players took a break, and I didn't tell them that we were starting so soon. So he is back. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Perfect. So let me make sure they reported the scores correctly. Again, a lot of today's stream is like a debugging type thing to see if there's any issues in the website. Doesn't look like it. Looks like the leaderboard is updating correctly. So right now we can see the number one players on the leaderboard are Zyphos, Voidlaws, Random Nicks, as well as Ulrich Rawl, which is pretty exciting. Although Ulrich didn't update his score correctly. Oh no. Oh no, maybe he did. Okay, no, he did do it correctly. So we're all good. All right. Life is good. Do I have any interest in the Elden Ring? Yes. My wife has been playing it, so I've kind of been enjoying it through her. You know, because I can't really use controllers. It's a little bit hard on my old man hands because I have, you know, nerve damage in my right hand. So it's hard to like grip it and like use the pull triggers on the back. But I just watch her play it, which is fun. Trusty, helping contribute to the prize pool money for today. Thanks, Turin, for everything you do for the community. Thank you. And hopefully you're enjoying all the tournaments and good times. Hoping to see glorious melee combat. Well, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will indeed. Where are the players from? All over the place. Yeah, I don't know where Ulrich is from, but Zyphos, I think, is from France. I mean, it's, you know, we have players from all over the globe. I would say probably a larger majority of players are from Europe, or like from Europe somewhere. UK, Europe, you know, all over that part of the world. We have a handful of American players, certainly not as many. Not as many. There's been some very noteworthy top tier American talent for sure in Total War that continues to compete to this day. Obviously, today's tournament was a little bit of a weird time, so many Americans were at work today. So typically, if you see events during the week like this, it's mostly going to be Europeans playing, or folks in time zones that are conducive to that. But Americans will typically play in the weekend tournaments. Professor Pone wants to be the final boss. Ah, there you go. There you go. Can you talk about some of the changes you made in your patch notes? Yeah, I can talk about that. So let me go ahead and pull it up right now. We can do a little bit of a look. It's still a work in progress. So like, as far as the patch notes are going, it's not like something that's really, really like, you know, CA isn't going to make all these changes. They might take a look and make a couple, but so a couple things. In terms of basic functionality, I think having the starting funds be closer to 10,000, so you have a bigger starting army. Something else I'd like to see is expanding the width of existing maps so that they are not as like choke pointy, because sometimes like do you know how bad it's going to feel when vampire counts come into a domination game with double vampire caster, and since there's like tiny choke points to get to objectives, you just like drop zombie summons there nonstop and they can never get through. You know, never get through, right? So I think like making the maps a little bit more less of like a choke point type situation on every single map would be good. Another change that is a little bit kind of a tinfoil hat one is adding a 5 to 10 second delay to summons. So summons aren't instant, but that way, like if somebody's turtling by their spawn and like has artillery back there, right now it's very difficult to actually shut that down on some maps. So if there's a delay to the summons of like 5 to 10 seconds, you have to plan ahead a little bit better, and you can't just like respond instantly to threats in your back line. I think that might be good, but that one's like a little bit more of a tinfoil hat one. Now, Tzeentch is one of the big problem children. The first matchup is going to be Ogre Kingdoms versus Kislev today, by the way. So the players have done their picks, and now I believe they're working on their armies. We'll go ahead and double check here real quick. Yep, and oh no, it's going to be Slaanesh versus Ogres. A really fun matchup, and Zyphos is actually one of the best Slaanesh players in the entire community. So for anybody who wants to see some Slaanesh in action, that's going to be the play. Now, talking about the other patch notes. So basically, Tzeentch shield regen, I think, should be changed from basically a 15-second window of recharge to a 30-second. So Tzeentch shields currently recharge at 15 seconds right now, which sometimes they don't take damage even when they're in combat and they recharge. And if you change that to 30 seconds, it would help quite a bit. The other change that I think you should do to Tzeentch shields is that they cannot regenerate shields if they're in melee combat. One of the biggest bullshit things I've seen with Tzeentch is they'll have like a Lord of Change fighting like another Lord or monster, right? But if that enemy Lord misses like 3 or 4 attacks in a row, his shield is going to regenerate when he's in combat. So I think personally shields should not be allowed to regenerate in combat. Or maybe even if they're being, I don't know, being shot at is a little bit different because at least you have to micro and juke that. But in combat, it's just kind of ridiculous when that happens. Exalted Flamers need a buff. I don't know what. I'm not like a developer. I don't have that. But Exalted Flamers need some sort of a buff or tweak. Currently, they're just not that great. Cultists. Now, this is a blanket change for all cultists for every single faction. I think that cultists need 100 gold increase in every single faction. Nurgle, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, Khorne. The cultists are really, really like underpriced for what they do. And I think they need a cost increase because in domination mode, what people do is they summon a cultist. They have a Tzeentch cultist that costs 600 gold. They summon a 700 gold unit of pink horrors, and then they use the power stone. Okay, you're just getting so much value. Then they unsummon it, and in domination mode, this gives you a refund. So they get like 350 gold back or something. It's just really, really broken. Yep. So it looks like Slaanesh is ready. We'll keep going over the patch notes in the meantime. So cultists for every faction. Flaming Chariots for Tzeentch, we're going to buff them, give them 50% more ammo. Blue Horrors for Tzeentch are one of the most OP things in the game, actually. So the solution to them, at least as far as our patch notes go, is adding 50 gold cost, so they cost 450. A Blue Horror is so much better than a Nurgling, but they cost like the same, basically. It's absurd. So right now you're adding 50 gold cost to them and reducing their ammo by 2, because with 5 shots, I think that is a little bit too much. So they would go down to 3 shots, and they would also get a gold increase of plus 50. Screamers would get a buff. They get plus 10 armor, plus 500 health. And now this is another really big change. Right now with all of the really, really big, cool demons, you have the Lord of Change, the Great Unclean One, but they come with spells that cost 1s of magic, and you're paying for that, which sucks. So a big change we would have for all the demon factions is now each of the greater demons would get 1 charge of each of their spells with no 1s of magic cost. So a Great Unclean One could come in and cast 1 Stream of Corruption and 1 Miasma of Pestilence for free. So that's what I would suggest. I think that would make them much more interesting units. Okay, players are still picking their armies, so we have a little bit more time to talk. Next up, we have Slaanesh. Cultists would get a cost increase. Inkari would get a cost reduction of minus 50. Demonettes are one of the worst units, so they would basically get minus 50 cost, and they would get plus 2 melee defense. So Demonettes would get a slight buff. You obviously fix those Slaanesh chariots so they do their damage correctly. You add Soporific Musk to the spawn. Keeper of Secrets, the normal version, gets a minus 150 cost, and their spells are now bound. So this isn't like an exalted one, it's just a basic Keeper of Secrets. Yeah. So Ogre Kingdoms, you would get Greasus is going to get a buff in my patch notes. Greasus gets plus 5 speed, so he has 40 speed, and he's not like a complete potato, okay? And then you give him plus 40 AP weapon strength. So Greasus is like a little bit faster and a little bit of a better fighter, because right now Greasus is an absolute just shithouse unit, and it's just a complete meme. But the cool part about buffing him like this is it wouldn't come with any cost increases. He would just get a little bit faster speed, so he'd be at 40, so he could actually keep up with the other ogres, and he would get better weapon strength. So at least if he does catch you, he can put up a huge fight. Ogre Bulls get a cost increase, all variants of plus 50, because they're just too cheap for what they do. Their capture weight is insane, their speed is insane, they're great fighters, it's just like absurd. Gorgers, you would reduce their model count to 12 from 16, so basically Gorgers would be going down to 12 models instead of 16. So that's like what? Like a 25% nerf to their HP, to their damage output. And you would also reduce some of their damage profiles a little bit. Maneater Pistols, a little bit of an abusive unit for sure. They would get 100 cold cost increase. Iron Blasters, just a whole slew of changes. But, you know, I think Creative Assembly's got that one covered, so I don't really need to get into that. Ogre Hunters get a cost increase of plus 100, and Saber Tusks also get a cost increase. Because for 500 gold, they're not that much worse than Corn Dogs, and they literally cost 200 less. So I think like giving them 100 to a 50 gold increase is probably warranted. So yeah, now you guys are ready for the good stuff. This is where it's going to get fun. The game's about to load in, so we're going to talk about Nurgle real quick in the next one. But Nurgle has some great ones. Kugath gets an ammunition increase. His Nurgling infestation becomes a stronger heal, goes from 0.1 to 0.2. And now, get this. Big boy Kugath gets poison wind mortar effects on his attacks. So when Kugath throws his little Nurgling bombardment, it has a damage over time plague effect on it, which is the reason why poison wind mortars are good. Because then suddenly Kugath is a ranged threat. Yeah, he's slow. He's not a great fighter for what you're paying, but his ammunition's better and he has poison wind effects, which is so good. And there's a bunch of other changes for Nurgle we'll talk about. So anyways, now we're in the battle. Let's have some fun. And hopefully you guys enjoy that. Yes. Yes. It's going to be great. So, in game 1, ladies and gentlemen, we have the forces of the Chungus Kingdoms led by Ulrich Rahl, and it's going to be a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. So, Slaughtermaster is just a great, cost-effective character, really. Good fighters, mobile. They have shields. Can't complain. And it's going to be an Iron Blaster, a single one, to try and snipe these Slaaneshi characters. And look at this. Very interesting choice. You guys like that Kugath effect? How cool would that be? That would be so cool. Like, because then he's at least different from the Great Unclean One. If you just like slap a Mortis Engine on each of them, you know, it's not going to be great, right? It's like the classic, you know, meme of like putting tape over something, which is a Mortis Engine. But if you give him Poison Wind attacks, then it's similar to a Mortis Engine, but it's also unique to his playstyle. No, these are not their patch notes. These are patch notes that myself and other high-level players have been working on. But anyways, it's going to be double Iron Guts. We do also have a couple Ogre Bulls with dual weapons, and that's it. Now, for the forces of Slaanesh, who are going to be led by Xiphos, mighty champion of ODM. He does have a Herald of Slaanesh right here, kind of flying about with the whip and some of those other abilities. Acquiescence, a very good spell. Basically, with Slaanesh, the main thing you want to do is just spam abilities to get the passive, the Blissful Rapture. It gives your entire army melee attack. It's basically like Wurzag's buff from the Bonewood Staff. It's really strong. And it's going to be Marauder Spears into the sunset here. On the other side of the map, we do have some Hellstriders and Cav hiding in the bushes, and more Spears hugging the edge of the wall. Yeah, so there's going to be... Yeah, no, we haven't gotten to Kislev yet, guys. Once we finish this game, and when we have a little bit of downtime to talk, we will go over Nurgle. All of these patch notes are going to be posted on my website in the next day or two, so you guys can go through, and I'm welcome to feedback as well. But we're just going to be submitting to these to CA, so at some point down the road, hopefully this can be feedback that at least some of it can be integrated, which would be great. Hey, my wife is here. Lady Turin here in chat. The smoking hot wife appears. She says hello. It is going to be good. So here, dual weapon bulls up on the high ground. Slaanesh is going to be playing objective 1 and probably 3 would be my guess. Typically if you're playing Slaanesh, you're not going to be wanting to engage against like an Iron Blaster position. The double Iron Gut is interesting, and what this is normally, you know, you wouldn't want to bring Iron Guts against Slaanesh. They have super cost-effective armor piercing, but if the Slaanesh player is spamming cheap spear units, having the big chunky Iron Guts and their armor against the non-AP spears is going to be quite nice for sure. Oh, Alex, you're going to be so stoked once you hear the Cathay changes. You're going to be so excited. Those ones are my favorite. The Cathay changes are amazing. Like, because they have so many things that could be so cool that just aren't, right? So right now, Ogre Bulls and the Iron Blaster are moving up to the high ground. There's no way they can see this. Xiphos is going to be summoning some spears and moving up towards objective number 3 right now. We will have to see. Iron Guts are one of my favorite units, and what I also love about Ulrich's build is there's no Gorgers. Gorgers, it's so fun having games without Gorgers. Granted, they're not like amazing against Slaanesh because you're paying for a lot of armor piercing, but still, they're very, very strong indeed. So Spears moving up. It looks like this could actually be a disaster for the Ogres. If they collapse here on these Spears, thinking it's a freebie, and then all these Cav just pop out with 100 speed and just go balls deep and run them down, this could be a huge, huge loss. We'll see if the Ogre Bulls try and stay and kind of last the test of time here. Now, these Slaaneshi forces are going to be moving down from the high ground here, so we do have the old Marauders of Slaanesh moving, as well as some Marauder Spears moving down to the objective to contest that. And I would imagine the Slaaneshi Cav will be following up relatively soon. One Iron Blaster up in the hills, and now the Slaanesh Cavalry has emerged from its ambush. These are Seekers. These are more Seekers of Slaanesh. Very, very powerful units, but the Ogres do have some Ogre Bulls nearby. So they are going to be relatively prepared for this. And I would imagine Slaanesh is going to be pushing in from the other side as well. Yes, they are. They're going to be grabbing the objective. You have to be careful of overstaying your welcome here, because these Seekers, though they will beat Ogre Bulls, if more Ogre units are able to pile in and really change the dynamic of this fight, it could be kind of tough for sure. Hellstriders of Slaanesh going to be moving up on the edge of the map right here, and now going to be getting a good surround. So very, very nice play. Many of these Ogre units are going to be crumped, but the Power Fist of the Great Maw comes down and drops the big bows right on top of that Seeker of Slaanesh. But the Ogres do collapse here. The Ogres collapse here as well. And now, very good play by Xiphos. We actually also get the Furies of Slaanesh on top of Iron Guts. And they're basically like a hard counter, right? Like huge, high value, armor piercing, really doing great work. And Slaanesh is a little bit behind on value, but they are holding the 2 objectives, and the Ogres have yet to capture an objective here. So this is really, really big for Xiphos. If he can kind of keep the fighting over here, get ahead on points, and then use his mobility to threaten different objectives and whatnot, that is going to be incredibly strong for sure. So here comes more Hellstriders of Slaanesh moving up to battle the Iron Fist. Spears trading very, very cost effectively. Some of the Seekers being worn down by Saber Tusks here. And sorry about the dreaded Michael Bay lens flare here, but is it Michael Bay? Who did all the lens flare? Is it the guy who did the new Star Trek movies? Yeah, I can't remember, but there's a lot of that. But Slaanesh is getting the old sandwich for sure. They're only behind by a couple hundred value, which is a huge win for Slaanesh. And honestly, Xiphos really showing that, you know, the Ogres can be taken down. And I have to tell you guys, for all of you Nurgle fans in chat, I have actually played a couple tournament-style games against Ogre Kingdoms with Nurgle on Domination mode, and I've been winning. I have a build that has been doing very, very well for sure. So excited to show you. Now, this is the danger of the Ogres fighting in the Slaanesh spawn zone. They're getting reinforcements in even quicker than they normally do. The Chaos Furies have amazing armor piercing here, so they're able to just surround these Iron Guts and just provide a ton of value. And the Slaanesh Cav are really, really getting that bump and grind going. But the Ogres are also trading quite well. And now the Ogre is going to be coming in for a second win. So we do get Ogre Bulls and dual weapons moving towards the middle. I would imagine that Xiphos will probably move some spears here, but Xiphos is up by almost 1,000 points. And the Ogres are just trying to value trade right now, which is very, very risky. It's J.J. Abrams. Yeah, he's the Lord of Lens Flare. That's what I thought. All right, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's like camouflage, the blinding lights here. Always a good time. But the Ogres probably will eventually push this back. If Xiphos can keep the score kind of even, that's a big win for him, I would say, especially against the Chungus Kingdoms. We do have some spears moving up and some Hell Scourges, which are going to be jumping on that objective. And Xiphos is getting more and more ahead in terms of score. He's currently up to about 1,200 right here. Another Ogre Power Fist coming down, but that one didn't seem to do much. And the Slaaneshi Spears and the Cheat Calves seem to be trading super cost effectively against the Iron Guts. And also, the Slaughtermaster is a little bit overexposed here. Could potentially be killed. If some of the spears could jump on top of this unit, maybe they could. Now, Ogre Bulls have gotten onto the middle objective, but the Marauder Spears have equal capture weight, so they should be able to probably fend them off. This is really important for Xiphos not to lose us here. Getting onto those units with his Marauders is going to be a big one, but look at that. Ulrich Rahl doesn't really care for the objectives that much right now. Although, right as I say that, on the other side of the battlefield, he is moving some Gnoblar Trappers across, and he's going to be trying to ninja Objective 1, which I think is a masterful play here by Ulrich. This is going to be great because it's a stock unit and Xiphos will not see it coming, but Slaanesh can react really quickly, but even still, it's going to be something fun to watch. So here comes all the Spear Boys. They have their mutated spear arms, and they should be able to shank down these Ogre Bulls, no problems. Slaanesh still trading well here, and Xiphos does get the gooning opportunity, so the Herald of Slaanesh moving in. Going after the Slaughtermaster, Acquiescence has been used here. That's going to be some nice punishment for sure. His melee defense is down to 24. And Slaanesh, you know, heroes and characters in general are very good in combat. And also Xiphos does use the Locus of Grace, which is going to be giving physical resist and melee defense. Very, very beautiful stuff for sure. And now Xiphos is up by quite a bit. It's not obviously to the point where it would need to be a 3 cap, but it's kind of getting to that point. So the Chungus Kingdoms are going to have to figure it out as Xiphos pulls ahead by like 1,000 value here in Game 1. The Ogre Kingdoms are on the back foot, which is something we don't say terribly often here in this community. But more and more Ogre Bulls with the Iron Fist are being sent out. Now, you might be wondering, why would you bring Iron Fists here if you're facing off against a faction with no shooting? Well, the answer to that is because they have higher melee defense than the other Bull variants, much like shielded units. So you'll often see that in a bunch of different matchups here. So here they come. The Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists are moving in, and the Marauder Spears and the Hell Scourges able to push them back. Xiphos securing the middle objective, but the dreaded cap at the top. Does he know this is coming? They're hidden right now. Xiphos, though, maybe just has the wisdom. He must have seen the summon. Because with stock units, you can still see the summon here, right? And here, the Hell Scourges are going to be moving up to secure this objective, which I think is a very big play. And Xiphos is also winning the high ground engagement. I think he actually did snipe the Ogre Lord, too. I think the Slaughtermaster was actually killed by the Herald of Slaanesh. And now the Iron Blaster is trapped up by a bunch of fast cav. And these are Seekers with really good armor piercing, so they should be able to eventually drag this bad boy down. And looks like it's going to be a safe cap here. Yeah, the Gnoblars do arrive. They have great capture weight. They have equal capture weight to the Marauders of Slaanesh, but the Marauders of Slaanesh will get them whips out, and they're really going to be showing these Gnoblars who's boss. Although if the Gnoblars do get to the edge of the objective and block them off, they might be able to capture that, but I don't think that's going to be happening. So here they come. Marauders are going to be getting the Ninja Stars from the Gnoblar Trappers, and they do have these shields, going to be very, very durable here. And it seems like Slaanesh is kind of evolving at least in the meta. I've seen them being a pick quite often against the Ogre Kingdoms, and it seems like in the hands of really, really good players like Xiphos, it actually does work pretty well. I mean, that was a competitive Ogre build. It obviously didn't have Scrag and Gorgers and whatnot, but I don't know how good Gorgers and Scrag are in this matchup. I still feel like the Gorgers probably would be very strong, but who knows? So Iron Blaster here is on the run. Here comes the Herald dropping the Locust, but at that point, the game is over more or less. I think Ulrich had lost out on value, battlefield position, and Xiphos was able to claim victory in game 1 with Slaanesh. Very, very cool play. That was super fun to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one as much as I did, and now we're going to be going to game 2. So here we go. The next map is going to be the Eye in the North. The dreaded Chaos lands, they call to us, and we will see what their picks and bans are going to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, back to the patch notes. We are going to be talking Nurgle. So, Nurgle, you're giving Kugath another 8 ammunition. You're buffing his Nurgling infestation, so his Nurglings will be healed quicker around him. And you're giving him a poison wind effect. Turin, I think it's time to remove Gojira as the mod and introduce him to the timeout faction. What is the... Anna, do you and Misha vote on this together? Is this unanimous here? That was a really good game. Yeah. All right, so Kugath gets a poison wind mortar effect. So basically his ranged attack becomes a poison wind mortar. The Herald on the Palanquin mount gets plus 500 HP. Pox Riders of Nurgle get extra melee attack. Cultists get a cost increase. Nurglings get a cost reduction of minus 50. Because compared to like what they do, like with blues or other units around that 350 price point, I think they could use it. Plague Ridden, which are the Nurgle characters, are extremely overpriced. So these bad boys, I think, need a cost reduction of minus 100 gold. Next up, we have Plague Bearers. Plague Bearers are the basic infantry unit. When you compare them to the Bloodletters and to the Tzeentch basic infantry, they're just very lackluster. They're okay in a couple matchups, but I actually think there's 2 things I'm proposing for Plague Bearers, both variants. One is that Plague Bearers get a very weak regeneration, so they constantly are healing. Or 2, Plague Bearers get an ability, and this is the one I'm leaning towards a little bit more, of giving Plague Bearers a Cloud of Flies ability like they have in Tabletop that gives them missile resistance. Because right now, Plague Bearers just get melted so hard by any missiles, and that's basically Nurgle's holding unit. So I think giving Plague Bearers either 15, 25% missile resist or some sort of a regeneration function would be very good. Plague Drones get a cost reduction, in my opinion. I think the Death's Head ones could also be reduced, give them more ammo, and the Great Unclean one obviously gets bound spells as well. So these are my own patch notes that I'm going to be sending to CA. Yeah. Next, we get to Kislev. So for Kislev, Ice Guard, I think, need a cost reduction. I think they're a little bit overpriced compared to like Sisters of Avalorn and things like that. So I think you could lower the cost of both Ice Guard variants by 50 gold. Patriarchs, I think, could use a little bit of an increase with the double Patriarch build and the spam healing. So I think plus 50 gold for Patriarchs. Next up, we have the Light War Sleds for Kislev. I think that these bad boys need a big cost increase up to either 1050 or 1100, and they need to have their armor reduced by either 20 or 30. Elemental Bears, I think, could use a cost reduction. I think they're a little bit overpriced for what they do. Like, honestly, in terms of functionality, they could be around like 2000 instead of 2200, and maybe a melee defense buff as well. Griffin Legion, I think, needs a cost reduction to be more in line with Reiksguard Knights. They cost 1200 right now. I think you could reduce them to 1150. And Warbear Riders, I think, are a little bit squishy, so maybe giving them a little bit of melee defense, like +2, could be a nice change. But these are all things I'm still working on, guys. So just bear with it. Bear with it. For Khorne, let me just make sure they're good. Okay, so yeah, they have the map. They're going to do their picks and bans, and I'm just going to make sure they don't have any questions as we load forward here. Website feedback, great. All right, cool. Yeah, looks like we're good. No questions from the tournament, and we can kind of continue on and keep having a good old jolly time. All right, so for Khorne, Blood Reapers have an ability right now, which gives plus 60% magic resist for a short period of time. I think that the Locusts on the Blood Reapers, which are never used, you never see these units, should be changed to a constant effect, which gives you plus 30 to 40% spell resist constantly. So now they have you can lower the effect radius a little bit, but the Blood Reapers should give a constant aura. The activated ability sucks. It's terrible. Like, it's terrible. The Blood Shrines need plus 50 weapon strength. They're just god-awful. Cultists plus 100 for Khorne, just like everyone else. Skull Cannons need to be buffed pretty hardcore. I think giving them plus 6 ammo and plus 35 missile damage would be a big change and would actually make them a viable counter against some Ogre Kingdom shooting. Right now, currently Khorne has no answers against that. Bloodthirsters are disgustingly overpriced. I think that they could be reduced by like 100 gold. 2,300 is absurd. I think 2,200 is fine. And Minotaurs of Khorne are also quite subpar. I think they're one of the worst units in the roster for their price point. They can be okay, sure, if they fight in the right engagements, but they're overpriced. They're a lot more expensive than the Beastmen variants, and yeah, you get a little bit of armor, but they still shouldn't be that much more. And I do think that the Minotaurs of Khorne should have a cost reduction of 200 gold. Now, on to the good stuff. We are here on to Grand Cathay as we wait for the next match here in our best of 3. Hear me out. Grand Cathay, the Magistrate, he has one item right now called the Kite of Uttermost Airs. What this does is, right now, is it's a Mortis engine against flying units, which is pretty god-awful, because Mortis engines are terrible against low model count units. So if you have a Mortis engine against Plague Drones, against, you know, like even against Furies, it's not that good. It maybe is okay against like Fellbats and Furies, but it really isn't that good. I suggest replacing the Magistrate's Kite up in the air with an AoE melee attack debuff for enemy flying units. So instead of doing a Mortis engine, it lowers the melee attack of nearby attackers by -8. Okay, I think that'd be great. Also, the Shield of Nan Gao is one of the worst abilities in the game. It's his other activated. It's like right now, it just like, if he's standing still, it gives like a buff. If the blimp is standing still, it's such a crap ability. So the Shield of Nan Gao is changed to an ability that you can activate, and it gives 20% missile resist and 20% and 20 armor to nearby units for 20 seconds. So the blimp can like sit on top of your main line and give them missile resist. It can give them armor and also provide harmony. I think that'd be super cool. Now, here is another big change for Cathay, which I think would be a game changer and would actually make them much better in domination mode. Both Miao Ying and Zhao Ming would bring their respective harmony on a stick. So if you have Miao Ying, she provides the yin harmony to all nearby troops. If Miao Ying is fighting in the front line, she is giving harmony to the infantry fighting there. If Zhao Ming is protecting your back line, he is giving the yang harmony to give you the buffs in your back line, which would be sweet. Like, that would be so nice, because right now it's like impossible to get harmony like effectively, like in a consistent basis in domination mode without, you know, like messing up your formations. And now if you have like these big leadership characters that provide the harmony based on their respective alliance or allegiance to harmony, I think that'd be great. Peasant archers get a cost decrease down to 400. Jade warrior crossbowmen get a cost decrease of -50. Celestial dragon crossbowmen get a slight damage buff with a little bit of AP. Jade lancers get +4 melee attack. Currently, Cathay has almost no options for dealing with, you know, like how does Cathay peel chaff units? They don't. You just get pinned and you just can literally do nothing. If you gave Jade lancers a slight melee attack buff, I think they would actually be quite good at peeling. It would definitely help a lot. Great Longmire Riders are really overpriced. Why are you paying 1,500 gold for a Great Longmire Rider when Bretonnia pays 1,100 gold for a Pegasus Knight, which is honestly just about as good? Right? Like, why are you paying 400 gold more for a unit that's not that much better? And maybe even not. So I think Great Longmire Riders need a cost reduction to 1,400 gold, if not 1,300. Maybe 1,350. They're currently just so overpriced. Iron Hail Gunners, give them a little bit more range, put them up to 100 would be nice. Now, this is the moment that you guys are all waiting for. Okay, picks and bans in the match. Ulrich Rahl is on Slaanesh and Zyphos is on Ogre Kingdoms. Oh my god, that's so funny. I love it. We ran into... they're flipping the coin. Okay. The Sky Lantern gets a buff to 35 speed. And now, dude, Sky Lanterns have an ability right now, guys. Right now, that gives them forest spotting. A Sky Lantern can look into trees better. Do you know how stupid that is? So basically, you replace that ability... And Sky Lanterns become flying corpse carts for the vampire counts. Sky Lanterns give an Overwatch ability called the Eye of the Dragon, where it gives +5 melee attack and +5 melee defense to units underneath them. Okay. How cool is that? You have a blimp, it's providing air support for your ground troops. It gives melee attack and melee defense with the Overwatch support. Boom. That's going to be so awesome. Suddenly, basic lanterns, okay, their DPS sucks, but at least they have like a buff for your ground-based troops, which is super cool. And you also reduce the multiplayer cost from 900 to 800 per Sky Lanterns. Next up, we have the Sky Junk. Why not buff Longmire Riders? Because I think functionally they do fine. I think just reducing their costs will make them a little bit more viable. Yeah. So next we have the Sky Junk. The Sky Junk gets a speed buff up to 35. You increase its ammo up to 20. You limit its infinite ammo. So no longer Sky Junks will be shooting infinitely when they run out of ammo. And you also make it so the manual fire consumes the correct amount of ammunition. So it's more like bug fixes there. The Fire Rain Rocket is going to get a -50 cost increase, is something I've suggested. Now, all of you Cathay fans in chat, this is the time to get hyped, because if Creative Assembly does this next one, we're going to be getting some Wu Jing all up in here, all right? So the Wuzhing War Compass gets a cost reduction from 1100 to 900. But all of the abilities on the Wuzhing War Compass are bound abilities that don't cost Winds of Magic now, but they have limited charges. So it gets 2 charges of the Celestial Lightning and 1 charge of the Celestial Comet. And they don't cost any Winds of Magic. So basically it's like a Winds of Magic battery station that has a couple bound spells, which is going to be sweet. That would be super sweet. Harmony, I think, should get an effect radius increase so it reaches a little bit further. And obviously, Creative Assembly needs to rework Formation Attack. So that's something they need to do internally to take care of that. I don't really know how that works. So, all right. So these patch notes will be posted on my website in the next day or two. I'm not done with them yet. I'm still working with these great lads. I've been working with, shout out to Aerocrastic, Random Nix, and Hadries. They've been helping me with these patch notes and giving a ton of great feedback and, adding a lot of this stuff themselves based on their experiences in these tournaments. So that is more or less the jam. Now we're back to business. How do you guys like those changes, though? I think like the lantern being like a flying buffing station is so cool. Like that'd be so awesome. You approve of these changes? Yeah, I think so. I think they're good. I love how excited I'm getting for patch that almost certainly won't happen. You'd be surprised, Evan. I think Creative Assembly will maybe at some point take them into account. And now the Greater Demons would also have bound spells too, because it's so dumb to pay 2,000 for a Great Unclean one. Then you have to pay Winds of Magic to cast its spells when you already have a caster. Like, why am I paying extra gold for those spells? Like, make those bound spells that have 1 charge. Need more bound spells, not casting spells. Agreed. That would make the compass itself better, yeah. I think so. Hey, Meloria, thank you for the donation. Hey, Turin, hope all is well. Is there any sort of genre of game you'd like to see Warhammer Fantasy 40k besides shooters or RTS? Yeah, oh, you'd like a horror game? Well, we kind of have that. Okay, let me see. Genre of game you'd like to see Warhammer Fantasy 40k besides shooters or RTS? Let's see. What's something that hasn't been done? Yeah, I think a 40k like survival game on like a Space Hulk could be really cool, like a scary one. Yeah. Meloria, thank you so much. Yeah, a horror game would be really cool. Yeah, Atlas. Yeah, I'll add something in Discord. No buff for Keeper of Secrets? Yeah, the Keeper of Secrets get free spells as well. He does also. All of the Greater Demons in the patch notes I'm working on are going to be getting free spells. Whatever spells they had, they just get for free, and they have the respective 1 charge of each of them. Yeah, Nurgle, the thing is, guys, I don't want to like completely rework how the rosters work, because the thing is Creative Assembly is going to be doing DLCs, which will probably address many of the weaknesses. So it's just like adding some functionality and some things that are just god-awful and making them good, like the Wuzhing, the War Lantern, like all that kind of stuff. Are you going to have... No, Demons of Chaos would just be balanced with the other factions, probably, Lars. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be really cool. Yeah, Necrons would be a really fun one to have a horror game about. I agree. Yeah, they're very scary. Very, very eldritch. All right, guys, loading into the next match. How different will this be played? It is an Ogre Kingdom versus Slaanesh match as well. Currently, Xiphos is up 1-0 in the series, but now Xiphos is commanding the Ogre Kingdoms, and it looks like his build is quite different. He's got double Gorger. He does also have Noblars. We got Man-Eater Pistols, more Noblars, and it's going to be... For a second, I thought, oh, the Iron Blaster is the Lord. Oh, my God. So he didn't even bring a Lord. He legit has the Iron Blaster as his Lord. Wow, what a weird army. The Iron Blaster is the Lord. Hey, how's it going, Doctor? Yeah, so those are the patch notes. But I'm going to be posting them in their full glory once I fine-tune them, and I'm going to have like a final once-over with the lads. I'll post them on the website, send them over to Creative Assembly, who have expressed interest in looking at them and, collecting feedback based on them. So I think some of the changes could come into effect, but, like it's basically free play testing, right? Like for CA, it's a win because they're getting people who actually play competitive multiplayer to give their time to, provide this feedback. So I don't see why they wouldn't, I don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah. The Blaster is good against Slaanesh. Yeah, it is. It is. It's like something that Slaanesh has to deal with, You could park the Iron Blaster. Is there like a fire belly under there? Wait. Oh my God. That's what was tripping me out, dude. I was like looking. I was like, since when is there a torch on the side of this Iron Blaster? No, but Xiphos brought a fire belly with Burning Head, Flaming Sword, and Cascading Fire Cloak. Okay. That was tripping me out super hard. I was like, what the hell? There's like an Iron Blaster fused with this thing. It's like something out of a John Carpenter movie. Just this like this 80s body horror, like ogre mutated into an Iron Blaster. Yeah. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff indeed. So the Iron Blaster is scooting up. Ulrich Rahl is going to be splitting up his old Slaaneshi forces. For Ulrich, he did some very, very different stuff. He's got the Fiends. So Fiends obviously were not used in Xiphos' build at all, but perhaps they'll be a little bit more effective here. God, look how fast Slaanesh is. It's pretty insane. We do have the Hellstriders moving on the other side and the Fiends, and this map has some pretty good line of sight too. I mean, it still is mostly open, but yeah, you can use these giant pillars, which, God, how cool. This map is, I think, one of the more well-designed of the Domination maps. Like, different builds are open on this one for sure. Man, it's very, very good. Xiphos about to be disappointed in that Burning Head. I agree. It's a very weak spell. It's so funny. Burning Head was like the pendulum of the end of game 2. It was like every matchup was dictated. So many matchups were dictated by Burning Head. Literally, like, Tomb King sucked because of Burning Head. But now it's just like a spell that just is not great. So Iron Blaster just kind of scooting up. Gonna be taking some pot shots while I take a sip of water. No game audio. Did I accidentally hit the button? Sounds like there's game audio. There's game audio. Unless I muted it. No, it's still going. Okay. I could raise it a little bit if you guys would like. Let's go to the... is it going to let me do it? Okay, we can go to the... Give it a little razzle-dazzle, a little 5% raise for you. How's that sound? All right. Now back in the battle. The Iron Blaster shooting downtown into the old Marauder Spears of Slaanesh. And up in the hills, the Fiends and other fast units are waiting. This is a little bit dangerous for sure. The fact that the Ogres are sitting their entire army in this like one point where maybe Slaanesh can get a big surround, it's very, very dangerous. I think Slaanesh should be able to get this back objective as well. They have some Marauder Spears moving across. It is a little bit low as well though. So I don't mind giving the audio a little bit of a raise. Let me know if it's too loud, guys. Do appreciate that. You good? Just quiet. Yeah, I raised it a little bit. My levels are quite low in that regard. So you know what I'm also very excited about for this tournament is afterwards we can go on the website, Total Tavern, and we can see who the #1 player is on the leaderboard, right? So now we actually have a place that we can see like, all right, who is the boss hog of the tournaments I host? You know, we're actually going to be able to see that and have like a leaderboard that articulates that, which I think is very, very cool. Some Marauder Spears parking here. They do have shields, so I believe the Man-Eater pistols will not do that much damage against them, although they're kind of facing the wrong way. Now they're turning around, and I guess having Man-Eater pistols waste their ammo on like a cheap infantry unit is going to be, it's going to be good. It's going to be quite cost-effective. Ulrich Rahl getting the big surround. This is pretty cool. Look at the Ogres. It's like the Thermopylae Ogres here, holding the pass against the hordes of Slaanesh. Spears moving down the front, backed up by some basic Marauders. We do get what appears to be a Fury Summon coming down from this Herald of Slaanesh right here. So they're going to be moving down and across, probably to attack the Man-Eater pistols. And we get the first Cav units. These are just Hellstriders. So these are the anti-large variant, so they're going to get blocked up by Noblars, and that's not going to be a great trade. Also, the Gorgers do engage as well. So Xiphos getting a slightly better engagement, obviously, against those cheap Cav. But I don't know why he's not playing the objective game. Yeah, it looks like he just wants to kill the Ogres, which I guess is fair. You know, try and win the game in a fast and furious fashion. It's not that different from land battles. Yeah, finally we'll probably start hosting. Yeah, Dob, it's all set up, man. So you and I can talk later, and we'll get your tournaments on there as well if you're interested. I would love to have that. And obviously, you know, once I give you access to hosting tournaments, you can also post anything you want to the website, like your events, and you can post articles if you want to, like anything that interests you, man, you can go for. Now, big Royal Rumble down here in the middle. Xiphos seems to be holding up pretty well. Obviously, the choke points work for him, but also he's a little bit surrounded, like he's in a position where Slaanesh can get these big surrounds. Slaanesh does send some Hellstriders up here to engage against the Ogre Bulls as well as the Saber Tusks. And it looks like in that 2v1 fight, they're having a relatively rough time. Hellstriders of Slaanesh peeling off to go after the Saber Tusk packs here. While on the pit fight, looks like the Ogre Kingdoms do have the capture weight on the objective. Granted, Slaanesh is starting to slowly wrestle control of it, as Fiends did come from the top. And where did the other Fiends go? I think they're maybe looking to get into the backfield. Value trading is pretty even at this point. Xiphos is a little bit ahead, but we did see that last game as well. And when Slaanesh was able to really, really get saturated there, it did change the dynamic of the battle. And the Fiends, these are one thing that I really want to kind of keep tabs on. The Fiends seem like a pretty cool unit. I've had them do pretty well in land battle tournaments. They did very, very good in a couple matchups that we saw them in. And they seem to be tearing apart the Ogres because they do actually have Superfic Musk, which lowers the combat stats of these Ogre Bulls quite considerably. -5 and -5 is actually quite substantial for sure. Now, Slaanesh is starting to wrestle the middle objective. The back objective was taken by some Slaanesh spears, which are going to be holding for a while. And Slaanesh spears against the large saber tusks seems like a decent fight for the old spear boys. And here we do get the Iron Blaster actually being taken out. So look at this. Ulrich does get the escort, the police escort of the Iron Blaster being shattered off the battlefield here by the Herald of Slaanesh. Very, very good stuff for sure. So able to shatter that bad boy. And it seems like Slaanesh is doing pretty well against the Ogres today. Granted, Xiphos is getting a little bit more value in the middle. It seems like the engagements in the previous game for Xiphos against Ogres went quite a bit better. Although the objectives are being controlled right now, the Marauder's spears are holding back these Saber-Tusk packs. Gnoblars are on their way over. I think the Gorgers are a big difference maker. I think they, even without Scrag and regeneration, they're just such a good, durable body there to just kind of hold in the pits of hell and cause a lot of problems. Now, side objective going to be taken by Slaanesh. So 1 and 3 currently owned by Slaanesh. Value, though, up for the Ogres by quite a bit. 2,000 value when you're Slaanesh certainly hurts. The middle fight, I think, wasn't great. I think the Ogres were able to hold it too well with the Gorgers and the Man-Eaters and all these different units. It was quite nasty for sure. I do think that based on the deployment of Xiphos, that Slaanesh should have just played the 2 objectives on the outside. I don't think there was any reason to come in here. I mean, that's the whole point of Domination mode, right? And let's see how much damage this ability does. That's pretty good. But you know, the whole point of Domination is so if somebody has like a cheesy blob or like a really entrenched position, you don't have to go for it. You can play the other objectives, and Slaanesh is really, really good at that. Because basically the distance between 1 and 3 is kind of negligible for Slaanesh based on their speed. It's not like a huge punishing variable. Whereas with other factions it could be, but Slaanesh can play far objectives super, super easily. But in this case, I see it going to game 3 most likely. And now we do have the Chaos Furies going to be diving in and attacking the old Ogre Bulls with the Iron Fists. But at this point, Ulrich Rahl seems to have... Ulrich Rahl seems to be on the ropes here with his Slaanesh, as Xiphos showing he is indeed the king of Slaanesh. He is the Dark Prince, and the others have a lot to learn from his Slaaneshi play. Right here, pouring in. Ogres are up by almost 3,000 now. It's getting to the point of no return. Slaanesh is not a faction that can play from behind very well. They're a faction that likes to get that momentum rolling, and then they just keep giving you the old death thrust. But in this case, that is not going to be happening, as the Chungus Kingdoms are just pouring in more and more bodies. And Slaanesh is kind of just having to use fast units to get to the battle quickly, and they're not necessarily the most effective choices. And there she goes. There goes my hero, watching as they go. Hellstriders of Slaanesh move in, pushing back a couple of the Ogre units, but the Lord is going to probably be getting taken down as well here. Burning Head going to be tickling the pickle of these units. That's a little bit of damage. I mean, at least it comes with a debuff. And the Great Maw is hungry, and Xiphos is going to be feeding him as they move in. The Ogre Bulls battling with these units. Their gut plates protecting them against these spears of Slaanesh as they continue to fight. And yeah, the Slaanesh Cavalry definitely going to get pancaked pretty good. Pretty good indeed. I wouldn't be surprised to see a withdrawal here from Ulrich. We will see if he wants to fight to the bitter end. But the Ogres are coming to get you. They have a pretty big value lead at this point. Eclipsing, closing in on a 4,000 value lead. And if this was a land battle, it would be more or less over at this point. Be more or less over. I've actually been having a lot of success with Nurgle lately in Domination mode. I know a lot of people, including myself, have been giving him a lot of grief, but I've been kind of spending these nights like laying there thinking of builds and scheming ideas and strategies, and I've actually come up with a couple playstyles for Nurgle, which I feel I can compete against Ogre players. I still feel like I can't compete against Tzeentch. I feel like that's too hard for Nurgle, just too unbalanced. But competing against Ogres, I found some builds that are really, really good against them. So I can't wait to show you guys. And I have a couple replays coming up in the next few days against tournament players where I beat their Ogres with my Nurgle. So you guys are certainly in for some treats. They are some really, really good stuff. But yeah, Slaanesh is getting crumbled across the board. Ogres are just everywhere. There's a couple spearmen here. Firebelly's just looking super cool. Looks like he's going to be casting some sort of a spell here. Maybe a Flaming Sword of Ruin going down. Yeah, imbuing the fire damage. And the Slaaneshi Lord is going to be getting trash canned. And yeah, I would expect Ulrich Rahl to probably withdraw at this point. I don't see any reason to stay in this game for him. I don't think there's any way back. You're down by almost 4,000 or 5,000, and Ulrich might just be hoping for the comeback mechanic to help him win. Yeah, I understand that. I don't think it's possible at this point. This is too much of a discrepancy. Not only are you behind on value, you're behind on objectives, and it's too much going down here. I'm very surprised no one uses the snare. Yeah, me too. But it's a little bit overpriced. And if we watch Turn Loose and Nurgle, there you go. See, Professor Pone? I got the Nurgle business as well. So the Fiends, big underperformers there. Clearly the Seekers and the other Cav were a little bit more cost effective here in this matchup. Even still, we didn't really see too many of them in action. Xiphos had a nice hold on there, and he didn't have a Lord to be sniped. So with that, Xiphos, the Dark Lord of France, is going to be advancing on with a 2-0 victory here, and he will be moving on to the Grand Finals. And now to make it official, we are going to be updating the bracket in the classic Haggard fashion. Here we go. Look at that. Oh, through the power of technology, Xiphos moves on to the top 4. Now we have our next match. GG, well played. So Xiphos, we'll see you in the grand finals, bud. Let us go ahead and invite the next set of players. Alrighty. Here we go. And versus Void Levels. Perfect. All right, perfect. Very good. I have been using a lot of Pox Riders in my builds. I have been. Yeah. Dude, are you guys shocked at that technology? It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible for sure. Come for the event, stay for the bracket updates. You see, that's a very wise decision there. Versus. All right. Cool. Let us go ahead and switch on over. Random Nix's name is too powerful, so we need to make it a little bit smaller to fit there. More graphic updates coming at you live. And now we got Random Nix in here, and we're gonna get the map set. Cool. And now taking a look at the website, let's go see if that worked. All right. So again, today's stream, a lot of it is like checking for bugs, and it seems like everything's updating. Yeah. So it moves Xiphos to the grand finals. And now if we take a look at the leaderboards on the front page, yeah, Xiphos is currently the #1 ranked player on the website. That is cool. I love it. I love it. That's so cool. All right, so they're asking about the picks and bans. And they can check here. Perfect. Alrighty. So we switched the pick and ban system a little bit today based on some feedback from you, Mize, and I do like this pick and ban system a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more dynamic as well. Xiphos rocking the #1 spot on the website. What a champ. Any toothpaste recommendations? I don't know. Toothpaste. Let's see. I mean, I don't know. It depends on where you live. Your brands are probably super different, you know? Yeah. Yeah, Anna and I actually have joked about that quite a bit. So, you know, there's always that classic meme of like, oh, you know, he's laying there thinking about girls, or she's like laying there thinking about this, you know. But like Anna and I the other night had that discussion. Like when we woke up in the morning, I was like, yeah, you know, I was laying in bed all night thinking about like how I want to paint my Warhammer army. Do I want to start a Night Lord's army, or do I want to finish my Black Legion in tabletop? And she's like, yeah, I was laying there listening, like thinking about my Elden Ring and how I'm going to build my character. You know, we just had that. We had that. It was pretty great. Yeah, we did have some really good games. Yeah, you were the one who got me with Nurgle. That was great, man. You played like a champ. How do you think the changes from magic resist to spell resist will affect the... it's hard to say. I think it'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be too much drama there. Cool. So players will do their picks and bans. The map is going to be on Death's Pass, and we will go from there. How does the new pick and ban system work? All right, let's break it down. So player 1, so the individuals on the top of the bracket will pick 2 factions. Okay. So I could come into a match and I will pick Nurgle and I will pick Khorne. Okay. Then my opponent will pick 1 faction to face off against either of those 2 factions. And then once they have picked theirs, so let's say I have to pick Nurgle and Khorne. So I have the disadvantage of picking first. So I'm going to pick Nurgle and Khorne. My opponent will then pick 1 faction which they feel comfortable playing against either Nurgle or Khorne. And once they lock that in, the player who initially picked the first 2 factions will choose one of those 2 to play. So there actually isn't any bans in this format. Yeah. It's a little bit different, and I like it quite a bit. I think it's really good. All right. Looking good. I see maybe a Kislev pick, maybe an Ogre Kingdoms or something like that. We will have to see. Which of the old factions do you think will be less meta or have a weaker presence in domination mode? You know, I feel like a safe bet is always to say High Elves and Dark Elves. Like, I feel like if you just put, like, they could be really good, we could be wrong, but I feel like if you just say High Elves and Dark Elves, you're going to be like, because they've always been a faction that kind of, those factions are hard to play and they struggle. But I mean, yeah, like, can they be worse than Nurgle? I don't know. Nurgle is good against Khorne. Nurgle can fight Khorne, they can fight Cathay. I think they actually have some tools against Ogres, believe it or not, but aside from that, the other matchups can be very hard. So blind pick we do use blind pick in this tournament as well for the earlier rounds, because obviously if we did best of 3 for every single round in a domination tournament, it would go for like 6 to 8 hours. It would be way too long. So how it works in the earlier rounds is you have a blind pick. Both players get 1 blind ban. So I can go into a series that's a best of 1, and I'm going to ban Ogres, and they're going to ban Ogres as well. And then I can then pick from anyone that isn't something my opponent banned. That's how the blind works. So like you can go in and pick someone that, like, I could pick Nurgle and ban Tzeentch and I would feel okay. But that's just me. It depends. And I could go Cathay and ban Khorne, and then suddenly I'm like, okay, the rest of the matchups aren't that bad. Funny how both High Elves and Wood Elves will be good, I think, in domination mode. I think they'll be really good. Eltharion is going to be OP, says Professor Pone. Yeah, Jordan, that's the idea for sure. But with only 7 factions, it really isn't that big of a deal. Yeah, when we're playing around with different systems right now. It's still early on, and we're trying to see what people are really into and doing that. I hope Chaos Dwarves are as dirty as Ogres and Tzeentch. Don't put that evil on us, Michael. We don't need more of that. We need balanced factions. Don't put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby. I think Nurgle will actually be okay against vampire counts. I think Nurgle will be good against Norska. I think Nurgle will be good against Warriors of Chaos. They'll be decent against Beastmen. Nurgle will be good against like anyone who has to come and fight up close. Like that's Nurgle's jam. Like anyone that can shoot them effectively from a distance, like hardcore, is obviously much harder. So yeah, like Nurgle is really, really not gonna like the Sisters of Twilight. Like just sitting in the sky with some Hawk Riders just cackling and shooting. Like they're not gonna like that. You might see some Plague Drones, but they'll just get kited and shot to pieces. It's like that matchup is not gonna be fun for them. Do you think Tomb Kings will be good in domination mode? Yeah, I do. I think Tomb Kings will be great. They have unbreakable units. They have pretty good single entity models. They have Titans. They have the Sphinxes. Like they have Archon the Black is going to be amazing. Skeleton Summons, Lord of Death is still very good. Like Tomb Kings will be actually quite good. I think Tomb Kings will be better in domination mode than they are in land battle. Yeah. And if CA makes some nice changes to land battle in terms of adding new maps and also changing the starting armies to be a little bit bigger, I honestly think like most land battle enjoyers who haven't come over to domination yet will start enjoying it as well. Yeah. That would be my 2 cents. Yeah, Norska might not be bad in domination, but I think Norska will probably get a rework before we see them again, including some new stuff. That would be my guess. So like it's hard to Nurgle versus yeah, Wood Elves just crying in the shadows. Yeah, Shopti Grapos are great. 54 speed. They're basically like lead belchers, but faster and a little bit more durable. So guys, we have the dreaded Ogre Kingdom mirror match. Oh my god. These two. Yeah, the Hekara Horsemen are going to be great. I agree, Jay Phoenix. I agree. Ushapti? Ushapti could be good. Like basic Ushapti? Yeah, situationally. Depends on their capture weight. If basic Ushapti have good capture weight, like Ogres, then yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think Ogres have a special rule for that, though. Michael says, I'm a Warhammer Chaos devotee. The more Chaos stuff that has busted. Okay, fair play. You're good with it. I understand that. God, I'm at a crossroads in terms of tabletop. I need your guys' help. So here's the thing. I have a pretty big Black Legion force with Abaddon, but I also have a unit of painted Night Lords, and part of me wants to build a Night Lords army for when the new Chaos Codex comes out. I'm like so torn right now. So what would you guys vote? Becomes my main focus. I mean, I guess the Black Legion's already painted. Second game is going to be a Tzeentch mirror, probably. Yeah. I would prefer a Nurgle mirror, actually. But Ogre mirrors are actually kind of interesting. And Voidlaws, like I said, he's a guy who, if he doesn't like his pick and ban options, he's gonna pick a mirror match against you. Yeah. I don't know what to do. It's really tough. Like, part of me is like, do I go more all in and finish the Black Legion completely, or do I also start painting a Night Lord's force? It's really, really hard. I am legit torn. No, I'm never playing Tau. I hate Tau. God, dude, The reason why I hate Tau is because the first game I played of 8th edition, I like was literally like, I came in with this newbie army. I just started. I had like nothing. I had like some crap like all over the place 8th edition Death Guard army. And the guy I was playing against was like the sweatiest neckbeard you could imagine. He's got like all the big Tau mechs that literally are like Forge World Terminator mech suits. And I just got shot off the table in like 2 turns. It was like the biggest feel bad experience ever. Now, since then, I've been able to defeat Tau, you know, off and on in tournaments. But wow, that is a pretty decisive vote for the Night Lords there. Yeah. And I mean, I already have a big Black Legion army though, is the thing. So it's not like and you really want to, let's see here. No, you really want to do fantasy, yeah. No, I mean, Night Lords wouldn't be, you can, and the thing about Chaos is you can still kind of mix and match them on the battlefield. Okay, interesting. You guys really like the Night Lords. Yeah. Dude, and like, you know what was the worst part about playing against that Tau player too? Is like, he literally just sat in his chair the whole time, breathing heavily, and like, I can't remember what he was eating. It was like some sort of like like potato chips with like his hands were all covered with like the flakes of the chips. And yeah, like I was like moving around the table. I was measuring everything. I was like putting in all this work into my movement and like strategy. And this Tau player was just sitting there, literally mouth breathing in his chair, eating chips, and like he didn't move anything. He just like sat there in the corner and was like just rolling dice, like just like no strategy, just blasting shit off the table. Now, of course, it's changed a lot. Like, it's not like that anymore. I was a noob at that point. It was like my 3rd game ever, you know, so I probably deserved that. But ever since then, I've always had this like, yeah, so we have the desync in the beginning. It happens sometimes with players in certain regions. It's very strange. So hold on, I'm just going to take screenshots of the builds. Okay, one sec. All right, cool. So we need to rehost. Let's do this. Perfect. Hopefully that desync thing gets fixed soon. All right. Great. So they're going to rejoin right now, and we'll get this all set up. Sorry about that. It's just like, hopefully that'll be something that CA addresses. It's just so janky. The map was the Death Pass. Excellent. You fought against Greasus himself. Yeah, we did. It was truly the Greasus experience. Oh god, that was basically my first experience versus Tau also. Yeah, Robert, you know how it is. Yeah. Be me, Steel Legion player. My army looks like a traffic jam whenever I deploy. Yeah. Are you play guard? Yeah, so you're just like got a bunch of tanks jammed in the corner of the board. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. So here, there is a little bit of karma to that story though, because I did come back like 2 months later and just crush that guy once I changed my army. He never beat me again. I think I played him like 5 or 6 times because he was on my in the league I played in for 40K. All right. Okay, no problem. So just got to do this. Can you send me the screen of my build? All right, so the players want their builds, so I'm just going to do this and then send them that. So I have to go dig those up. Just give me one moment, my friends, while we keep rolling. In the words of the great Fred Durst, in life, when life gets hard, you just got to keep rolling. All right, and cool, browse screenshot. I think it was these ones. Perfect. All right, so I just sent him the screenshot, I think. Hopefully that has the right one. We will see. And perfect. I'm gonna switch this back to the correct monitor. Void lulls, maybe his computer exploded in the process. Nope, he's back. Okay, so we're all good. It's really weird how there's like a desync in the first time you load in, but then after that it's totally fine. It's like it's trying to like connect in some magical way. Yeah, man. Tau. Oh my god, Tau was rough. Medi saying my first experience playing Tau was getting run down by Slaanesh and ripped apart in melee. Yeah, that can happen for sure. That can happen. Turin was playing the Dark Souls difficulty. What? Yeah, Hen's doing okay. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. That's what it's like in Warhammer 2 when you face dwarves as a noob. Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? That's really funny, dude. That's a really good analogy there. Yeah. I love tabletop. It's a shame. Like the past couple years, I kind of haven't really played much, but also in the area I live in, nobody plays. Wheelhouse, here's to some good games today. Go Nurgle. Man, I feel like somebody needs to play Nurgle for you. Oh, man. I mean, who would play Nurgle here? Okay, there could be a Nurgle mirror match coming up soon. Thank you so much, Wheelhouse, for that huge, huge donation. That is mega generous, and that basically pays the prize pool to the players today. So big thank you for that. Big thank you. That is greatly appreciated. Wheelhouse, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, in your honor, we load into a mirror match. I know it's not a Nurgle mirror match, but they're also a little bit chubby. So you know, it's in the family. Wheelhouse, thank you. All right. So taking a look at the armies here, it is going to be Void Laws on the Ogre Kingdoms here. Oh, look, they didn't even change the banners, I don't think. They're using the same banner. Lovely. It's going to be a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw, and the build is going to be Ogre Bulls, Gorgers, Iron Blaster, and yeah, it's basically just Ogre good stuff, but without Scrag. Now, why would you not bring Scrag when you have, like, Gorgers in your build? That doesn't make sense to me. Although, the Slaughtermaster is slightly more durable with the shield, and maybe that's why, and he's cheaper? Very interesting. Now, for your boy Random here, Random is going for the Noblar Lord combo. Now, this is the most dreaded combo of all time. Now, riddle me this. Why would you bring Nurgle, or excuse me, Noblars, as your Lord? Well, the reason why is because if you unsummon them, you get a refund. So basically, you get half your money back, and then you are immune to the Lord sniping penalty. That means that over the course of the entire game, you can never, if you leave that Noblar in the shadows, you can never basically have your Lord sniped, which is hilarious. So we got an Iron Blaster backed up by Ogre Bulls and a Stonehorn Hunter, a little bit different. And then a Butcher of the Great Maw is going to be here. So it's going to be a basic caster character instead. Oh my god, this is wild, guys. This is going to be a wild one. Random Nyx, like, so when I first got out, like when the game first came out, I remember jumping onto Discord with Random Nyx, and he discovered so many weird, like, powerful tactics so quickly. Like, he discovered the cultist spam with the Power Stone abuse. He discovered the Noblar hiding trick. Like, he was so quick on learning all these little, like super strong niche tactics. I was so shocked because I had had access to the game with several other folks for weeks, and nobody had, like, thought of these things. But he literally has it for, like, a couple hours, and he's just, like, already figured out all the schemes. Oh, here comes the shot. Iron Blaster ripping in. Dude, they're both, like, dodging back and forth. This is such a meme. They're, like, moving around with their Iron Blasters and just juking, and this is quite a troll duel between these two players here. But the thing is, if he does summon the Noblars back, one of them will be his Lord, so he's basically also giving up that Noblar unit for the whole game, right? Oh, and the Hunter gets popped in the face right there. Really nice shot there by Void, who is certainly getting the better of these Iron Blaster trades. Although it's pretty negligible, it's not that much. It's only, 266 value or something like that. So yes, the players are the sweatiest duel of all times. They are scooting back and forth with their Iron Blasters. Oh, and he gets hit. It seems like Void Laws is the Dark Lord of using the Iron Blaster. He's clearly been practicing the Legend of Total War for multiplayer. Yeah. He is a tricksy Gobbo for sure. So Iron Blaster, scooting, is going to be ripping some shots into the Saber Tusks, but dude, Void Laws has such good juking. Like, literally, he reacts, like, instantly to these shots. Oh, the head-on shot. Is it going to happen? I think the flag is blocking. Oh, man, and he gets hit again. And there's going to be some sort of a spell going down here. Oh, big hit. Big hit on that Iron Blaster from Random. And that immediately, like, equalizes the situation. It also baited out a Toothcracker, which gives armor and missile resist. Man. William, hey, heard you were thinking about going to the next LVO. I am going there. And if you guys are at LVO and you see me there, let's hang out. Let's get lunch. Let's have some good times. We can catch up. I would more than love to meet a lot of you guys at LVO. I don't know. I'm gonna either be playing my Black Legion army or the Night Lord's army that I may start. I'm not sure. We will see. The Haggard Iron Blaster duel, but in the end, it actually looks like Void does return the favor. There's going to be a Troll Guts going down, which will heal the Iron Blaster. Dude, this is such a meme matchup. Oh my god. So on the other side, we get some Gnoblars moving to intercept man-eaters with great weapons. Interesting. So Voidlaw sends some heavy hitters over here to grab this objective, which is pretty smart. That's going to be really hard. What needs to happen here for Random is he needs to win the engagements in the middle. So look at that. Troll Guts is used, both players returning the favor back and forth. And now we get the Hunter moving in. The Hunter does have the anti-large attacks from the Hunter. And it looks like the army, though, of Void is quite a bit stronger in the front. I mean, it's mostly Ogre Bulls, which should be able to defeat Gnoblars pretty decisively. So the Hunter has engaged. The Iron Blaster shot going downtown. It does hit. So Random didn't juke the right direction. He actually got popped in the face there pretty good. And now it looks like Void has pulled up a little bit in terms of the value. Now on the other side, the Gnoblars of Random Nyx are somehow going to be getting that objective from the Man-Eaters. Don't ask questions, it's just happening. And the frontline engagement is underway. While the Iron Blaster is going to be getting hit with a heal, gets popped again, but the Troll Guts is going to be giving it a lot of sustainability, while the Hunter, ooh, a big Hunter charge. That big Stonehorn ran over those guys in the front and did some big, big work. Ooh, man, nasty stuff. Toothcracker going down as well. Toothcracker is a buff from the Lore of the Great Maw that gives armor as well as missile resist, and it's often pretty good just for the armor buff, because it does trigger some healing as well. Now, I like what Random's doing by hiding his Iron Blaster in the back. This is like Value City, because the Iron Blaster is shooting into the Man-Eaters with great weapons, getting a ton of value, and it's also out of kind of range of the other Iron Blaster here. But in the middle, the fighting is a little bit hard. It's hard to tell what's going on here. I think this Hunter is in the danger zone a little bit. Definitely needs to pull back, and Random does see this as the Iron Blaster for Void is shooting in and getting a ton of work in. Gorgers here are, yeah, they're fighting. Gonna be good. I don't think we see any Gorgers here. The prevalence of the chaff units, obviously quite impactful, and we do get some Gorgers summoned in from Random Nyx for the first time. Maybe gonna be able to push those guys back. Value's pretty much dead even. It really, really hurts for Void to lose a unit of Man-Eaters like this. They basically, it looks like they're losing to Gnoblars, but yeah, they're just getting pounded super, super hard here by the Iron Blaster. In the meantime, Gnoblar Trappers being swarmed by Saber Tusks, not really a big deal here. The Lord of Void is slightly overextended, could be a little bit vulnerable, and the Man-Eaters here on the far side, the very, very expensive unit, going to be at -2 leadership. And Voidlaws did send some more trappers over there, but I would imagine that Random will see this and should be able to intercept with his Gnoblars once the Man-Eaters break, which they did. So those Man-Eaters were put in the trash can. I would probably say the Iron Blaster of Random will maybe switch and start shooting at the Slaughtermaster and or the other Iron Blaster once again. The trading is dead even. In terms of objectives, currently Random has one, Void has the middle, and Void does have the back objective as well. I would actually really like to see a Gorger over here. I feel like a single Gorger would be a huge pain to remove and would easily take this objective. But again, the middle fighting is very, very entrenched, and neither player wants to commit anything to the sides, I don't think, because they really want to make sure that they win this battle here. Yeah, this mirror match is actually fun, because, you know, yeah, Iron Blasters and Gorgers are OP, but both players have access to the same tools, so who cares? It's like they can both abuse these units. So I'd rather see this than, you know, somebody else losing to these overpowered units and things like that. So Gorgers, though, of Random, now starting to chew back. No healing on them. No Scrag is here, although maybe Scrag is in the reserves. We haven't seen Random's actual Lord choice. The Iron Blaster, once again, getting shot, going to be running into the tree lines, does avoid that. Random's Iron Blaster is actually almost healing capped. This Hunter is still causing quite a few problems, but Void is bringing out the big guns, baby. He's got the Lead Belters sitting on the middle. These guys going to be doing some work for sure, but the other Iron Blaster, I love how it's shooting from the tree. That's so funny. Yeah, it seems like Random's melee core is actually starting to win some of the grinding fights. On Objective 1, Gnoblars should be able to defeat those Gnoblars. And are we seeing any back pressure? We're not. So Objective 3 is not being contested. It is going to be getting to the point where Random will need to get another objective soon, or else he's going to kind of be in the danger zone. We'll have to see. So Ogre Bulls with Iron Fist taking these bad boys down. They're getting pushed back. And the old Hunter here getting hit with the Troll Guts. Keeping him going, but, you know, I think that Voidlaws has been the king of the Iron Blasters here so far. Although, something to take note of is his Iron Blaster only has like one shot left, most likely. Yeah, it's got one shot. Not enough to finish the Hunter, most likely, and the Iron Blaster for Random is going to be back online soon. So there's going to be some shooting here. Both players have brought out the big guns. We see the Lead Belchers, and oh man, I like this play from Void, potentially. If we do indeed get the Saber Tusks moving onto the side, going after objective number 1, that would actually be a really, really tight play. That would force some sort of a response. It looks like Random is going to be sending the dual weapons over here to go after the Saber Tusk packs. And in the middle, we do get the Ogre Bulls with dual weapons surging forward to push and do some good stuff. So Iron Blaster's back, going to be ripping some shots. Value is favoring Void by about 1,200, so it seems like his bump and grind in the front's going a little bit better. I think that his Iron Blaster in the back has been a big, big player. Granted, he used all of its ammo. Now he's summoning in man-eaters with great weapons. So we're seeing the man-eaters becoming a big player. These ones, of course, were used earlier. These are the man-eaters that were disgraced by the Noblars earlier. So it looks like they certainly have a chip on their shoulder, and they're going to be coming in trying to win. Now, I would really like to see Gorgers on the flanks, but I think both Gorgers are committed here for random. He's got one fighting here in the middle, and his Butcher is fighting as well. Extra ingredients are down. Yeah, both players have committed all their OP units for sure. Voidlulls, though, might be able to ninja this back objective. Random needs to get over there quick. He got some trappers there, and I think his Saber Tusks were able to push off the trappers of Random. Random definitely wants to get these Ogre Bulls. If he loses that back objective, I don't see any chance of him coming back. And now they've been given the order, so they will be able to get those Nobblers off and probably secure that objective. The Hunter of Random, though, is back in business. The value is actually closing. Could we see some sort of a big momentum shift? I don't know. But these Man-Eaters with great weapons, guys, I think are going to be extremely punishing. Like, they're just so good against these other Ogre units. Also great against the Hunter. Look at the big beating clubs from these pirates. Man-Eaters are such a cool-looking unit. And the Massacre going down as well from Voidlulls. Going to be giving a huge buff to all these units. Very, very nasty fighting there. And is the back objective being contested? Nope, looks like it is safe. Random will be holding on to that. Objective 2, though, is very, very dangerous close to actually going to Random. Looks like he's got better capture weight. He's just like kind of parked on the edge of this objective. And I think Random, if he captures this and holds both of them for the rest of the game, I think he will just barely win it. Like, barely win it. I'm not sure, but some of you guys, some of you mathematicians in chat can perhaps help me out with that. But I think he's got just enough that if he holds both, he's going to get this. So Random has actually pulled the value to almost even. It's about 600. The grind is still going pretty hard here in the middle. I think the big variable is the Hunter. His staying power has probably been really good, but Void obviously has brought in some Lead Belchers, which seem to be doing a lot of damage. I wonder if the Iron Blaster is still shooting. It is. Man, Old Faithful here in the back. Yeah, he's still going like a champ. Casual 1,700 value. It's not like 3,000 or anything, but still quite good. And yeah, this Hunter I think is the big player here. I don't know how much value he's gotten. Yeah, only 600, but like it's a big meaty presence with a fair amount of capture weight. And now what would be a steel chair play is this. Oh man, I was just about to say, if he goes over here and pressures this, because this is going to force Voidlulls to respond to this. Obviously, Ogre Bulls with Iron Fist are going to absolutely crush Nobblars. It's going to take a minute. The Nobblars are, you know, they're numerous. That's something you can say about them. And this is a huge power play. I think if we saw a Saber Tusk coming over here as well, this could also be another really, really big one to potentially grab that back objective. But now the score is starting to equalize a little bit. Math people rise! Yes! Math people rise! Yes, the champions of math, they have arisen from the deep. More and more Gorgers coming in. Hunter getting the Troll Guts. The magic for both players quite strong. I feel like the magic has been a little bit better for Random. Void now has the capture weight. He's summoned in a couple of Nobblars. Random is basically piling in everything he has. I think grabbing these Ogre Bulls with dual weapons from the side objective and committing them to number 2 would be very, very good. Here we do get the old Iron Fist about to finish off those Nobblars. So obviously Random really knows he wants to get that. And he is going to be sending in a couple of Trappers in the middle as well to try and secure this objective. But right now Void is boiling on... I was like boiling and pouring. I don't know. My brain just like mixed up those two words. But the objective is going to be taken here. It looks like Void is going to get that bad boy back. He does send some Ogre Bulls over here to contest this objective, which is now actually going to Random. Now, if you're Random here, what you need to do is you need to get the Ogre Bulls and park them on the edge of the objective to make sure he doesn't get his models on and you keep yours. I don't know if Random is aware of this or if he has any more reinforcements coming in, but Void has re-secured the middle objective and it looks like he is going to be holding that down. Very, very tight game, pulling the other Ogre Bulls from the side. A very messy kind of blob fight here in the middle. I would have liked to have seen some Nobblars or Trappers. Okay, he's very close to capturing this, but he's going to lose it. What does he have coming here? I think he's got Trappers moving across. He does have Nobblar Trappers. Okay, that is actually pretty substantial. Maybe some Saber Tusks over here as well, but it looks like Void getting that objective back in the middle might have been too much for him to come back from. Very, very tight match as the Ogre Kingdoms of Voids just continue to pour on and really, really do some nasty work here. So, Hunter, fighting against the Slaughtermaster, potentially a good fight. He's going to have to triple cap now, and it's going to have to be very, very soon. This certainly is on the table. The Ogre Bulls of Void are a little bit weaker than the Iron Fist, and you can see that being reflected in the combat. But here there are some Trappers coming in from Void, which are going to put some nice DPS on the light armor, despite the shields. And what is he summoning here? It looks like it's going to be more Nobblar Trappers moving as he tries to wrestle the middle. There is a slight capture weight advantage now for Random, but he is rapidly running out of time here, and he's going to have to somehow wrestle this from him, which is going to be tough. Void has been doing a very good job keeping them off the objective. Like sending these doggos to keep these Trappers off the objective is such an MLG play. It might seem like something small, but those type of plays really do add up because that is a ton of capture weight as both players just bump and grind. Value is pretty much dead even. And now this objective might actually go to random. So then it just comes down to the middle being captured here in the next like 30 seconds, which I don't think is going to happen. Void has done a good enough job stuffing him off the objective here, and the side wasn't done early enough. And look at this. I love this play from Void. Knowing that he could potentially lose the other two objectives, he goes full Tom Cruise, secret agent, gets the Noblar Trappers back on objective number 3 just as a consolation prize. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that matchup. I think the Ogre Mirror match is actually very fun to watch. I don't know about you guys, but I think if Random had pressured that side objective with some Gorgers earlier, he might have won the game. Really, really close fight. Who was his actual lord, by the way? Oh, it was Scrag, but he just never brought Scrag out. Okay. So that is going to be 1 for Void Lols. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to the Galleon's Cove. We're going to have a good time. We will see what they pick and ban. In Void, it does go up 1. GG, well played. So, Xiphos, how does it feel, as of right now, to be the #1 ranked Total War player, according to our website here? You are #1 on the leaderboard. You got to screenshot it now. Now's the time. It's so cool. We actually have a tournament leaderboard now. Yes. Sign me up for this. GG, well played. That was some good Warhammer. That was definitely some good Warhammer. All right. The thought of haggard goblins going full Tom Cruise is hilarious. It is. It is. So they're going to do their picks and bans for the next series. Galleon's Cove is more of a brawler map. That last one was more of a shooting map, and we saw the ogres coming in. A Nurgle mirror incoming? We could. We certainly could. So let's take a look here. Jumping back on over to the old Total Tavern. We can see the leaderboard is actually populating as the tournament goes on. So Xiphos, of course, reached the grand finals. He's got 4 wins. He's currently the #1 player in our tournament scene here, which is cool. Void Lols, of course, closing in. You can see other individuals who are in the top 15. Currently, the other leaderboard page is not quite filtering yet, but it will be getting updated soon. So this is the appropriate leaderboard to look at here. You can also go to the tournaments. Again, you guys can visit the website. So this is kind of like my stream schedule in a way. If you guys want to know when I'm streaming tournaments, you can just look on here. They'll usually be a couple days ahead of time. But you can come on here and you can see the rules. You can see the brackets based on, when the event starts. So you can follow it yourself in the morning. And right now you can see Xiphos has made it to the grand finals, and we have Void versus Random right here. Of course, the scores will be reported once we get a little bit closer there. Very cool. And if you guys are new, we have a really cool Cathay guide up done by Umais. It's awesome. It has some sample domination builds at the bottom if you guys are looking. It also kind of explains how to use the different units. Obviously, if Cathay gets any buffs, we will maybe have to update that. If you click on the leaderboard tab, it's different. Yeah, Xiphos, you need to look on the front page because that one is being fixed. The other leaderboard isn't quite finished yet. It needs to be corrected. Look on the front page, Xiphos. Yeah, look on the front page. That's the one you need to look at. Xiphos says I have to screenshot it before I lose the Void. Yeah, and put it on your Twitter profile. Be like #1 player on this random website. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Okay, it looks like it's a Kislev versus Tzeentch matchup, which is going to be interesting. Normally, Tzeentch has like very little chances in this, but we do have some rules in place today, limiting the war chariots. So you can only bring 2 of them today because the light war sleds are pretty OP. I mean, but then he could just bring heavy ones too, but it forces players to bring a more cost-appropriate unit. Yeah. Which is pretty rad. Pretty rad indeed. So now we're in the next match. Wheelhouse says we need them Nurgle boys. I agree. Come on, Void. I don't think Void Lols is someone who's going to pick the fun factions. He's very much going for the kill. I think if anybody will pick Nurgle here, man, honestly though, none of the people in the top 4 are really Nurgle players. Maybe Void Lols would in a game 5 match, because game 5, in best of 5, it's going to go much further. Xiphos says screenshotted. My glory is now eternal. yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna do some fun development stuff in the next few months. I'll collect some feedback, and I'll probably do a video asking for feedback, and then you guys can post what you'd like to see on the website, and whichever ones get upvoted the most in the comment section, we can implement those to the website. Maybe an army builder, some sort of a tool like that. Turin, you ever done a draft style tourney? Each race picked only once across both players? Yeah, we've done that. We've done a lot of tournaments where you play only one faction the whole time. They're called single faction tournaments or faction wars as well. Where do I check rules? Lincoln, if you go to the website and go to the respective tournaments, you can see the rules for both land battles and domination if you go to either one of those. Number 1 in our hearts. That's right, Pone. Zypho says. So, Void versus Random, Game 2. We are on the Galleon's Cove. We are here. And I'm just going to check something. Here are the brackets for the day if you guys want to see the top 4. It is Ulrich Rahl versus Zyphos. Of course, that series finished. Zyphos 1-2-0. Currently, Void Laws and Random Nicks are in their best of 3 series. And it is a 1-0 lead for Void. Well, I'm going to take a look at something real quick. Looks good to me. Looks good to me indeed. Just making sure their army limits are all set. But what he plays what's strong. Yeah, but Nurgle, like, if his opponent picked like Khorne or something, he could probably, I could see Void picking like Nurgle or something. It depends on what he's played, because best of 5, you have to know a lot more factions. You have to know a lot more factions. Hey, Smotown, I'm glad the streams are helping, man. If you guys are into like tournament stuff, the next 3 days, we have a stream every day. We have a tournament stream tomorrow, another domination tournament tomorrow, and then on Saturday, we have a land battle tournament. So yeah, there's 3 tournaments, literally 1 today and a couple over the next few days. And then on Sunday, there's a 2v2 tournament going on if you guys want to join. It's not my tournament, but it is being hosted, and you can find a way to join through my website. So if you want to go there, you can find that. Oh, a best of 3. Yeah, so to answer your question, Jev, regarding the best of 3s, yes, we have had that before, where you play one faction in all the best of 3s. We do that in Faction Wars. Once you get to the grand finals and stuff, they play best of 3 multiple times. Or they play a best of 3 with the same faction multiple times, is what I meant to say. A noob tourney. Yeah, I could do a noob tourney. I'd have to probably change it so it doesn't feed into the leaderboard, though, because then, you know, it's not... The leaderboard is only going to be used for competitive tournaments. Yeah. That's the plan. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think Random Nicks is versatile enough that he'd be able to play Nurgle if he thought it was good. Yeah, absolutely. Random is... I've seen him play Nurgle. Nurgle's... I mean, you can't pick Nurgle when Tzeentch is available. It's too risky. Tzeentch is just going to butter your bread. Space Penguin, I will I will read that, make sure I'm not saying anything bad, and then I'll get back to you. Yeah, drinks a lot of water. It's honestly not too bad, because the thing about casting these tournaments, guys, is there's a lot of downtime in between games where I get to like sit and chill and just drink water with you guys. So stay nice and hydrated, and yeah, that's that. So it looks like the Tzeentch build is ready. Random is going to be ready in a moment as well with his dreaded Kislev build. So we're seeing the meta. It seems like, obviously, Ogres and Tzeentch are very, very high tier, but I think Kislev is as well. I think we're starting to see the meta develop there. I think Slaanesh is starting to rise as a really good meta pick against Ogre Kingdoms as well. It's cool. Obviously, not as much Khorne as I would expect. I feel like Khorne is really good, but maybe they're a little bit too balanced. They don't have anything that's like egregiously broken. But yeah, it's interesting to see the meta develop. And obviously, if we get some sort of a balance patch from CA soon, then that could change the nature of the beast as well. What's worse, Ogre, Gorger, and Iron Blaster spam, or release Grom spam? Ooh, I think Gorgers and Iron Blasters are worst. Yeah, they're like really bad. They're really, really bad. That's nightmare fuel for sure. Dude, I went onto ladder last night with Nurgle, and I was playing against I don't know where the player, I couldn't read his name, so I figured it might have been a Chinese name or something, and the gentleman comes in with, like, his build was literally double Iron Blaster, Gorgers, and Scrag, and it was literally the most miserable game ever. I managed to just barely win it with Nurgle because I could tell he wasn't quite as experienced, but man, it was so stressful to play against. Imagine how bad Plague Bears are versus Pinks and Blues. They're really bad, Lincoln. That's why I think Plague Bears need an ability called Cloud of Flies to give them missile resist. Like, they need it, because they're just such trash right now. They're good against Ogre Kingdoms, Plague Bears are, because they can tank and hold objectives well. Task failed successfully. Too balanced, yeah. So this is meta Kislev. If I didn't have restrictions on the light war sleds, it would be even worse. He has got Kostaltin, heavy war sleds, and then light war sleds. Oh my god, this is such filth, dude. I mean, but Tzeentch deserves it. Like, if anybody's going to be punished by filth, it should be Tzeentch. So we got Forsaken, Blues, and Pinks, and that's it. Yeah, Final Transmutation. Plague of Rust is pretty good too. You can Plague of Rust the big chariots and shoot them down. But what lord did you run? I ran... no, it's not a rule break. It is not a rule break, Zyphos. The only limitations are on light war sleds. There are no limitations on heavy war sleds. There's nothing there. It is fine. And yeah, so he's all good. Because light war sleds are the ones that are like... Heavy war sleds are expensive as hell. They're $13.50. They're reasonably priced. Like you're paying a lot and you're getting a lot. But light war sleds are just really underpriced, and with their speed and their performance, it's too much. Yeah, it's maximum of 2 light war sleds. The heavy war sleds don't have any restrictions. Correct. So the Haggard forces of Tzeentch move, although I hesitate to call them Haggard. It's so funny that this little unit here, this like little goblin meme of a unit, the blues, are like one of the most overpowered units in the whole game. It's so hilarious. They're moving up, and the light war sleds are good to go, man. They're gonna be running them over. The big chicken, definitely a great choice. He hits hard, and if the chariots blob, he can nail them with the Final Transmutation and win the game. So for random, the big thing is making sure he doesn't get caught in such a punishing situation, right? Kossar's moving up. It's going to be basic bow Kossars, obviously pretty good at shooting. They can outrange the blues and the pinks and can get some good shots. Lion chariots will not have any unit caps, no. And obviously when there's some balance, we can remove these restrictions and things like that. Turn, I've noticed competitive players bring nuke spells instead of buffs so much more. It's true. Yeah, buff spells are a little bit more situational, whereas a nuke is always good. I mean, you do see combinations of both. Like occasionally you'll see a Harmonic Convergence or Plague of Rust, for example. Like things like this are very, very common as well. On one hand, this is filthy. On the other hand, it's happening to Tzeentch. Exactly. I don't feel bad for Tzeentch at all. Tzeentch is fine. They don't need any help. Yeah. So the big chicken flying up in the sky, doing some nice drifting over the old ruin of this beast here. Kislev probably just going to be spamming out, infantry and stuff, because they have to be able to play the objectives, right? So they're going to be summoning out these Kossars, and there is no pendulum coming in, as the Exalted Lord of Change cackles up on his throne. Dude, this is so funny. Look at him just like flying up here. Yeah, what a troll. So light war sleds could shoot, but shooting up here would be a waste of ammo, and Random does know this. I wonder if Random brought a caster in his reinforcements, like an Ice Witch with like Heart of Winter or something like that. I feel like that could be a surprise. Like if they're blobbed up super hard, you could just get them real good. I do like the spawn as well from Void. I think that's a really, really good choice. The spawn are high mass and armor sundering, so against the chariots, if they charge in, it can really punish them quite hard. Now the war sled's going to be juking back and forth. I don't know what they're going to be targeting though. Maybe they're going to charge in there? It looks like 2 of them are going in for the kill. Screamers being sent in, and now the bows of Kislev will also be shooting. So the heavy war sleds are moving in. Getting some pretty solid damage, of course, but Screamers of Tzeentch will be quite problematic for them. And the war sleds are just spreading out because if you do it in such a way that they all go in at once, you get nailed by the Final Transmutation of the chicken, right? And nobody wants that KFC. Light war sleds pulling their way through, although one of them is very, very trapped up here. It's in the back, and the big bird is going after it pretty effectively. Final Transmutation goes down. It hits 2 sleds, which is pretty cost effective, but really not that bad. Like, considering all things considered, I'd say that's pretty good. So now the sleds are piled in. They're taking quite a bit of damage, and look at the beautiful spawn play from Void. The spawn are beating down the heavy war sleds and sundering their armor. I would imagine Kostalton's going to be dropping some heals. A lot of DPS coming into the back from the shooting, but really good response here from Void. He's going to be sending in a bunch of Furies. Now, the Kislev response to this should be some Winged Lancers or Heavy Cav to peel them off. We'll have to see. Bear sleds, of course, generating good value, but so too are the Tzeentch forces. They're certainly doing some nasty work. A couple of the chariots are in the danger zone. One of them is probably on its way out. And the armored Kossars, are these armored Kossars? They're basic. Yeah, the war sleds definitely need to get back here. We need to see some peeling. We get some Zargard. Really interesting choice. So elite Kislev infantry are on their way out, and it seems like Void was able to repel that initial aggression, although more boar sleds, and they're not boar sleds, unfortunately. You limited war sleds to 2. That's not correct, Samurai. I only limited the light war sleds. The heavy war sleds are appropriately costed. It's just spamming the light ones is too cost effective, in my opinion. So we're just experimenting with some rule changes today. It's not something I might do. Normally I don't limit the sleds, but in this case we're going to be trying to limit the lighter ones. So Chariot's moving back in, once again going to be space jamming into the pink horrors, and a really, really good Final Transmutation there. It nails 2 sleds, also tickles Kostalton's pickle. And the Zargard are now making their way in. The Fury play was really strong. I don't think anybody's going for the high objective. It seems like Random is just trying to outvalue his opponent in the bump and grind here rather than playing the side objectives. Zargard here could be a big winner though, for sure. Although, are there still any spawn here? Yeah, there's still 14 spawn. The spawn have actually been the scourge of this particular matchup here. And here come the Zargard moving on to the middle objective. Certainly will have some good capture weight, giving Kislev the point, but I don't know if that's going to win them the war here. We have a heavy war sled here. The other heavy war sled in the back is broken and running for the hills. It's had its armor sundered by Warp Flame, as well as the spawn, which is a really, really nice synergy using those 2 units. The other heavy war sled's in okay shape. It looks like it has 4 models left. The dreaded humping animations coming in from the Exalted Lord of Change, while the Zargard now move into the saturated Tzeentch army. We will see if Random can pull the value back a little bit. Obviously, he's going more and more Zargard. He's going super elite. Rasputin being hit by what appears to be the Tzeentch army ability. And the second Fury summon has come up from the Exalted Lord of Change. That's going to be its last summon there, while the Bear Sleds do grind here. Zargard getting the Tor's Battle Hymn. These guys are going to be rocking 79 melee attack, and honestly, they seem to be trading pretty well here against the Tzeentch army, which really doesn't have any good shooting or like armor piercing or different things like that. Now, the high ground objective being taken by Kossovite dervishes, but the blue horrors of Tzeentch might be able to get up there and nullify that objective, which is going to be giving an even bigger lead to the forces of Void, who's currently up in value. So clearly, he is battle tested and has played against Kislev quite a bit. Zargard trading okay. Their armor is sundered though. They're down to 60 armor because of those spawn of Tzeentch, which clearly are one of the big power players here in this matchup. Other Zargard moving across, almost on the objective. Kossovite dervishes coming in, maybe to try and peel off the Furies. I feel like if Kislev can start summoning in some Kossars again, now that the backline dive has been dealt with, or maybe the summons have been fully kind of pushed out, maybe there could be some good play. The high ground objective is abandoned by Kislev, and they are going to be triple capped here. Although on the far side objective, we do have some armored Kossars and dervishes trying to finish those blues, but sadly the blues are probably going to hold that all day. They're such a tanky unit. Now, Zargard here actually wavering. Their passive was procced. Pretty crazy. The Tzeentch armor sundering is so good, especially with Forsaken. You have 63 weapon strength here, which is just so powerful. And when you lower the armor, which is the only mitigation against that high weapon strength, you really start to pay the troll toll here. But the Kislevites are behind. I think a big part of the battle going for the forces of Tzeentch was the fact that those Kossars and the shooting that was summoned in was just so ineffective. There was nothing to protect them. And then like that kind of left the Bear Chariots to be a little bit on their own. So Kostaltin, Song of Winter activated, going to be giving a vigor buff to these units. Zargard still grinding through. The blue horrors here, how are they confident? Oh, they still have a lot of models. Okay, that's what it is. And more bear sleds coming in. And these are lightwear sleds, so that is going to be probably the one from earlier that is going to be coming back in. Armored Kossars here getting taken out pretty badly. The Screamers getting a nice rear charge. They have good armor piercing. And now we get more and more Armored Kossars moving across to try and grab that objective. It's rapidly getting to the point where it might need to be a triple cap here for Kislev, as they do scrap to try and remain in the same kind of region of value. Some Kossar shooting here. We have some retreating Forsaken, and more Armored Kossars moving to the middle. Kostaltin probably going to be dropping a big prayer here, as the big chicken does move down to cycle charge him. And that's going to be some damage. Yeah, Kostaltin is in the danger zone, but he does get a bunch of buffs when he gets very low, so that could help. The Zargard seem to be trading okay, but I think the spawn of Tzeentch are just very, very effective against them, and they're really doing quite a bit. Now this objective, Tzeentch is able to take this one. I think the Armored Kossars, 46 models, fighting pretty hard here, and we do get more and more Armored Kossars. Maybe they'll be able to get this. There are some more blues, but yeah, like Random's going to have to play for a triple cap now, and when you're behind, he is getting the come from behind bonus. So Kislev is going to be getting extra resources to spend, but they're going to have to capitalize on those quick. Now here, old Rasputin is going to be battling into the Exalted Lord of Change. He gets the nice bear paw on that bad boy. I don't know if there's going to be any follow-up. Kostaltin does heal when he's low as well, so there is like healing on both sides via the shields. Zargard's still fighting pretty hard on that low ground objective, and looks like the Armored Kossar is going to be chasing off those blues, while some Kossovite dervishes do go to try and capture that high ground objective. But yeah, Kostaltin actually doing very well, beating up that chicken, and certainly showing it no mercy. As more and more of the Kislev infantry continue to move onto this objective, Kossovite dervishes were reinforced. Probably going to be trying to jump on the blues, but yeah, it's going to be a really, really hard triple cap right here. A very, very hard one for sure. When your opponent's Screamers are doing well, then you know you made a mistake, says Frederick. Dude, that's so true. That's so true, yeah. You know when they're actually performing, things are going rough. I think the initial engagement, like losing all those archers, was really rough. Like a summon and like one fury killed like 2 or 3 Kossar units, and that really did quite a bit of work. And yeah, also the spawn were a huge MVP, like the bury it spam. And here's the funny thing about this: if Random had gone with a wide Kislev build with like shooting and winged lancers, I think he would have won those initial fights so easily. But the fact that like everyone is so all in on the bear chariot spam that like it's like basically Void knows it's coming, like 100%. There's not going to be too much build variety, right? So he knows that's coming. But in this case, it looks like it's going to be a nice little triple cap here for the forces of Tzeentch, as the Kislevites are conquered here on the side objectives. A couple armored Kossars moving in, but despite the extra resources, we're not seeing any winged lancers or big heavy-hitting cav. It looks like the Heart of Winter finally does come in, which, was nice. Could have been used, like, the Heart of Winter would have been very good in the beginning. Man, if he had Heart of Winter in that first blob fight with the Bear Chariots, I think they might have just straight up won this, but now it's too late to come back. That Heart of Winter almost equalizes the value, though, which is really impressive. You can see 1,300 to 14.6, but overall, just too many inefficiencies here in the Kislev game plan, and Tzeentch able to cackle as their Chaos Knights do come in, and that is going to be a big old triple cap. Now, the best way to peel off the Furies is to use Winged Lancers or Heavy Cav to shock charge them when they're on the units, and they'll melt in like a matter of seconds. Yeah. GG, well played. Void going to be with a pretty convincing 2-0, advancing on to the Grand Finals to face off against Xiphos in a best of 5. And we had a donation during that game from Penny. Thank you so much for the 50 bucks. No message, but thank you for the donation, Penny. I really appreciate that, and I wish I had a message from you. If you type something in chat, say, like, tag me and say @Turin and this is Penny, and let me know. I'll happily answer any questions. Or yeah, thank you again. Yeah, the sleds didn't do that great. Like, the heavy war sleds are a much more balanced unit, but they're still really good against Tzeentch. But honestly, the sleds just kind of got caught in combat, and they got trapped in the blob. And like 2 of them, they got caught in final transmutations. There was just too many things going well for Void there in that engagement. And now we are on to the Grand Finals. GG, well played. Xiphos, I summon thee from the lands of France to do battle here in the Grand Finals, bud. All right, so let's do this. Copy that. Well played to Random. It was a fun series for sure. GG. And let's get this party started. I'm sure we'll be seeing Random back in the Grand Finals of these events. And Xiphos, sending a link to you right now, bud. Ah, there's so many screens open. I feel like I need another monitor sometimes. There's too much. All right. There you go. Alrighty, so the map we're going to be doing for the next game is going to be the Crossing of Sea of Claws for our Grand Finals. How can one beat Tzeentch? Kislev is actually quite good against Tzeentch. Yeah, Kislev is quite good against him. But Voidlaw's just had the better engagements and yeah, was able to just get the value where he could. So players can do their picks and bans now and get started. Skink Javelins are going to be really good, yeah. Dude, I think Domination Mode is going to get a huge boost in popularity when all the other factions are added in. Because there's going to be like a million cool strategies to scheme. Because Warhammer 2's meta at the very end was very much like just like SEM blobs with like, like 2 really powerful heroes, 2 SEMs and a Lord. And it got a little bit stagnant, but Domination changes that quite a bit. It will have its own toxic meta for sure. But I think it's going to definitely have a second life when the new factions are added in. All right, you guys ready for the most insane graphic design skills of all time? Let's do it. Go to the 4-man bracket. And now Void will be advancing on to the Grand Final. Who is going to be the first individual to be number 1 on our leaderboard? We will find out today. No, I have 2 screens, but I feel like I need 3 because I have the game on one screen. I have YouTube chat on the other screen, and then also my OBS there. So I could use like a 3rd screen for Discord. So I could communicate with the players and I don't have to like minimize stuff. Oh, Wheelhouse wanted to know what Lord I was using. I used a Herald of Death against the Ogre player. Yeah, which is good. So yeah, we're gonna be having some 2v2 tournaments coming up soon as well. I'm very excited for those. Those are super, super fun. I feel like Domination Mode really shines in 2v2s. Now, ask yourself the question: why is Domination Mode so much more fun and dynamic in 2v2s? Well, the answer is very simple. It's because you have bigger armies. So again, I think if Creative Assembly gives us slightly bigger starting armies, Domination Mode is going to just feel so good, and it feels good now. Just needs some minor tweaks, and I think we'll be in a sweet spot. All right, so we're going to put it to a poll here. Switch back to the lobby right now. Got to make the names. Xiphos needs his name a little bit more powerful. Yeah, there you go. All right, there you go. Cool. So we need to change this to the Grand Finals. Technology, baby. Look at us go. We got another tournament tomorrow. We have one on Saturday. Things are getting pretty crazy. This is a best of 5, though. So players are going to be really tested in terms of what factions are good at. Winner. And will it be Xiphos or Voidlaws? All right, guys, let us know who you think is going to be winning. There you go. What is the link to the Discord? So the website is here. Let me go ahead and do this. I think this will work. I'm working on this graphic. It's not. I haven't set up chat yet, but it's here. One sec, guys. All right. So yeah, tomorrow, like when I get this set up, where Wookiee is waving his paw, that is going to be where chat appears. So for anybody watching the stream back after the fact, you're going to be able to actually see the chat from the stream, like live. Also, if I want to use a webcam, like today, I'm just going full like haggard wild man today, just going shirtless, casting from some, you know, in some swim trunks here, but. You know, the webcam would be up there, and then you can see the name of the website, which is just totaltavern.com. So that's how there's a Discord link on the website. If you go to the website, there's a link up at the top, which will take you to the Discord. So yeah, Wookiee's saying what's up. He's hanging out. And now we're just waiting for the grand finals here, and life's good. Life is good. So Kislev versus Tzeentch again. This is going to be interesting. What approach is Zyphos going to take? This is kind of like a mind game situation where, like, does he do the chariot thing again and maybe just executes it a little bit more efficiently? It's hard to say. Yeah, you guys like the Wookiee there? Yeah, that's Wookiee, yeah. He's great. Whoever picks Nurgle first wins. I know, Wheelhouse, I feel like we need like a special prize if somebody picks Nurgle. You could put a bounty on it, send the player a prize if they pick Nurgle. Yeah, you'd have to communicate with them. But yeah, we'll have that set up tomorrow. I'm not done with it yet. I didn't quite figure out how to like connect YouTube chat. It's easier with Twitch chat, but the games are so exciting. Turin is yeah, it is pretty hot here actually. It is pretty hot in here. Yeah, Wookiee was a good boy. So 60% of you guys think Zyphos is going to win. Now, towards the end of Total War Warhammer 2, Void Laws was basically winning like every tournament. A lot of tournaments. Zyphos, of course, had his glory days a little bit further back. He was the winner of our second ECL season. He was one of the only people to win the ECLs outside of Felcon. Felcon pretty much like just reigned this unholy terror on ECL, my competitive seasons, for years and years. Double Elemental Bear against Tzeentch? No, don't do that. Although maybe, I mean, no, Tzeentch is just going to melt them. Tzeentch will just like summon in a single like flame unit and just like blast them into the Shadow Realm. When I play Total War games, I always wear a suit and tie. That's pretty funny. Alex, yeah, I think I saw your email, Alex. Shoot me another one. I don't know why you would be banned from the Discord unless you did something that warranted a ban, so I'll have to take a look. But shoot me an email and another one, and I'll get back to you on that. Yeah, Soothsayer I don't think has been... I actually haven't seen Soothsayer enter a single tournament. I don't think so. We might see Nurgle if the players... Yeah, we could see Nurgle for sure, Lord. If there is a best of 5 and corner Slaanesh is like the option. But it looks like it's going to be Kislev versus Tzeentch here. Turin, thoughts on triple heralds with palanquins on heroes? I don't know. That could be interesting. It depends on what matchup we're talking about. So will there be any Everchosen tournaments? So last I heard, Everchosen, Josh, I think Josh mentioned at some point, so he's someone who works for CA. He mentioned that at some point down the road that there would be another one. So for anybody who's just getting into this, Everchosen is a tournament series that I created with Italian Spartacus back in 2017. So we first casted it out of his apartment, and eventually Creative Assembly got on board and was actually sponsoring it and was flying us out to the UK to host it in person, which was really, really fun. When the Rona came, we started doing it as we did it from our lairs and our houses, but it's kind of slowed down since then. But yeah, I don't know. It could happen. I'll be posting anytime there's a new big event. What I want to do is a LAN event, something I was really inspired by N4C, what I saw with Neely doing with the Age of Empires tournament. I want to do an in-person event. But it's the problem is it's so expensive to fly folks out from Europe. I mean, I could do an American-based one just to test the waters, which would be fun because I think Aerocrastic lives in California, and there's a lot of competitive players in the States, and that's a much more fiscally viable thing. I'd have to work out. There's a lot of logistics to work out. Oh my God, is it going to be Grand Cathay against Tzeentch? That's a bold strategy, Cotton. That is a bold strategy. But we'll see. We'll see. Another hot dog eating stream? It's gonna happen, Adam. Yeah, I've talked about that with Sparty. We were chatting about it the other night, so we'll definitely do that. But I want to do an in-person event, which would be really, really fun. Yeah, Jay Phoenix, that was over a year ago. I went back and looked at some of my first streams on my channel, and I was, oh man, it's like looking at a different person. Frederick, you're back. We can start the game now? Okay, sounds good. We got Cathay versus Tzeentch for you, which I'm super hyped to see Cathay. Will the leaderboard on the side eventually be divided by land and domination battles? I'm thinking about doing that, but like part of me just wants to keep it as one now, but I think I will maybe add a tab for either of those. Yeah, but eventually we might, but for now it's domination takes a ton of skill. It's still Total War. So does so does land battles. Like the players you're seeing in the finals of this tournament are the players you would be seeing in the finals of land battle tournaments. It probably wouldn't be that different. So we'll see. All right, 60-40 for Zyphos. Wow, nice guys. There you go. Hey, James, thank you for the donation. He says, hey, Turin, been lurking on your channel for about 3 years. Thanks for the easy listening. What old faction are you most looking forward to playing in Warhammer 3? Empire and Dwarves. When I get access to the Empire and Domination mode, I'm just going to be going ham with grenade launchers and just flagellants. Karl Franz is going to be smiting the foul chaos monsters. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Ian says he wants to take his boat back. Turin needs to move to... You know, the wife and I have talked about that in the past, like living in Poland. Yeah, because she's from Poland, and I always have a great time out there. The Polish people have been nothing but great to me, and my lovely wife comes from there, so it is a win. You want to change your vote now that you see it's Grand Cathay? Oh no. Maybe if Grand Cathay had some of the changes I was talking about, we could be in better shape. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, but Cathay doesn't have the war sleds. Cathay's problem is dealing with armor and like getting the objectives from Tzeentch. I hope Zyphos has some MLG play that we don't know about. I really do. I remember watching you when Norska came out. Dude, that is so long ago. Oh my God, that was like 2017. That was before my wife and I were married. Dude, I was living in Poland when that came out. Yeah, because I was there for 3 months. So the tourist visa only allowed me to stay there for 3 months. So my wife and I, we rented a cottage in a Polish forest, which was amazing. And yeah, and we just lived there for 3 months. It was super fun. It was super fun. Yeah, Houseplant said those units will be good for the Empire. So pertaining to my question of the grenade launchers, absolutely. Yeah, Void is very strong. I'm sure there will be some champions rising from beyond to do battle with him. Okay, make sure you save your builds. So Void and Zyphos, save your builds because we do have the dreaded desync here. So it could happen again. Void Laws and Zyphos, please save your builds just in case of desync. Cool. So we'll have them save their builds. Just in case. The Norska guide. Oh, that's so old school. Yeah, it's so old school. Yeah, it was always a good time in Poland. The food was good. It's a very, very different culture, of course. It's fun. I've been a long time lurker. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I see what you're talking about there. I think Skaven are going to crush in Domination. I think they'll be very good. Thanks to Pixelated Apollo for showing me Turin in like 2016 or something. Yeah, like I remember when the game first came out, he was covering it, but he's obviously more on the historical train. He prefers that, which is great. Historical, yeah, 3 Kingdoms. What other ones have we got? We got a couple sagas. Total War has definitely been taking the lion's share of Total War's efforts, which I don't mind. I prefer it, but I'm excited to see what historical titles they have down the lines. I would love another medieval game, like a really high quality medieval Total War. Like, oh God, that'd be so good. I've been watching since Warhammer 1, Demogryph Knights and Fate of Una spam. Damn, dude, that's old school. That is old school. That's really old school. Yeah. If you decided to do a live event, get in contact with me if you need talent. I was an esports caster for 6 years before I did YouTube. That's really cool, man. What games did you cast, Frederick? What were your big jams? What were your big jams? Poison Wind is going to be super crazy. Yeah, Skaven are going to be really strong in domination mode. So hopefully we don't get the dreaded desync. Okay, what is it? Just... Okay, now the countdown is going again. Have Zerkovic ever come to a tourney? So I don't think so. Zerkovic has hosted a couple of his own. They're very rare, though. I think he hosts them like once every couple months. I've never actually seen him play in a tournament either. I don't think he's like a tournament player, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm pretty in tune. I tend to keep my hand on the pulse of the competitive multiplayer scene. I know who's hosting tournaments and what's going on, and I don't think I've ever seen him participate in one. Okay, I'm trying. It's like stuck on the screen here. So let me tell the guys. I might have to rehost the lobby. Need to rehost. It's stuck on 0. Okay, so I just need to rehost this real quick. Maybe the lobby's a little bit worn out. Failed to host game. Oh my god, is there some sort of a patch going on or some weird business right now? Okay, that was weird. There's not like some maintenance or something, right? Okay, cool. So we'll get him back in here. The map was going to Domination, and it was Crossing of Sea of the Claws, if I'm not mistaken. Cool. You've come a long way, Turin. I remember your Gelt double Witch Hunter builds, dude. That was the stuff of magic. That was so fun. That was so fun. That's cool, Frederick. That sounds like a lot of fun, man. Yeah, the only I haven't done too many in-person events. I've done pretty much all of the ones I've done have been with Creative Assembly, but you know, I only recently started covering other games. I did get invited to go fly to Germany to cast N4C, the Age of Empires tournament, but you know, I have some really important stuff I have to take care of next week, and I like all that traveling would have just been brutal right now. I think that was the first time Sartorial got onto the channel was when you were playing Dove. Armando saying, I was there when Turin had 70 subs. The first guide was on how to move troops, make groups. Yeah, simpler times. Simpler times. All right, so settings are all good. Please, for the love of the dark gods, load in. If this doesn't work, then what we'll have to do is we'll have to have one of them host, and I'll have to like join as a spectator, so I'm not like the primary person. You got to switch those things. I'm sad that Witch Hunters became useless after the accusation change. Yeah, I love the old accusation. I like it's so funny to imagine a witch hunter pointing his finger at something and it just starts taking damage. Like, I accuse thee, and it just takes damage, yeah. It's pretty hilarious. I accuse you of heresy. It was really funny when you'd have like Empire versus Bretonnia and he would like literally point at like King Lewin and like heresy, and you know, it just starts taking damage. It's like, what a meme that was. Yeah, just pointing at Grimgor, like the angry pointing. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, the dreaded Miao Ying double terracotta from Xiphos. So 2 Sentinels. You have a Jade Warrior, and we do also have Jade Warrior crossbows. Very, very cool indeed. Now, if we take a look here at the forces of Tzeentch, it's going to be blues, Forsaken, and pinks with, honestly, it's like the exact same build that we just saw. Is this just like a copy-paste of that last build? I think it is. And the fact that Tzeentch can get away with that is so bad. So terracottas could certainly absorb a lot of these shots. Like, these are not armor piercing. I mean, they have a little bit of AP on them, but not much against 100 armor. And Miao Ying with Earthblood and, you know, heals could be very, very impactful. Oh my god. One sec, guys. I gotta close the blinds. It's getting real sunny in here. Ah, there we go. The blinds have been slain. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us know your predictions. We are all set. It is going to be Miao Ying in the Terracotta Squad. I love it. I love the Haggard Double Sentinel builds. It's so funny. I mean, he's got some archers too. Yeah, Jade Warrior Crossbowman. I actually like the opening with the Double Sentinel because it allows you to contest the objectives better. Whereas if you go with Mass Infantry, you tend to get stuffed off the objectives since Cathay doesn't really have great killing power with their infantry. But we'll see. Lore of Life heals them. Yeah, it's just like in Warhammer. Okay, both players are messaging me here, I think. No, they're saying good luck, have fun. I don't know why they're taking so long to start. This is strange. Okay. Now we're back in the game. Yeah, it's just like Steam Tanks. So you can heal Steam Tanks with regrowth, which is hilarious. I feel like mechanical units, like, it's a weird thing, but like, I think for balance purposes, healing Terracottas is fine. Dude, look how cool they look too. Terracotta Sentinels are probably one of the coolest units in the game. Like, a lot of monsters, when they move, you don't really feel their weight, but like these things, when they move, you feel it. You can just, like, the way they move, like the lumbering posture, and they're actually not slow either. They're pretty quick. They have almost 50 speed, so they're so much better than Giants. Like, Giants literally cost like the same as the Terracotta Sentinel, like 100 less, I think. They have like almost no armor. They can be broken. Like, why are Giants like, why are Terracottas and Giants like the same? It's crazy. Oh, the Storm Dragon! Here she is. So cool. Cathay has so much cool stuff, man. Really rad. So she does have Talons of the Night, which is an insanely good spell, especially against blobbed up Tzeentch units. And what is Grand Cathay going to be summoned again? We see some Jade Warriors. Looks like they're moving up to objective number 1 to go grab that, which Xiphos, hopefully he knows about the formation attack. If you don't switch off formation attack, your units are going to be so much weaker in combat. Will speeches be added for Warhammer 1 and 2 factions? I don't really know. I think they should, because imagine Karl Franz giving some super badass speech as you load into a domination battle or a land battle. I think that would be really, really cool. So Miao Ying is hunting the chicken. She's eyeing the prize. Maybe she's going to go after some of the blue horrors of Tzeentch over here. We're not sure. In the meantime, we get more crossbows moving up. So what's going to happen is Tzeentch is going to just summon in a bunch of Furies, yeah. And in my experience, oh, look at this. Wait, Miao Ying is actually hitting the chicken. Okay, Miao Ying makes contact with the chicken. It has taken damage. That was very strange. The way it was kind of interacting on that cliff there. Very, very cool stuff. Hey, darling, what's up? Here you go, babe. All good. Oh, our dog, yeah. We call our dog Chicken, so whenever I yell it, she like reacts to that. So the Terracotta Sentinels, or excuse me, the Jade Warriors moving for 1. So that'll be pretty much a free objective for Cathay. And then it's just going to come down to contesting the middle, which I think Cathay better hurry and get started on this. They definitely don't want to take too much time. Like, move in those Terracottas, get the enemy to blob their infantry, and then drop like a fat Storm of the Night or something. I mean, they could play the side objective with like Miao Ying and, you know, maybe summon in some Jade Lancers or something, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon, going in after the Exalted Lord of Change. Crossbows of Grand Cathay. Now going to be getting through the barriers, but of course the OP Tzeentch barriers are just going to pull back and heal, and you'll pretty much have acquired no value. How are they going to deal with the Furies? If I were Xiphos Longma Riders, like, you need Longma Riders to protect these archers. If you don't, you are going to have a really bad time. So here they come. Great choice there. Now you slow push. You move up the Terracottas, you move up the Jade Warriors, you crossbow push on them, and you live long and you prosper. You definitely don't want to let Tzeentch get this objective, like, for free. So I think moving up with a couple of the units here would be quite strong. Longma Riders got to be defending your missile pieces. There's no point in playing this. I think there's Forsaken here that can bounce to that objective, so probably pulling back and using the Longbows in a more defensive posture would be good in supporting the big Terracotta Sentinels and whatnot. But the Forsaken are trying to juke, but it's not really worth juking with them. They're getting popped in the face pretty hard by these Jade Warrior crossbowmen and actually are taking some decent damage. While Xiphos is now going to be moving up onto the objective here, Longma Riders hanging out. Protecting these crossbows is of the utmost importance because they're actually doing very, very good. These Forsaken getting hammered here is quite strong. But Flamers of Tzeentch, they need to be your new target priority because the Flamers have amazing armor piercing. They'll also sunder the armor of the Terracotta Sentinel in conjunction with the Plague of Rust. You can get some crazy, crazy good damage on them. So yeah, big shots from the Flamers of Tzeentch. Miao Ying a little bit out of position. Xiphos definitely needs to be focusing more on this conflict here. He needs to get his crossbows off this cliff here. They're not very useful here. Move them down here and start shooting at the Flamers of Tzeentch. So here comes the first Furies. Longma Riders should be able to shut them down pretty well. And are these Jade Warrior crossbows? They are, which means that they're pretty armored, so Furies won't kill them super quickly. And man, this big Terracotta Sentinel, though, is getting melted so incredibly quickly, which has got to hurt pretty bad. But here comes the Longmas. Should be able to smash jam, space jam on those Chaos Furies. This one Terracotta definitely needs some heals. We need to see like a Storm of the Night or like a big AoE right here to punish this position. Looks like some of the Jade Warriors of Xiphos have moved up. Where is Miao Ying, though? She's been a little bit inactive here. The first unit of Furies in the back is going to be taken down, but I'm telling you, you need to deal with the Flamers. If like, Terracottas would last all day if it weren't for the shooting here in the back. Like, this other one's just cackling and having a great time. Miao Ying also, I think, should bring Regrowth. I think Regrowth is really, really good compared to the Earthblood, which isn't going to be as impactful. And now she's basically stuck up in the sky fighting against some Chaos Furies, which are just summons, which really isn't terribly cost-effective. This Terracotta does have about 1,000 HP. It's going to be moving back. What is Cathay going to be summoning after this? We got more Jades coming in. We have almost 1,000 gold. Maybe it's going to be another Longma Rider. Ooh, really, really good at Talons of the Night right there. Brutal stuff. Oh, that's going to be big damage. It hits Pinks, it hits Forsaken, and does skyrocket him up quite a bit in terms of value. That was a really, really good cast there, but even still. Ooh, and a final transmutation. Man, Void is just playing so tight right now. Like, all the engagements are really good. The Grand Cathay Longmire Riders getting some okay damage on the big chicken, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Furies here being attacked. Jade Warrior crossbowmen are blocked up in combat by Chaos Furies. They definitely need to go back and protect those if they can. I mean, there's 2 Longmires right now. Just get back here. Push these Furies off so your crossbows can start shooting. It's pretty much your only chance. And the other Terracotta Sentinel in the back is eating a lot of ammo. Longmire Riders going after the Flamers, who unfortunately are pretty much already out of armor, so not going to be that devastating, but honestly, Cathay's doing a pretty good job keeping the value close. You also have to remember Cathay does have access to some healing. A Regrowth or an Earthblood right here would be so incredibly strong, and the other Terracotta Sentinel going to be trying to peel off those flyers right there. Now, what are the summons going to be? Zyphos summoning in Jade Warriors, just trying to get some bodies on the objective here. The Forsaken of Tzeentch getting blasted. Also, there are some Jade Warrior Halberds coming in to assist. Miao Ying on foot here, taking a beating, which is okay. She's totally fine with that. She's chilling. And the old Flamers there did get melted down, but not before they used like 90% of their ammo. So they were able to basically take down a Terracotta for what, 900 gold? 1100 gold? There's something in that range. I think they're like 900 because the Exalted ones are 1100, which are, it's funny because they're an exponentially worse unit, but yeah, now it's starting to look more and more like a Cathay game. Like, you get stuffed back in your deployment zone. The Cathay player basically just panics and summons a bunch of Jade Warriors out to try and push back, but you just can't push against Forsaken and these superior units. Miao Ying, in the meantime, doing some backflips and some crazy stuff, trying to fight here. And the other Terracotta Sentinel here is going to be blobbing up the Tzeentch forces, and the Talons of the Night, once again, accruing some decent value as it does tear down these blues, but overall, the Terracotta is heavily overextended. Pink Horrors will be able to easily kill this thing. It only has 1200 HP, and these things are really, really tanky for sure. And hey, on the bright side of things, at least Zyphos is getting Tzeentch out of the way early, and, you know, maybe this is going to open up some safer picks for Zyphos a little bit later on. We will have to see, but I would imagine Void will probably go to Ogres the next game. It depends on the picks and bans, of course. Objectives going very, very heavily for the forces of Tzeentch 2 and 3. But overall, Tzeentch is just kind of winning the engagements across the field, right? I feel like the initial engagement, like the double Terracotta had some potential, but like maybe you got to play the side objectives with the Terracottas. They do have 50 speed, right? And I just feel like a lot of the play from Zyphos, he even mentioned in the Discord something along the lines of like, you know, I don't expect to win. You know, maybe he's trying like a meme build, but or trying something really avant-garde. But I feel like this is a risky place to do it. We saw Zyphos with an incredibly clean 2-0 victory in the initial rounds, right? And I think he's very capable of winning games like this, but just some of the execution seemed a little bit off here, but it's all good. Here comes the Terracotta Sentinel, the big space gem here. I think value's falling too far behind. I would imagine that Cathay probably will tap out here soon. Forsaken are going to move up here and capture this objective. Jade Warriors are pretty terrible, so they're not going to be able to really do much here. And, I mean, but all it takes, though, is one Flamer, though, to answer your question, Yumai. Is like, one Flamer can just resummoning it a couple times with some Pink Horrors as well as the Metal Caster is so nice, because Plague of Rust plus Warp Flame is going to be minus 75 armor and putting those guys down, and then pinks and blues can just blast them into smithereens, right? Which is extremely rough for sure. So here comes the Forsaken of Tzeentch, going to be moving across and jumping onto Objective 1. Longmire Riders hanging out. Longmires should be able to win this if they get like a proper charge. It's hard to say. Miao Ying going to be going full Dragon Farm here in the middle, but a nice Storm of the Night. I really do like that ability. I think Miao Ying and the Talons of the Night are very good, but overall I think it's not going to be enough as Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon, will fall. Chicken coming in with his KFC stick. I'm going to be dropping some big blob blows here. We'll see. Will the Storm Dragon fall? Yes, she will. I think she's down for the count. No, Miao Ying, no. Very dramatic. And Cathay is leaderless now. And they're losing all 3 objectives. That's GG. Had to rewind to look over the patch notes. Hey, hopefully it was helpful. They'll be up on the website in the next few days. I kind of liked the build. I thought it was ambitious and could have perhaps caught Void off guard. But like the single Flamer getting, you know, 1,000 plus value, it just was too much. And yeah, Miao Ying was like out of position in those initial fights. Like if she had been supporting and like diving the Flamers herself, maybe the Terracottas could have had enough staying power. But that is going to be game 1 going for Void. So now we'll move on over to the next match here, and we will see what happens. So for the next one, we are going to be on everyone's favorite. It is going to be the Silver Spire. I know some people don't like this one. I personally don't think it's bad. I do not think it's bad. All right, so checking here to make sure everybody updated the scores on the website properly. Looks like they did. Very cool. The leaderboard on the front page is functioning fine. Yeah, pretty rad. Pretty rad indeed. So we got our top 15 players on the website. You can now see. It's pretty cool. Zyphos and Void currently battling it out for the #1 spot. Random Nix at number 3. Benji at number 4 as well. Even star at number 5. Yeah, really, really fun to see. Really, really fun to see for sure. The dreams are all coming together. The dream is coming together. I'm trying to think, like, how Cathay could beat Tzeentch. Like, I feel like there's something to the Skyjunks for Grand Cathay. Like, maybe like a Skyjunk double Longma build and with like a cheap Lord just to really abuse the mobility and stuff. I don't know. It's really tough. I mean, Zyphos didn't have to pick Grand Cathay there. You know, there's plenty of competitive options he could have picked, but we've seen Khorne beat Tzeentch. We've seen Kislev do it. Kislev probably has like an 80% win rate against Tzeentch. Like, we've seen a lot, but alas, he chose the path of suffering. So it is what it is. All right, I'll be right back. Gonna refill my water, and we'll see you guys in just a second. All right, my friends, I've returned to you hydrated and good to go. And let's see what the picks are going to be for the next match. It is going to be the Old Silver Spire, so a very good map for Nurgle, actually, because it's super easy to defend your back objective, and you just kind of push for the other ones. Sentinels have 100 armor, to answer your question, CP. I'd say Kasei is decent, but Nurgle is definitely still at the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, I think so. Although, honestly, I'm like, between Cathay and Nurgle, it's like, it goes back and forth for me. Like, I've had some good games with Nurgle. Like, Nurgle can beat Khorne pretty well. Nurgle can fight Slaanesh, and Nurgle can also contend with Ogres a little bit, if you know the build. But, yeah. Oh my god, if Pendulum was on the table, if Tzeentch had Pendulum, it would just be the dumbest thing ever. Like, Cathay would have 0 chance. Cathay's performance in the first land battle tourney was solid. Yeah, Cathay's better on land battles. That's why I think if Creative Assembly raises the starting funds in Domination, Cathay will become instantly a better faction. Like, exponentially better. Which I would imagine they're going to do. Like, I think CA has heard that feedback, and I think that's going to happen. So that will buff factions like Cathay that want a more uniform army. So if you try and take infantry against Tzeentch or Slaanesh and ladder, you will get destroyed. It's true, yeah, it's true. But don't worry, our tournaments are a nice and cozy place where everybody can play fair and as fair as possible, really. Obviously, there's still some bounce things. So Zyphos looks like he's going to go Tzeentch. What will Void pick here? He can't pick Tzeentch. He can't play Tzeentch again. Ogres get countered by Tzeentch. Tzeentch is really good against Ogre Kingdoms, if you know what you're doing. So I would imagine that Void will probably pick, I don't know, what do we see, Khorne here or Kislev? Yeah, corner Kislev would probably be my guess. It's got to be a Kislev pick. Jade Warriors crying from mass pendulums. Yeah, Fidel, absolutely. Yeah, curious here what the picks are going to be. Maybe Zyphos is just kind of exploring his options. We'll have to see. Okay. So he is going to go Tzeentch. And it looks like it's going to be Ogres. It looks like it's going to be Ogres. Oh, no. So Voidlaws picked Nurgle and Ogres. Okay. And then Zyphos counterpicked with Tzeentch. That's right. We have the new system today. He counterpicked with Tzeentch, which hard counters both Nurgle and Ogres. And then Voidlaws from his 2 choices is going to pick Ogres. So it's going to be Tzeentch versus Ogre Kingdoms, which is very winnable for Ogres. Like, Ogres are still strong enough that they can win it, but if Zyphos plays properly, I think he should have a pretty good advantage here. I'll be sending the patch notes to Creative Assembly soon. I have to format them a little bit and then iron out a couple last things, and then, yeah, we'll send it. We will send it. Have you tried using the rocket battery against Tzeentch? Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's just really hard to defend. If they get like 1 Fury on it, like, you have to commit a 1,500 gold unit to go deal with it. And most Tzeentch players are going to use the Exalted Lord of Change, who's just going to summon a Fury to go kill it. So in my experience, it feels a little bit risky. But once you have a bigger starting army, I think things like that will be more viable. Yeah, he did pick Nurgle. So, yeah, Nurgle's on the table still for, you know, later games, for sure. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. We were very close to having a Nurgle game here, guys. I still think it's possible. I mean, especially if Zyphos wins this, then, you know, Void will probably potentially, if it goes to another game after that, he'll pick Nurgle. We'll see. Why is Ice Guard not very popular in multiplayer? Yeah, not having AP on their shots is pretty rough. The Frostbite is okay, but they're very pricey. Like, the reason why Sisters of Avalorn are used is because they have a crazy amount of armor piercing. So they can actually, like dunk on big targets. Whereas Ice Guard, like, not so much. You're paying a lot for their melee prowess, which is, with their light armor, they kind of get bullied anyways. So Ice Guard need a cost reduction, I think. In my notes, I think I have like 50 to 100 in their cost reduction, which I think is a good start. I will. The patch notes are going to go up on the website. Yeah, they'll be on. It'll have its own blog on the website where we're showing it. Yeah. Yep, it's going to be Ogre Kingdoms versus Siege. What will the builds be? For Zyphos, I would wager just a million blues and pinks and just fight on the choke points. And for the Chungus Kingdoms, I don't really know. Iron Blaster, perhaps. It can outrange them. It can force some fights there. We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out. I kind of want to peek at their builds real quick. I'm gonna be a bad man here. I'm gonna hide it and I'm gonna look at their builds because I'm really curious. Okay. Okay. I like it. I like what we're working with. Seems like some fun stuff. Do you guys want? I would give you guys spoilers, but unfortunately the players might be listening to the stream and they would build accordingly. Sisters of Avalorn barely got used. Exactly. They're extremely niche unit, Loopy. I agree with you. And yeah, and then Ice Guard are even worse than them. So like, what is that going to say about them? What is Nurgle's biggest issue for domination? I mean, the mobility sucks. Yeah, the mobility is a big issue for them, right? And on top of that, they're all lightly armored and like you can just butter them up with shooting so hard. Yeah. What about just 70 or 80 armor for Ice Guard? I don't think that makes sense lore-wise, because Ice Guard are really like, they're really lightly armored. They're wearing mostly like kind of, you know, like furs and things like that. Like, that would be a strange fix. Like, unless you added some like heavy armor to them, which is not how I think they're designed. I don't really know what the fixes would be for Ice Guard other than cost reductions. Because like fundamentally, like if they just cost like 200 less, they might see some play. Because then you have an option between like a Kossar with spears and then them. Like, you're getting a little bit more bang for your buck. And with also Frostbite on your arrows and magic damage, right? Which is good against demons. So, yeah. I think so. Low armor and expensive is really bad for infantry, 100%. 100%. Yeah, Nurgle is definitely really good in 2v2 domination. I agree with you, Frederick, because they bring healing. Like, I have played 2v2 domination with Nurgle where, like, my friend I'm playing with has Scarbrand, and he's just getting nuked, and I'm just like healing him, and the other team's like, how is Scarbrand getting so jacked? How is he healing? Yeah, so Nurgle definitely loves 2v2 a lot more because they can just focus on what they're good at, which is healing and just like tar pitting objectives while your opponent does the damage. You could even do like a Plague Bearer front line and just have like shooting behind it. There's a lot of cool things. What about more AP to the Ice Guard arrows? Yeah, a slight AP buff and a cost reduction would be a step in the right direction. Would be a step in the right direction. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Tzeentch, led by Zyphos, facing off against the Ogre Kingdoms, led by Void. It's going to be double pink, double flying goblins, as well as a bunch of blues. This is a pretty competitive build. Sometimes you'll see Tzeentch players go even wider. They won't use the big chicken. Rather, they'll use like a little herald on a disc or something. But I think the big chicken is always good. Final Transmutation is just so nice in domination mode. Is it going to be metal? Yeah, it's going to be metal. So we saw the build for the Chicken Lord, and now looking here at the Chungus Kingdoms, it is going to be Noblars backed by shielded ogres, basically Iron Fists. More Iron Fists. Scrag is a huge target. If this guy sits still for even a second near a Tzeentch army, he's dead. If they go in guard mode and just focus fire you. On top of that, we do have Man-Eaters with pistols, as well as the big old thick Iron Blaster. So Iron Blaster's decent. If Tzeentch goes wide and doesn't present many targets, it's not quite as good, but still, it's a beast. Now, the one thing about this matchup I like a little bit better is using the Cultists of Tzeentch instead of the Big Lord and getting the double pink summon. I think that's so devastating to ogres. But still, this build is going to be very, very tough to deal with. Because the thing is, on this map, you just like choke right here on this like little avenue here, and then you just like hold the back with like some Forsaken and blues and things like that. Vicious Satsuma says, if Ice Guard aren't even good into demons where magic damage is useful, then there's limited counterfire. They will, yeah, they're going to be worse for sure, Satsuma. They need some buffs. Iron Blaster definitely needs a cost increase or some tweaks on the way it shoots. It's a very, very strong unit. for its price point, I mean, how much does the Iron Blaster cost? Like 1,100 or something? It's pretty absurd for what it does. But, I mean, it's not that good against Siege. It's okay. Like, it can shoot the big chicken, but at the highest level of play, really good players are going to be able to juke it with a Flying Lord that has 90 speed. But it's more of a problem against factions like Nurgle and Khorne and these like combat factions who have these slower lords who are tied in combat, just getting nuked by an Iron Blaster, right? Blue Horrors are the best infantry unit in the game. I agree with you. I think they are extremely, I think they're undercosted. They're just too strong. They have too much ammunition and are very, very nasty. But, you know, they can be killed for sure. They're not like impervious to damage, but you think they're bad because you look at their stats, but then the Protoss shield, they basically have like regenerating 1400 HP or something like that. And on top of that, they do have shooting, which does fire damage, which mitigates healing. They're 1400, thank you, yeah. Could be a little bit more. So Iron Blaster blasts in, gets through the shields of these Blue Horrors, and this is definitely a win for Xiphos. If that's going to be using ammo on his like chaff units, that's definitely solid. And honestly, maybe you want to scoot up. I don't think you want to let the Ogres get a foothold here. I understand hiding from the Iron Blaster is one thing, but if you let the Ogres get too entrenched on this top objective, you're going to have a bad time for sure. I would like to see Xiphos maybe push up and start pressuring into this army right now. In the meantime, reinforcements coming in from Void. We do see a summon to the back. Probably going to be Noblars or something. Yeah, it's going to be Noblars. And one Noblar is on the back objective. Just going to be grabbing that bad boy. And Gorgers probably will be used as reinforcements. They're not amazing against Tzeentch. I mean, they're still really good because they annihilate Tzeentch Forsaken and can cut through pretty much anything. But the thing about Gorgers is they're really lightly armored. And if the blue and pinks use guard mode and focus fire them down, they can annihilate them in a couple seconds. So sometimes for Ogres, I think it behooves them to go with like Noblars as well as like Iron Fists. I think that's a little bit more cost effective. And then when the battle becomes more chaotic, you then use Gorgers to like play the back objectives and all that sort of thing. We get the first unit of Screamers coming out. So it is going to be a Screamer unit for Xiphos. And I wonder if it will attack into the Iron Blaster early. Probably not. So Iron Blaster shots just barely getting through the shield. And now you can see the shields are regenerating. So the damage that was taken on Xiphos' army, not going to be that big of a deal. The shields will be able to heal through a lot of that damage. It's such a strong mechanic. Iron Blaster pistols here are going to be shooting into the Furies. You know what? I'd actually like to see the Furies maybe go kill those Noblars. They're going to be jumping in on the Iron Blaster, which I kind of disagree with. I feel like the damage wasn't too bad, and I don't know if that was like worth the dive, but if they get out without taking damage, I suppose it's worth. And now the big man's on his way up. Exalted Lord of Change could drop a Fury summon, you know, attack these Man-Eater pistols. It looks like he's going to be landing to attack them and should be able to kill models with each attack. We'll see. So the first one does go in, doesn't quite get the models down, and now the Chaos Furies maybe can corral them. I think diving the Man-Eater pistols is a mistake. With all these units, you're kind of just giving value to the Ogres. I think just like the slow push is the way to do it. Some more Screamers in the back from Xiphos, sitting back there, kind of chilling a little bit. We do get some Saber Tusks moving in. And now it's time for Tzeentch to do what Tzeentch does, which is just to use their blues and pinks and just get some big firepower on these lightly armored Ogres. So yeah, just guard mode, focus fire down the Ogre units, claim the objective, and live long and prosper. So Xiphos getting a little surround here. Pinks shooting in. Nice damage to the backs of these Iron Fists, which I believe were not quite facing the right angle. The big Power Fist comes in. It does get through the shields, but doesn't do that much damage at the end of the day. I think focusing Scrag here would be incredibly smart. If you get both pinks, you kill Scrag, you Final Transmutation him, he's going to be in melee anyways. So you're going to hit more units. And I think that's going to be really nasty. So these Iron Fists do get attacked by Screamers and the Big Chicken. So Xiphos going for a pick on the flanks here. Now we have our first unit of Gorgers coming out. So Gorgers will be moving in while Xiphos gets some nice shooting. Able to melt down many of these Iron Fist units. They do get the Toothcracker. Really good response there by Void. That's going to be giving armor as well as missile resist. That's going to be an incredibly cost-effective play there. And what is the answer going to be here? We have more Screamers, but suddenly there's going to be some Gorgers in your back line. That's going to be very messy. I don't know if I like this engagement over here too much. Like, he brought an Ogre down a little bit, but overall it seems like a bad engagement. The Chicken, if the Chicken dropped a huge Final Transmutation right here, I think Tzeentch might just win. Like, honestly, I think it could be game. Like, if he flies the Big Chicken over, just Final Transmutation, it's going to hit the Noblars, it's going to hit the Ogre Iron Fist here. It's going to be incredibly cost-effective. And now we get Screamers actually attacking into the Gorgers, and the Pinks need to start shooting right away at these guys. Also, Xiphos a little bit AFK with some Chaos Furies here. They could be a little bit more active. The Man-Eaters in the back being attacked by Chaos Furies, which is certainly not bad. And the Big Chicken is coming in, but, you know, now the opportunity's kind of gone. Void Laws ran away with Scrag, so now there's not a big Final Transmutation there that's going to be really nasty. Screamer's trading incredibly well here with the Gorgers, actually. I'm very, very impressed by that. And the value's starting to even up a little bit. And now we get some Spawn of Tzeentch moving in as well. So the Spawn will be quite good against basic Ogre units. Here in the back, oh, is this going to be a big Final Transmutation bait? I think it is. Let's see what's going down right here. Troll Guts and Final Transmutation. That's going to be hitting the Saber Tusks as well as the Man-Eater Pistols. That was a really, really good cast by Xiphos there and is going to be accruing a ton of value, as now you can see the forces of Tzeentch are normalizing the equation, although Xiphos is now just starting to play his objectives, and that can be a little bit dangerous for sure against the Chungus Kingdoms. But Tzeentch does get a nice Final Transmutation back there. Screamer's a little bit trapped up, but overall the spawn in the front should be starting to trade pretty well. The blues and pinks still in a relatively decent state. Some of them are, of course, not all of them. And ogres are bringing in reinforcements of ogre bulls and ogre bulls. So just going for like mass on the objectives. What is Tzeentch bringing in? They have some pinks back here as well as some blues that are a little bit AFK. And now they're going to be moving up while Forsaken do grab that back objective to get ye old Tzeentch on the board. So the Exalted Lord of Change seems to be in good shape. Not doing too bad. The pink horrors of Tzeentch are going to be unleashing on something. I don't know why they're not shooting yet. Okay, they're shooting like kind of point blank into these ogre bulls here, who do have their armor sundered, mind you, which is quite good. One unit of Furies being sacrificed to the Iron Blaster God while the Screamers move in to support the pinks here. Pretty nice little ogre position, and I think Tzeentch's shooting will be here soon. I would actually like to see a Flamer as well. I feel like that could be kind of nice for just getting that like raw stopping power. Maybe a Terror Route coming down on the Noblars, although they're appearing to hold pretty darn well. Gorgers actually were relatively ineffective. I think that was one of the things that actually gave Xiphos a bit of a freebie there, is that he got to beat down those Gorgers. A big Final Transmutation going down again, and that is going to be hitting the Ogre Bulls and just all these high-value units, including Scrag. It hits these ones on the edge. That was a really, really good Final Transmutation, which allows Tzeentch to maybe actually push back this position. Something, though, I've noticed is that I think that the Pink Horrors have been a little bit poorly positioned. They keep getting caught in blobs, and they don't seem to be shooting a lot. It seems like there's a lot of inefficiencies there, which are giving the Ogres, you know, the game here, I think. Because honestly, I do think Tzeentch is favored versus Ogre Kingdoms. I think they have like a 70-30 matchup or 60-40, but obviously Void Laws is just playing a little bit of a cleaner game here, and we're seeing that reflected. Now, Gorgers are in. Gorgers probably will get Shrek'd pretty good here. The Old Furies are going to be descending on them, and the Exalted... Oh, these are Exalted Pink Horrors. Okay. That's actually going to be some heavy damage. The spawn of Tzeentch still fighting okay, but I really like the play here with the Noblar Trappers. The Trappers are basically sitting and just shooting into the spawn of Tzeentch and doing a good job with that, while the big chicken flies overhead, going to be dropping some summons, maybe trying to goon Scrag. That wouldn't be a bad idea to take away some of the healing there. And yeah, these Gorgers getting melted, not doing a whole lot, just getting hit by the combined firepower of the blues and pinks. But now the Chungus Kingdom's going to be rushing through and getting right on top of them while the spawn of Tzeentch try and hold this position. Iron Blaster is almost out of ammo. Value lead is for Void, and it is pretty substantial for sure. Forsaken going to be moving from the back objective to flank, which I think is a great play. I think you need to get them involved. They really aren't doing much for you sitting back there. And this is something that could have happened earlier. Like, I feel like Scrag could have been killed earlier, and this could be a very, very different game. I mean, Tzeentch is to the point where they would basically have to triple cap here. So Final Transmutation going down, going to be nailing those Gorgers, nailing the Saber Tusks, hitting Scrag. I mean, really, really good Final Transmutation. Hit a lot of high-value units, but now you got like all these Ogres on top of you. The formation of Tzeentch is kind of broken, where they don't have a lot of like layered shooting, which is really typically how they defeat the Chungus Kingdoms. Nice Tzeentch army ability, getting a little bit of a pop there, but the Troll Guts should keep them going. And Screamers are on top of the Man-Eater Pistols and are getting some decent kills, so they're getting some good shots for sure. More Gorgers being summoned in, as well as the Ogre Bulls. So those bad boys will be making their way downtown. I believe that is the Gorger from earlier. I'll have to double check because they are limited to 2 in our tournament. You can only have 2 Gorgers. So I'll have to check that in the post-battle screen to make sure we're all good there. And Screamers of Tzeentch and the Old Furies moving in, but it looks like the Ogres are taking all the momentum. I think Tzeentch has run out of steam, and obviously when their concentrated shooting formations break and the Chungus Kingdoms can just kind of keep beating them down, they're going to have a really bad time. The Saber Tusks are also quite good here. Their attacks are pretty hard hitting, especially against the Exalted Pinks, which I guess have some defensive capabilities. Yeah, Exalted Pinks have 38 melee defense. That's actually pretty damn high. I'm really shocked about that. So the chicken pushing back. Value currently a 3,000 lead for Void, and that's even worse considering he has access to healing. So the value lead is actually much, much worse for Tzeentch. Moving in with a couple Forsaken, I think that Xiphos probably will concede once he starts to see that his back objective is going to be threatened as well, and once he sees that this push of his right here is going to probably get steamrolled back. Chicken is holding on. It's got its Protoss shields up, but its HP is relatively low. And now the shooting is going to be coming in from the 2 blues, who of course have a lot of great stopping power. I'm surprised we didn't see a Slaanesh pick. Like, Xiphos picked a Tzeentch. I'm surprised we didn't see Slaanesh. I mean, we saw that he's really practiced with Slaanesh, but he had the opportunity to face Nurgle and or Ogres with his Slaanesh. We saw him crush Ogres earlier with his Slaanesh, and, you know, honestly, Slaanesh usually defeats Nurgle in Domination because they can play the objective so well, and Nurgle's kind of a little bit of a potato. So here comes the blues. The Chaos Furies of Tzeentch going to be chasing down that Iron Blaster, which is out of ammo. So if you're Void, what you want to do at this point is you want to send back the Iron Blaster. You get a refund because it's still healthy and it still got you its value. So you might as well send that back at this point, which I think is going to be good. Question in chat from the Potato asking Turin, how do you think Elden Ring has impacted Total War Warhammer? I don't think it has. I think if there's been any deleterious or, negative effects on Total War Warhammer, it's been issues with the game in terms of, lag and it not running well in certain rigs and things like that. Things like that. But this game's over, 100%. Like, Xiphos' back objective is being captured right now. There's a couple haggard Nobblars back here. Look at these guys just cheering. Oh my god, they're such a funny looking unit. Look at those, the little, what are they wearing? Like wolf pelts or saber? Yeah, those are wolf pelts they got. Man, those little guys are geared out. Ogre is certainly taking care of their small there. And yeah, now Tzeentch is trying one last time to get this middle objective. But dude, you're fighting from 4,000 behind. I think at this point, you could probably call it a day and maybe move into the other match. I do think Xiphos' build was more than capable of winning this. I just think that Void Laws was able to just get better engagements and just kind of outplayed his opponent in many regards. And we saw that reflected here in this battle. It was a valiant attempt for sure. Now, that is going to be 0-2. Now, this is best of 5 in the finals. So, nonetheless, Xiphos will have an opportunity to claw his way back. The reverse sweep, obviously Void has played, Tzeentch and Ogres. So now he's going to have to start playing other factions here as we do get a little bit further. Maybe he dislikes Slaanesh into Nurgle. In my experience, Slaanesh players are really happy with that matchup. But maybe things have changed. And there you have it. Ogre Kingdoms, of course, defeating the other OP faction in the game. What did well? I mean, honestly, not a lot. Not a lot did super hot there. Pretty good value on the Lord. He was a beast. Iron Blaster barely paid for itself. I don't think it even did. Gorgers, one Gorger got really good value, but the other one got shut down. Yeah. Overall, just better engagements for the Ogre Kingdoms. So, that is 2. Let us see what is going to be the next play as we do go on over to the Broken Lake Gully. And, I'm living on a prayer here. Xiphos saying in chat, he says, I never played Tzeentch. I guess that showed. So, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people, when they get in tournaments, will pick something because it's like really good there, but if Xiphos was a masterclass Nurgle player, it would be better to pick Nurgle into Ogres than it would be to pick Tzeentch if we've never played them, in my opinion. I've made that mistake so many times in tournaments, so many times, where you basically have, I've been in a situation where I'm like, okay, I know I'm not that good at these guys, but everybody says they're a counter, so I'm just going to play them because it must be easy. And then you lose. That's kind of what happened there, especially since Xiphos just said it in Discord. He's like, yeah, like I don't play Tzeentch. We saw that there. All right, so let us go ahead and do it. Get this going. Good. Do players have any questions? Xiphos picks Slaanesh and Ogres for his next 2 here. So now Void Lulls can pick one faction into both of those, which probably will be Kislev. And then it's going to be Kislev versus Ogres would be my guess. A Nurgle pick would be Super Chad. I don't see Void doing that. I think he wants to win. I think he's playing for keeps. Lore of Death is pretty good. Lore of Death is good. Yeah, Spirit Leech is good. Unit can be situationally quite good. Soul Blight is a very, very good spell. A lot of fun stuff. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I know it's a little bit late. It's cool to see all you guys sticking around into the late hours of your European nights and mornings. But we got more tournaments. The other tournaments will be starting much earlier than this one, guys. Do you think High Elves Narnia Alliance will be as popular as Corn Dogs? They'll definitely be better because they serve a really good role on domination mode of sniping back objectives. I don't think they're as good as Corn Dogs, but they will be used a lot more. I think they need a cost reduction though, because Corn Dogs are better than them and Corn Dogs cost 100 less, I think. So little things like that. Oh, the Nurgle pick! Void Lulls with the Chad pick! Nurgle is here! Bless our rotten hearts! Okay, so Xiphos has to pick Ogres or Slaanesh. I wonder if Void knows the dreaded Nurgle Ogre counter. If he has practiced it like I have. I've played that matchup so many times. He did it. It is going to be a Nurgle pick. Rejoice, followers of the Plague God. If you're going to pick Nurgle, now's the time to do it. Because you're just like, you're already up 2 games. You can take a risk. Obnoxious Potato, I already answered your question during the last game, in case you missed it. I literally paused the action to answer your question. And let's see what's going to happen now. I think Xiphos is caught in a moment of shock. He's like, I'm not sure. He's trying to decide between his Slaanesh and Ogres. I don't know. Yeah, he's going to go Slaanesh. Okay, this is a fun matchup. This is a really, really fun matchup. Super excited to see what they're going to do. Nurgle time, bless. Yeah. Yeah. Silver Spire is bad for Slaanesh, so that makes sense. That makes sense, Humais. I get that. Yeah, Satsuma, are you a little bit behind right now watching it? Yeah, there was a lot of rough stuff there, Satsuma. Hey, Satsuma, why are you not playing, man? Where you been? Have you been taking a break? Have you been out of town? I was expecting to see you getting in here and crumping some folks. May the Father embrace him in all his encompassing grasp. Yes. So we got Nurgle versus Slaanesh. This matchup it's fast, it's furious. And I mean, Void still has Kislev as a pick on the back pocket as well. He's got Khorne as well. There's some good choices. We will see what it's going to be. Who's going to be the top tier factions when they're all in the game? Do you reckon for multiplayer? Oh man, Vampire Counts for sure. I think Vampire Counts are going to be the most degenerate, obnoxious domination faction, like hands down. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, do drop a like. It helps get the stream out to more people, and more importantly, it gets more people involved in the multiplayer scene, which keeps all these tournaments going. Yeah, it's great. We'll go back and check. Yeah, Potato. So to answer your, what was your question? Yeah, so I think I can answer it again, so you don't have to go back. So basically, you asked if Elden Ring had like a impact on Total War Warhammer 3's launch. I don't think so. I think like they're games that you can jump back and forth between. I don't think they're like direct competitors. It's a grand strategy RTS versus a very different game, and I think if there was any negative effects on Total War, it was self-imposed with all the functionality and issues we've had with the game. Yeah. Satsuma a little bit behind, huh? The dreaded rule breaks will return. Yeah, they're coming. This is a very good map for Nurgle. Yeah, exactly, B-Master. I agree with you. I think the back cap is really good. I had work, sadly. Well, we got a tournament tomorrow, and we have one on Saturday, so you got no excuses. We have them lined up for the next 3 days for you. Corpse Cart meta OP and Domination for sure. Dude, oh my god. You know what's going to be gross in Domination is double Vampire Lord. A Vampire Lord and a Vampire Flyer, both with zombie summons, blocking objectives so you can't get to them. Oh my god, that's horrible, dude. Oh, that's horrible. I don't even want to think about that. I think, I don't know. I think Tomb Kings will be fine in Domination. I think they'll be great. Tomb Kings will be better in Domination than they are in land battles, that's for sure. Hey, Wheelhouse! Dude, you're going crazy, man. I really hope you're just some secret Bruce Wayne millionaire there, and it's really no sweat off your back, because I always feel bad when people donate that much, but I hope you live in some, huge mansion and have like an underground bat cave and all these things. Wheelhouse, thank you. I know you wanted your Nurgle, and you have one of the best players in the entire community playing them, so if Nurgle's ever going to have a time to shine, it's right now. Wheelhouse, thank you so much again. Thank you. That is mega generous of you, and you're keeping the old multiplayer machine rolling. Yeah, it's going to be good. It is going to be good. Yeah, he's doing it, man. Wheelhouse is carrying the stream. Nurgle, I think, will actually be good against Vampire Counts. Like, durable, grindy infantry with, like, Mortis Engine and, like, good AoE punishment. Like, vampires won't be able to goon Nurgle characters very well. Like, a Great Unclean One is going to tank the Vampire Count goon squad so hard. Yeah. There's no flying hero caster with zombie summons. Yeah, so you have the Vampire Lord. Yeah, the Vampirist is of death, right? Yeah, that's true. But you could do a Necromancer on a horse, which would be equally as gross. That's going to be some foul stuff. I'm telling you, I think Vampire Counts are going to be the unholy Terminators. I think they will be. I think they'll be the new meta. But the cool thing is we're going to have like 23 factions at that point. So it's like, even if Vampire Counts are OP, one of the other 22 factions will probably be able to defeat them, It's not going to be like as bad as it is now, where we have like if you take some old world factions, of the 15 we have, like I'm sure 3 or 4 of them will crush a Tzeentch or just wreck ogres, right? Like we're going to have it's going to be so much better when we have more faction diversity. Because with the nature of Total War, and I think that's kind of how the game balances itself. There's bad matchups, but if there's so many factions that eventually there'll be, an answer there. Like imagine Wood Elves against Ogres, nasty missiles, cheap spear infantry with good leadership. Man, that's going to be so good. Yeah, I hope Nurgle is good against vampire counts. I hope they are. Yeah, Treekin will be good, but Treekin won't have the capture power of infantry. Oh, okay. This is actually... Voidlaw's build is very similar to the one I like to use, but I use Exalted Plague Bearers and he doesn't. Instead, he gets some Nurglings. Okay, I like that. I think that's pretty cool. And for Slaanesh, full mobility. Not full, but they have the anti-large cav. And Kari, as well as a couple Marauders just to hold objectives. I love it. Dr. B, thank you for the enjoyable streams, both this today and AoE for the other day. Take care. Thank you so much. And we have a whole weekend of streams. Land battles, domination. It is going to be great. Will faction war tournaments be in one stream consider the amount of factions? They will. I'm probably going to bring up Italian Spartacus. He lives pretty close by. Well, like an hour, 40 minutes. And we'll do like a big long day event, which will be really fun. Greenskins, I think, will be great in domination. They have excellent mobile units. They have really powerful lords like Grom the Paunch fighting on objectives. Sign me up for that. Yeah. Wood Elves domination, triple capping with all invisible units. Yeah. I love it. So, Cheap Marauders, Inkari is going to be here with the Lash as well as Acquiescence. And we have a bunch of Hellstriders to kill Toads and mobility, looks like. And for Nurgle, this is a really good play. And this is how you play Nurgle, guys. You park a Plague Bearer on your back objective, and then you just waddle to number 2 and just fight for it. And then if an opportunity arises, you do the dreaded Nurgling backcap. That is like Nurgle play 101. Hey, Dr. V, really appreciate that donation. Thank you. And Wheelhouse, once again, thank you for your support as we move into this game. Plague Bearers are really good against Ogres too, guys. That is my secret sauce build. Against Ogre Kingdoms, I go with the Deathcaster, and I bring like max Plague Bearers and 2 Exalted Plague Bearers as well. And just like swarm the objectives with bodies, and I usually have been able to win on points against really high-level players. So it's cool, like even a couple weeks or a month into the launch of the game, like we're still discovering new builds for Nurgle that make them viable against Ogre Kingdoms, I think. But again, we haven't seen it like tested in a crucible like this, but I think we will in due time. So Plague Bearers are moving up with some Nurglings. That is going to take a ton for Slaanesh to remove. Like a ton. And then it just basically comes down to the Big Chungus being able to win the middle objective here, which I think is very, very important. So, oh yeah, baby, look at these guys go. They're pretty quick. I mean, considering like their current health and shape, I mean, that does not look good for them. But what Slaanesh will do is alpha strike the side objectives, which I think is a really, really good play as well. I mean, this is the advantage. It's speed versus, it's the tortoise versus the hare. Will the hare run out of steam before the tortoise can cross the finish line? We'll find out. So the biggest part about this matchup for Nurgle is the allocation of resources. How are you going to effectively like cover all your bases, you know? So I think leaving all these units down here with the Plague Bearers and sending the Great Unclean One up here is a good choice. Plague Bearers will trade super effectively into Hellstriders. Like super effectively. And Kari will do well. But Nurgle is banking, 1,400 gold right now. So there's going to be something very, very strong coming out soon, or a swarm. So we get the Furies coming. Fury's going to be diving in, and the Plague Bearers, they'll get there eventually, guys. They'll get there eventually. They had their charge animation going, but then they kind of lost interest there. While the Exalted Big Chungus moves up there to kind of dissuade them from wanting to attack. And here they come. The Ogre Kingdoms are not here in this game. It is a different matchup. We have no Tzeentch, we have no Ogre Kingdoms in the grand finals of a tournament. This is a dream come true. Now, Chaos Fury is pulling back right here. There's going to be a Nurgle spell going down of some sort. No, Acquiesce to give the melee attack buff. And Nurglings will trade pretty well into Hellstriders. Hellstriders are very weak in melee, only 24 melee defense and low armor. And the Big Chungus is on his way. Nurgle Fury is also very, very strong here. They have great armor piercing, and they're not armor piercing, great damage against light, and they're also infantry sized. So that's going to be incredibly effective here. So the big old bombardment going down from the Exalted Great Unclean One. Hits those guys, pushes them back, and yes, Slaanesh probably going to be ahead on value in many regards. Xiphos and Inkari are on the retreat. And what is the Slaaneshi response going to be? Actually going to be infantry. Very, very curious choice. I feel like the Great Unclean One and the Plague Bearers are going to trade super well into those guys. But once again, they charge into the big boy, and this is also another way to win this. Oh, and here comes Inkari! Witstealer Sword is active, 1,000 weapon strength, the Big Chungus is getting popped! Willing Prey going down as well, and I would imagine there's going to be a heal coming down. Dude, the Witstealer Sword is so cool! And look at the Exalted Great Unclean One just getting whooped on by Inkari with all the buffs popped. Now, will the Big Chungus endure? He waves his bell, and Grandfather will embrace him and give him the fleshy abundance. So, he's going to be healing through the damage. I love the dynamic of this duel here. It's so cool. It's like the big burst damage versus the durability. And now the Great Unclean One is healing, and he is, man, tanking it like an absolute boss. Obviously, Xiphos up a little bit in value, and some of the Chaos Furies were smashed there, but the Nurglings and more Furies being summoned in doing some great work. And look at this duel going down. Inkari now starting to lose the duel against the big Chungus, it looks like. Although still getting some big work in there. This is a big win for Xiphos getting this, but if Xiphos gets trapped here and can't get away, that could be very problematic. The heal is on cooldown right here, and the Cultist of Nurgle is going to be dropping a Plague Bearer summon to lend a little bit of support, because obviously there are a lot of Marauders coming in, and the Cultist is going to be coming in the back with the Steel Chair. Inkari is very, very squishy, but all of the demons dying nearby will be healing Inkari with the Reaper of Souls ability. And the Great Unclean One now is starting to take a beating again. Wit Stealer's Sword is not active at the moment. Obviously, it has a relatively short cast time. Slaanesh moving in the middle with Marauders to fight Nurglings, but the Plague Bearers there should be able to decisively win those engagements. And now Inkari is going to be pulling back right here, running away and juking from the Chaos Furies. Dude, what a heated engagement there. The Great Unclean One still has 6,000 HP, and Inkari only has 5,000, right? Like, but looks way healthier. And did Inkari bring the Reaper of Souls? We'll have to see. So, Acquiescence is popped here in Fascination. Really good play, because that's going to be triggering a faction-wide melee attack buff for Slaanesh. Marauders, though, obviously will lose very decisively against Plague Bearers. Plague Bearers are linebackers against these type of units. High melee defense, as well as really, really good, damage. So that's going to be pretty good. Now, back here, Inkari going in for round 2 against the Exalted Great Unclean One. Does get the Great Unclean One down to sub 5,000 HP. No, 5,400, holding on pretty well. Forsaken of Nurgle are moving in. And the big Chungus has been spanked by Inkari, and Inkari's going to be running away, maybe looking to jump to the middle, which I think would be a good play. I think staying here with the Mortis Ascension effect and just having all your units get drained is very risky, but I mean, if Xiphos can kill the Exalted Great Unclean One, I think that would be a win con. But look at this, the big Chungus with Fleshy Abundance once again is healing. Nurgle showing his durability. And it looks like the Stream of Corruption going down as well, going to be tickling all those Marauders. And Inkari probably should move to the middle and maybe try and help win this fight. I think that right now Nurgle is very, very close in terms of value here. But like if the value is this close against Nurgle, you're actually losing. Because Nurgle has heals, which pretty much account for that damage differential, right? Nurglings against Marauders. The Exalted Great Unclean One is here. Xiphos going to be giving a melee attack buff, maybe? Not sure. Some sort of a buff. Yeah, Acquiescence lowering the melee defense. Getting a Cav surround there as well. On the low ground, Nurgle is just absolutely spanking here. The Marauders able to push back those guys, or excuse me, the Plague Bearers pushing back the Marauders. And Xiphos responds with some Hellscourge infantry, it looks like. No, actually more Spear infantry. While Inkari up on the high ground crumbles some Nurglings. We have a little bit of a good fighting force here. We have some Seekers of Slaanesh, which are quite strong. There goes the Stream of Corruption. Going to be doing some big damage against those Marauders. Really, really nice cast angle. This is a really, really good game. I hope people continue to practice Nurgle and learn like some meta builds against them, because the fact that Xiphos didn't pick Ogres into them makes me think he's either not practiced with Ogres or maybe there are some Nurgle options against the Ogre Kingdoms. Still against Tzeentch, I don't feel like there's too many options, but nonetheless. Xiphos is up on value. Nurgle is up on objectives, which is always good. And this is really the big strength that Slaanesh has in this matchup is the rotating back and forth, right? Inkari able to just zip around the map, using the Wit Stealer's Sword, but not attacking the character. Kind of an interesting choice. Okay, now Inkari's looping back. I think it's just a bit of a unfortunate pathing there. But Slaanesh might be able to take the middle objective. They're also still threatening the high ground objective as well. So despite the initial engagements going better for Nurgle, ooh, and this Cultist is getting popped in the face. Hey, Wolf, thank you for becoming a member here on the channel. The Cultist is getting destroyed in your honor. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the membership. And now Slaanesh is starting to steal the objective, as the Nurgle forces here are getting crumped a little bit. Wit Stealer's Sword is off cooldown. The big Chungus is healing capped. So there's not going to be any more healing going down on the Exalted Great Unclean One. He is at his cap. He is doing the best he can. Marauder Spear is trying to capture this. How is the high ground objective looking? Okay, actually Marauders of Slaanesh with some Cav support. If like a Seeker or something really fast could get over here and hammer these Forsaken in the back, Slaanesh might be able to get this objective and maybe even the middle as well, which could result in a triple cap here. Nurgle scrapping really, really well here in this duel. Both players are. Voidlaw's getting some armored Forsaken in. Forsaken going to be hit by Seekers, it looks like. No, they're going after the big man again. He's a little bit unsupported. He has some Nurglings nearby. Stream of Corruption going down. He's healing capped though. So if Inkari can get some big DPS, that is going to be very, very permanent, to say the least. No more big bulging flesh will come out and save that big man. Inkari's quite low though, at about 35%. Cultists of Nurgle coming in the back as well. Gotta watch out, they hit pretty hard. They do also have Armor Sundering, not that it's terribly pertinent against Inkari, but Inkari's gonna want to retreat here. This is a losing fight, and Inkari probably wants to go heal somewhere. Have a fight somewhere else. I would love to see Inkari move up to the high ground objective and contest over here. instead of staying down here. But every time one of these Nurglings or units dies near Inkari gets a heal, which is so incredibly powerful, right? You can see the heal going down. Inkari's healing up right now. And you can even see the healing cap approaching for the Greater Demon of Slaanesh. More and more cav coming in. Nurgle's infantry are getting melted. Cavalry cycle charging back and forth. Zyphos showing some masterclass micro there. But getting a pretty big hard-on for going after the Great Unclean One. Which I really think going up here with Inkari, killing these Forsaken, and swarming this objective number 1 would maybe be a bit of a stronger play. But I guess this is also good. If you can take down the Beast... Witstealer's Sword, I think, was maybe active there for a second. I might have missed it. Nurgle, oh man, Nurgle just barely pushes off so many of the Slaaneshi units off the objective right as they're about to capture it. And now Slaanesh is going to be moving up to the high ground objective. Nurgle barely holding on. Oh my god, they almost lost that objective. Crazy, but Nurgle barely holds in the 4th quarter. Now they have to go up here. Inkari has to beat this down. And it's going to be maybe have to come to a triple cap? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Jabba the Hutt holding on like a champ, dude. 4,000 HP on this big man. Nurgle playing like it's supposed to play, which I think is really, really fun to see. Now, some of the Seekers do get caught by some of the Furies. The Forsaken of Nurgle going to get slapped by Fascination, and Inkari's going to be bringing some huge armor-piercing damage as the Marauders of Slaanesh move on to the objective, and the Seekers should be getting a good charge into the Forsaken as well. In the meantime, does Slaanesh have any side pressure? They do have some infantry coming from the hill. Nice cap play here. Hellstriders of Slaanesh should be able to finish off these Forsaken. And the other Hellstriders going to be interrupting here. We do get the Plague Toads of Nurgle being summoned in just to probably get some more speedy, tanky bodies and things like that. High ground objective is going to be taken by Slaanesh most likely. I think the Forsaken here probably going to be breaking in a moment. And with good micro, Zyphos should be able to keep the Nurgle forces down. And then it's basically going to be Nurgle Helm's Deeping on objective number 2, which I think they certainly can do very well. I mean, the Big Chungus is very low. Zyphos is pulling ahead in value, but again, the value is more or less dead even, because of the weight of the healing that Nurgle has. Nurgling's getting popped. It's getting very, very danger close. Nurgle just needs to fall back and tank everything on the middle objective here. While the Marauders of Slaanesh move on. Void lulls. He's got his Toads. Cav are swarming down. Seekers are going to be doing some big damage, maybe even to the Big Chungus. I think fighting here, or starting to fight here, is good. Slaanesh has some really fast units, so I think they have to start piling onto this middle objective, while obviously they will be capturing the top. Inkari needs to go down here now. Inkari needs to go down now. Time is really, really short. This top objective is owned by Nurgle, but not for much longer. Slaanesh is going to be taking that. Nurgle is going to be pushed off that. And now it is all hands on deck. Nurgle needs to Helm's Deep this guy right here. And what is Nurgle going to be summoning? Plague Toads. It's basically one of the faster units you have here. Zyphos does need to get the triple cap. Only 5 points per second here for Nurgle. Slaanesh could easily steamroll this if the micro is on point. Inkari going in for the kill. The debuff is on the Big Chungus. He's at 2,000 HP. The Mortis Engine coming in. More and more Toads moving. I think intercepting the Toads with some of your Seekers could be very, very good here. The objective is starting to go to Slaanesh. This is a razor close game here. So the Seekers of Slaanesh do have the Sweet Sorrow, giving them a speed buff. Are they going to keep the Toads off, or are they going to go for the surround? The two cultists have good capture weight. Does Zyphos have any infantry coming? He does. They're a little ways off, but there's still time. And the Big Chungus is probably going to go down to Inkari. Dude, this has been such a good duel. Willing Prey is active. Nice block right there. The Toads have been blocked off the objective. Furies are going to be intercepting. Slaanesh Cav are keeping the Nurgle reinforcements from getting back. And Nurgle now is going to be switching to the top objective. They have like nothing banked. And down goes the Great Unclean One. The Dark Prince's champion. Inkari with 5,000 value. Crazy. And both the cultists are wavering. The triple cap is on. Oh my god. What a crazy battle. What a crazy battle. And Slaanesh just barely edges it in the 4th quarter. Now, does Nurgle have any counterplay? They do not. They would just basically get spawn camped at that point. GG. Well played. Zyphos, the champion of France, is back. And he is on the board with a victory with his Slaanesh. Dude, what a close game. That was so good. That was for sure one of the best domination mode games we've had. That was so iconic. Like, both factions played like they're supposed to. It was really cool. I don't know, what could we have done differently for Nurgle? I honestly think it was close enough. Just a couple little decisions differently, and that could have been it. Dude, what a close match. But, hey, on the bright side, for you Nurgle fans in chat who are slightly disappointed, be happy because it was a really close game and they almost won. And also you get more matches in the series now. So, it's a win-win across the board. By God, they've broken it in half. All right, so what are we going to do next? Mountains of Morn. All right, cool. 100 points for Nurgle. Wow, 100 points. That was a really good game. That was a really good game. So sad that... Hey, Nurgle is actually not terrible against Slaanesh. I mean, I still think it's Slaanesh favored, but they can definitely do it. Lincoln says, Turin, some of the best cav micro from Xiphos. Yeah, Xiphos has always been known for cavalry micro. He's really good at microing mobile units. That's why he's so good at Slaanesh. Yeah. He is really, really good at Slaanesh. Is Xiphos French? He is. Yeah, he is. Xiphos with the comeback, man. I thought Xiphos was done for. Like, with the big Chungus surviving, but, like, all those little engagements that Inkari took against Big Chungus added up. And eventually the beast was brought down. Why did the score reset? Did it reset? No, it shouldn't. Hold on. No, it's 2-1. It's 2-1 right now. I don't know what you're talking about, CPay. Come on. So what is it going to be for the picks here? Plague Toads still kind of underwhelming. Yeah, they are. Maybe if those Plague Toads had been like Plague Bearers or something, maybe, but they would have taken a while to get to that objective is a problem. It's hard to say. Ryan, I'd have to rewatch the replay. I'd have to watch the replay to really give you a good analysis of that. But honestly, Nurgle played pretty well. Maybe if the big Chungus hadn't been isolated so many times, like, and he was a little healthier at the end, it could have been different. Yeah, Xiphos says, oof, that was close. Yeah, it was indeed. So Xiphos is on the board, but he's still on the ropes. So the Inkari play was insane. Inkari was a beast that game. Inkari at the end of the battle had 5,000 value. Oh, 5,000 value. Crazy good, crazy good. Turn, I wonder if bringing summons against Slaanesh is a good idea. I don't know, yeah. I think maybe Exalted Plague Bearers instead of the Cultists. Because, like, Slaanesh just kind of runs away from your summons, you know? In my experience against Slaanesh, like, double Exalted plus double Plague Bearer can be pretty good. I don't know. It's hard to say, though. I feel like the Great Unclean one is still the way to go. The Mortis Engine's really good against Slaanesh Infantry and Cav and stuff. Yeah, he got caught a couple times. The big man was, like, rotating between objectives, and he definitely got caught here and there, so... What are the picks going to be for the next game here? Nurgle narrowly suffering defeat there. Checking on the old website. So if we get to game 5, the winner of round 4 picks 3 factions they haven't played yet in the series, but they can be repeat selections here in Bandits 1. Their opponent will, okay. Pretty cool. Yeah, Khorne and Cathay maybe? I don't know. Definitely going to be some Khorne in this match and some Kislev, I think. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, ultra unit size. Witstealer Sword was insane. The amount of damage that Great Unclean one took was so brutal, dude. Okay, so Voidlaws is going to pick Slaanesh and Khorne. And now Xiphos gets to counterpick against those. Kislev, probably? Yeah, you go Kislev. You go Kislev here, I think. I don't know how... Xiphos is good at Kislev, too. He plays Cav factions really well. So I would imagine Xiphos is going to go for that. Yeah, Roundhouse farm. Yeah, absolutely. The Cav thing is in my patch notes. I just didn't mention it. Yeah. Yeah, Cultists are good in support, too. It's hard to say. They're a really good unit. And the Cultists also have passive healing, which is so strong. What if Xiphos... Oh, man. Okay. Xiphos could go Nurgle here, too. Nurgle against Slaanesh or Khorne? Voidlaws would definitely pick Slaanesh. And then we would just have a repeat of that last matchup. He goes Kislev, which is smart. So Kislev and then Voidlaws will pick between Slaanesh and Khorne. I would probably say Slaanesh. I don't know, though. I don't know. We'll see how good Xiphos is with Kislev. The War Sleds are slightly limited in today's event, but he can still bring 2 of them plus heavy War Sleds, so it's really not that bad. Yeah. I'm excited for this one. This has been a great tournament so far. I need to stay hydrated, man. I'm going to go get some more water. I literally just went through that whole bottle, so hang tight for a second, my friends. That is some delicious water. H2O. All right, I'm back, baby. Let's go. Let's get this going. Kislev versus Khorne. Oh, I love this matchup. This is a fun one. It's going to be a little bit more fair too now that war sleds are like, you know, limited. Because the light war sled spam against them was really good. I would imagine we'll still see sleds, but it's going to be a little bit more balanced. Because it used to just be horrible for Khorne. Alright, so we have Khorne versus Kislev. The Mountains of Morn are here. It's an okay map for shooting. It's not amazing, but, you know, Kislev usually has enough mobility and hybrid units that it doesn't matter, but... Turin benches 350. That is not true at all. I was able to bench a lot when I was healthy. I was a very, very good bench presser, but... This is all before my hand problems, of course. Definitely never got to 350 though. No, that would have been pretty crazy for my size. So when I was lifting weights a lot, I only weighed 170. That's what right now I weigh about 180. I got a little man weight on me, but my like fit weight is like 170 pounds. Yeah, back when I was like running track and field. How do you think Bretonnia will do in Domination? I think they'll be amazing. They can swarm objectives with cheap units. Cab is going to be super good for hammering positions. Like Fey Enchantress, sign me up. Sign me up. The Holy Trinity of War Sled, Streltsy, and Elemental Ice Bears. Ice Bears aren't very good against Khorne. The demons can really take them down. Hey, Nicholas, I'm glad to hear that, man. You know, it's an important part of living a healthy lifestyle. 700 pounds, no. Definitely not. Not sure he benches 450. No. I can't bench anything anymore. My hands are so messed up. I had to give up like heavy weightlifting. I used to be super into it though, way back in the day. You can bench a Nurgling. Yeah. I think I could probably bench like a single Nurgling. I don't know. Although they look deceivingly small, but they're probably pretty heavy. I feel your pain on hand issues. Yeah, it sucks, Space Penguin. It really does. I probably have to get my labrum fixed. I have a torn labrum in my right shoulder too. I used to do pull-ups with a weight vest on because I thought it was like a really good, and eventually I just overdid it and I tore my labrum. And I also had a severe upper bicep strain that same day. It was bad. That was really bad. That hurt pretty good. When you were from the old continent thinking in, yeah, kilograms, yeah. I know it happens with my wife and I because she's from Poland, so yeah. It's pretty hilarious. Bench press. You know that black orcs can probably bench press a lot. They're for sure pretty jacked. It's a combination of things that cause my hand problems. It's a list. The list could go on. I think Lizardmen will be amazing in Domination mode. God, I wish CA would just, if Creative Assembly could just do a small favor for us, a gesture of goodwill. If they could just add the Old World factions just for multiplayer, because look, it might take a couple months for the grand campaign map. It's going to be huge. I get that. But all it would really take is copy and pasting some code over or some files to Warhammer 3 to give us Old World. That's all it's going to take. You know what I'm saying? Like if they could do that, like with one of these upcoming patches, I would just be erect for weeks. There would be nothing that could stop the chub. All right, so let's put this over here. That sparkly water making some loud noises there. Yeah. Weighted pull-ups are my favorite, for sure. Yeah, I used to be really good at pull-ups. Yeah, I can still do squats. Yeah, I can. What little exercise I do now is I mostly just run. I'll do some core exercises too, like, you know, things like that. But really, my passion was weightlifting and sprinting, and like, I just, you know, I don't know. I never was a distance runner. How do you think Kyles will do in Domination? Well, the answer I'm supposed to say is terrible, but, you know, maybe we'll be surprised. Like, their chariot healing blobs on objectives could be kind of gross. All right, so taking a look at the Kislev build. Oh, it's Boris. Oh, Boris Orsis. He's my favorite. Look how cool the Red Tsar is. This guy's so rad. So we got Boris on the bear with the Patriarch with some heals and light war sled. So it's much of what's very good against Khorne, but oftentimes you'll see Kostalton instead of Boris. But Boris is a beast. If he can actually get into combat and attack large monsters, he is going to be so good. And now on the other side, taking a look at the Khornate army, it's going to be shielded warriors to mitigate the shooting. Fleshhounds, Doublefoot cultists, Chaos Furies of Khorne, Khorne dogs, and a Herald of Khorne. Oh no, the dreaded hiccups. They have come for me. But it is going to be a Herald of Khorne. And he's pretty good. If he can catch the chariots, he's got good armor piercing. Boris will give him an absolute spanking in combat though. So you definitely want to avoid that. But we'll see what happens. So cultists moving up. It looks like Khorne very much going to be playing a triple objective game. Normally you'll see people move out in more unified armies, but Khorne is going to be splitting its forces a little bit wider here. We do have ye old Chaos Warriors of Khorne heading on over to objective number 1. Fury's backing them up and Corn Dogs as well. Corn Dogs are good against Chariots because they're large, so the Chariots at least don't massacre the Corn Dogs like they do Chaos Warhounds and things like that. Kislev, what is their summon going to be? Probably Armored Kossars would be my guess. They're going to want to just go get some value trading here, so they might even attack the Cultists as well as the Chaos Warriors. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chariots get really, really crunk here in this matchup and drop the base here on these guys. But you also don't want to throw the game. Xiphos doesn't want to move up and have all of his Chariots get surrounded and have them be killed by a big surprise summon from Void. Void is currently banking, 1,000 resources, right? So it could be anything. Now, Armored Kossars are on the way up. That's a good choice for sure. Just some objective holders. And the old Cultists getting hammered, but you're a little bit danger close to the summon zone here. Oh no, not like this. Void is laying the trap. Xiphos better pull back, man. Oh, and these bear sleds are a lot slower. They only have are these light war sleds? Okay, the light ones are the ones that are overextended here. The heavy war sleds are the ones that are a little bit safer. So we could get a blob fight here, but yeah, like losing a war sled here could just be an early GG. He's gonna try and pull through them. Boris Ursus is on his way, and we get some Kosovo dervishes moving in as well. Man, they just barely escaped that. Those bears have really good mass, obviously. Furies have terrible mass. So the bear sleds are going to be able to push through here. Yeah. Drake asks, so are elite infantry good in this game? They are, but not in every matchup. They're very situational. But like, yeah, we see Zargard get used a lot. We see Exalted Plague Bearers. We see Exalted Demonettes. Cathay's elite infantry are pretty much trash, but yeah, we do see elite infantry being used. Now, the bear sleds do come out ahead because the ambush didn't quite work. And the bear sleds were able to shoot down the Chaos Furies of Khorne. Getting some nice pokes. Kislev infantry moving in. Armored Kossars and more Armored Kossars are the answer. Mainly just value trading with Khorne, but it looks like they're going to take the blob fight here, which is interesting. So we do get all the prayers. Stand your ground, and I think the prayers should be coming out soon. Boris Ursus on his Mighty Bear is going to be battling against the Fleshhounds with his anti-large bonus. And there's going to be a summon here. I think the Bloodletter summon would be a good signal to run away if you're Kislev, like bait out the summons and then retreat. Because committing to the blob fight here feels very risky to me. Light War Sleds, Tor's Battle Hymn, Salix Lullaby, very, very strong. Going to be some fat healing, and obviously Kislev is slightly outvaluing Khorne. Even more so because of the healing. One unit of Furies does go down. But the summon of Bloodletters here was pretty good. It does trap up Kossovite Dervishes, so those guys are not going to be able to escape while the Bear Sleds continue to just bump and grind against the Corn Dogs. A little bit of a strange engagement for Void. Usually he's a little bit better about this. Like, I think having like multiple Corn Dogs stacked up here is a big misplay. Like, he could be flanking and surrounding and pinning those bear sleds in place, which I think at the end of the day would just win him the game. Now, value trading is pretty even. Void is coming out a little bit ahead. I think the bear sleds maybe overstayed their welcome. I think you want to retreat while all of the Bloodletters are still active, so the bear sleds are going to be pulling back. Boris Ursus took no damage there. And now, speaking of elite infantry, this is a great play here by Xiphos. Zargard with great weapons will massacre Chaos Warriors of Khorne for sure. And Boris and the Patriarch a little bit trapped up there, but they're still kind of holding on. The Patriarch's trying to get away, but the Herald of Khorne is getting a little bit of DPS on him. But yeah, Boris does not want to be trapped here in the whole Khornate army. He's got some healing, but he's not like Rasputin, who's going to be super, super durable and has self-healing and all that sort of good stuff. So value trading pretty even. Kislev does pull their chariots back, and I think it's time, just like in the campaign, to go rescue Boris. But Boris and the Patriarch might beat the brakes off this Herald of Khorne. Boris, like, is pretty heavily armored, so all these Fleshhounds aren't going to do much damage. And yeah, the Herald of Khorne's taking a bit of damage. Nice summon there. The other Cultist's going to be dropping a roadblock against all the War Sleds, and now Boris Ursus is surrounded here, battling all the Corn Dogs, which of course is decent. Heart of Winter here, maybe, but Fleshhounds do have 50% spell resist. And now Kislev is going to be throwing all hands on deck to try and save the Red Tsar, who is, of course, fighting pretty well. But two Cultists of Khorne with their power mullets are really, really strong fighters. Boris, of course, getting Salix Lullaby, going to be getting some healing here. He is rampaging because of the Fury of Ursun. And Khorne is taking quite a bit of damage now, but still I think it's going a little bit better for the old Corn Dogs here. Now this is a big win, but amazing response from Void Lulls. He sees that right away, and he pulls them back. So he retreats the Chaos Warriors and then pulls in the Bloodletters, which are a counter against Zargard. Man, Void Lulls is so on point with his summons and his micro and all those sort of things. But look at Boris Ursus, man, going in and taking down that Herald of Khorne, even in his very beleaguered, beaten state. Obviously, many Kislev units do get stronger when they get injured. Boris does escape, and he actually leads the Herald of Khorne to the state of crumbling. Now, value is still trading a little bit better for Khorne. The Chaos Warriors here grinding pretty well. More Chaos Warriors moving over. Objectives are held by Khorne also. So here comes the Zargard. They will beat Bloodletters most likely, but they're going to take a very cost-inefficient trade because Bloodletters do have really, really good armor piercing there, and they should be able to cut through the expensive units. I like the Griffin Legion coming in. I think that's a great play. Griffin Legion will hammer those Bloodletters pretty well. And Kislev is now starting to turn the tide of the trade. Khorne kind of losing its momentum, whereas Kislev is maintaining it. The Kossars here getting some beautiful shots into the Chaos Warriors. And here comes the Griffin Legion. Sound the horn! Summon the Griffin Legion. I think cav charges are probably my favorite thing in the game. It's so cool, especially these epic Polish cavalry here. But really nice by Voidlaws. He screens with the armor, but the Griffin Legion gets in there, and they do hammer into those cavs, sending some of them flying into the Shadow Realm. And that is going to help the Zargard win this fight. Griffin Legion are super armored and very durable. Should be able to beat these Chaos Warriors, or at least cycle charge them and get good value. Corn Dogs being summoned in as well by the Voidlaws, coming in with the Chaos Doggos. The Bloodletters are pretty close to crumbling, and we do get more armored Kossars moving in. Kislev does secure the middle, and the Red Tsar lives on as he does defeat the Khornate champions. Dude, Boris is so cool. And yes, the Cultists of Khorne getting bear slapped to the Shadow Realm. The Herald is down, the Cultist is down, and if Xiphos is able to win this, it looks like it is probably going to be going to a rubber match, game number 5, which will be really interesting to see what the players will be picking. So Gossify Dervishes getting ready to party. The middle objective is owned by Kislev as they pull more and more ahead in terms of value. The Zargard doing a great job over here. These meaty Kislevites fighting through the demons and supported by the Griffin Legion. Should be able to win this, because now the Griffin Legion can pull back and through. Look at that. Xiphos with great cav micro. He baits the Corn Dogs into the Zargard, who are happily going to meet them in combat. And here we now get the Griffin Legion moving over, getting ready to intercept against the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. So we'll have to see how this goes. Oh man, Griffin Legion, very cool unit. Here comes the Bariots. I think that Khorne is out of steam. They have a couple of halberds up here trying to get onto the objective, but Boris is fighting them off with his infantry, although, ooh, maybe Boris better be careful here. This could actually be a throw. If he lets his characters die to these halberds here, that could be really rough. Yeah, Boris, you better watch out, man. Those are Chaos Warrior halberds. They're no joke. Griffin Legion space jamming into the back of them once again, hammering into the Khornate Warriors, and also thundering through the Hounds. The Howling Wings sing once more as Kislev smiles. Urson is stoked right now, that's for sure. And the Fleshhounds of Khorne broken off. Khorne is going to be sending in some elites. They do have some Blood Crushers of Khorne here. I don't know how impactful they're going to be. I think maybe earlier they could have been. Kislev moving some Kossars over to get this objective here, actually chasing down these Khornate Warriors, which is going to be very nice. But I love this play on the flank. The Zargard plus the Griffin Legion just to overwhelm that kind of a Chaos Warrior position felt very good indeed. Now, Xiphos is quite behind on points, but I don't think it matters. I think he's in enough of a comfortable position that he should be okay. But the lead differential isn't so bad that maybe Void couldn't somehow claw his way back. I mean, he does have 3,000 points to Xiphos' like 900 or something like that. So we'll see. Hey, happy St. Patrick's to you too. Is it St. Patrick's Day today? Oh man, I'm just living in a cave here. I'm like half Irish. I should know that. But yeah, crazy stuff. Light War Sleds battling against the Blood Crusher. The Red Tsar just going in like an absolute champ. What is his value that he's accrued so far? A casual 2,300. Very cost effective. Oh, and the bear just slaps that Blood Crusher off. The double bear slap. And now he's going to be moving back around, certainly helping Kislev to clinch victory. And with that, Voidlaws will withdraw. And we're going to game 5, baby. Oh yeah, this is like how all tournaments should end. This is really good. I'm stoked on this. Khorne put up a good fight in the beginning, for sure. But Boris, man, he was a raid boss. Like, getting the Herald spanked by Boris so hard, I think was a big turning point. Griffin Legion were pretty solid too. Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty Kislev favored matchup. Like, it's hard for Khorne. I think if Khorne could have a bigger army, maybe. But Xiphos equalizes the series, and we're going to game 5, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to game 5. Man, I can't even remember all the maps. Which ones have we played in this series? Oh man, I don't think we've had Eye of the North in this series yet. So let's do Eye in the North. Khorne needs red Olgor. It does. I think a greater demon could have been good there too. Like Scarbrand, if he rampaged all those chariots with some halberds, man, that could have been really nice too. Hey guys, in Turin, I'm new to multiplayer scenes and wanted to see what faction, old or new, the community thought was best for new players. My recommendation is always Khorne. It is always Khorne. Yeah, Khorne is really good for new players. They're very simple and very strong. Also, yeah, I don't know who else is good for new players. Probably Khorne, honestly, yeah. Of all the factions, I would say they're the best for newer players. The Cat for Khorne have been, yeah, they're usually a little bit risky. Nurgle could still appear here in the grand finals. So now how it works is for game 5, is we have Yeah, so the individual who, for the winner of Game 4, which is Zyphos, will pick 3 factions they haven't played yet in the series and ban 1. Their opponent will then ban 1 of the 3 picks. And yeah, so, okay. We got the pick and bans here. I'm just going to copy and paste this for them here. Very good. So players can do their picks and bans. I don't think we've had the Eye in the North. I don't think we have. Nurgle would have to be picked by Zyphos here, though. What makes the Celestial Dragon Guard bad exactly? It's just like, I don't know. I don't know why they suck. I don't know why they suck. It just is. What a Chad move. Letting Tzeentch and Ogres go in first for the reverse sweep. Yeah. It's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, I mean, so Void Laws has been dominating most of these best of threes with Tzeentch and Ogres, right? But now that he doesn't have them, it's going to be interesting to see his range of factions. Like, how good is Void? He did a really good Nurgle game, though. Clearly he knows he has a pretty good range, right? He was very solid with Nurgle. Kislev is somewhat beginner friendly, yeah. Especially if you play with chariots like that. If you just have a chariot blob with healing, it's very, very beginner friendly. Yeah, so Zyphos is going to go with Nurgle, Khorne, and Ogres, and he bans Slaanesh. Okay, cool. Nurgle, Khorne, and Ogres are Zyphos' only factions he has left. Dude, game 5, man. Going to the rubber match. Hey, Yumais, thank you so much for the pick and ban system. It worked a lot better today than previous events, so thank you, man. I like this one a lot more. Formation attack for Cathay, yeah, it needs to be fixed for sure. It's so terrible. Dude, I did not expect some rock hard game 5 here. After that 2-0 in the beginning, I was like, man, it's looking grim. What does Void have left to play? I don't remember everything he's played. But Void should have 3 factions left. So it's just the 3 factions you haven't played. So Cathay, Kislev, and who else does he have? What has Void Laws not played? I'm gonna have to like rewind back and check this real quick. Okay, so we had Void Laws on. We had him on Khorne. We had him on Nurgle. We had him on Tzeentch and Ogres. So he did not play Slaanesh. All right. Just double check for them. So he has Kislev and Cathay. Hey man, you gotta have a good range of factions, dude. You know? Zyphos only has a couple left too. Yeah. Only those left, man. Oh man, it was Slaanesh. But Slaanesh has been banned, so now Void has to play Kislev or Cathay. But I mean, he has Kislev, so he's totally fine. Yeah. This is what happens with best of 5s when you only have 7 factions. That is the case. Kislev is good against like all those things, though. He can't be complaining. I mean, Kislev against Nurgle, Kislev favored. Kislev against Khorne, Kislev favored. Kislev against Ogres, totally fine. So what you do if you're playing him is you pick Kislev and you just ban Zyphos' Ogres and then you're chilling. Then you have Nurgle and frickin' Khorne and like both are super Kislev favored. Yeah. Oh, or does Void Laws come out with like a wild Cathay pick and just truly win this tournament in the most alpha fashion ever? We're going to have to find out on the next episode. Well, which is right now. Hold on, guys. I'm getting a little bit hungry, so I'm just going to like munch on a snack here. I'll try and eat far away from the microphone because I hate when people do that and I have to listen to it. So I'm going to go stand in the corner and just watch in silence. That's the good stuff right there, man. These are Triscuits. Triscuits, I think, are one of my favorite snack foods. Like, you have goldfish crackers, you have Triscuits. What else? Wheat Thins are okay, but I think Triscuits just have this, like, magical texture. It's so good. So let's see what Void Laws is going to pick. Ah, that's the good stuff right there. I'm rejuvenated. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. It gets a little bit echoey when I run away from the mic. I mean, I don't see how this is so hard of a choice for Void. He just pick Kislev. maybe he's really juggling the. He has to face Ogre Kingdoms. I guess that's what he's worried about. But he can ban ogres. He gets a ban too. I don't know if he knows this. Yeah, because he gets a ban as well. It seems fairly straightforward to me. A wild Cathay pick? Maybe. I mean, it could happen. This is the Eye in the North is a very good map for them. Yeah, you go Kislev and you ban ogres, and then you just battle Nurgle or Khorne and you're happy. But oh my god, Zyphos comes in with a Nurgle pick. That would be so funny. Slaanesh got banned. So Yumai's Zyphos had a single ban as well. So he picked his 3 and he banned Slaanesh. So Slaanesh is off the table right now. Those YouTube videos have been appearing in my feed. I have no idea why. The ones where people just like eat themselves like into a coma. It's some crazy stuff. Yeah, so Void Laws goes Kislev and bans ogres. That's the smart choice because now you have Kislev versus Khorne, which you're favored, and Kislev versus Nurgle. And I don't think Zyphos is a Nurgle player. Like maybe a really like seasoned Nurgle player would be fine here, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. Triscuits are really good, yeah. Triscuits are delicious. One of my favorites. They should sponsor my stream. They should. But yeah, those like eating videos have been appearing. It's crazy. Yeah, rosemary and olive oil Triscuits are so good. They are, dude. I'm gonna go buy some later. Hayden, you've inspired me. Now, what is the counter pick gonna be? What will Zyphos go with? Will he go with Khorne or will he go with Nurgle? I don't think Zyphos is like the polar opposite of a Nurgle player. He likes mobility. He likes like finesse. Nurgle is like just the opposite in every way. Nurgle is more about like long-term decision making, I feel. Zyphos says, Zyphos is in the grand finals of a very competitive tournament, and he says, I have never played Nurgle. He's like, I've never played Nurgle before. Legit, just have not played them. Oh my god. Zyphos, man, you need to work on your range of factions. It's going to be Khorne versus Kislev again, but obviously the coin has been flipped. But Zyphos has played Khorne, so we'll see what he can do. It's going to be Khorne versus Kislev. This map has some good play for Khorne, I think. They can halberd the back objective and then just like park in the center with a halberd box. Yeah, the hot dog stream was but it's different because like literally that's like I think most people on that stream ate like 3 hot dogs, and these ones they literally have like these massive platters of food, and they just like, it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, Sifa, that's funny. Chaos is chicken too, though. Yeah, I suppose so. Now, what build differences are we going to be seeing? We can go to the website today and take a look. So for anybody who's just joining and you have not seen the old tournament site, if you guys want to get involved in events or just know when they're happening, you can go to totaltavern.com. And this is going to be hopefully a hub for Total War, you know, competitive in general. I'm going to be working with other tournament hosts to post their tournaments on here. Like these 3 right here are all my events. So you can see when they are, but this for example, isn't mine. And there's going to be probably 7 or 8 posted at any given time, I'm hoping. And yeah, you can follow them. You can also go to the tournaments and sign up through the website, which you then can also join the Discord using the link up at the top. So there's a lot of ways you can get involved in the multiplayer scene. You can also see who the top rated players are, at least in my tournament circuit. So currently you can see Zyphos and Void Laws are 4-0. This is our first time using the website leaderboard, which I'm really excited about. You can also follow the tournament, so even if the stream isn't live, you can go and look and see who's playing. So this was today's tournament. You can see Zyphos defeated Stingers, he defeated Big Bees, he defeated Evenstar, a really strong player, defeated Ulrich Rahl, and then facing Void Laws in the grand final. That is a rough row of opponents, right? Looking at Void Laws, he defeated Randomnix, who is, you know, obviously an amazing player as well. He defeated A-Move Hacker, the Phoenix King, and going a little bit further back, I'm not sure. I think that's maybe he started in the second round. Yeah. No, he defeated Harley as well. So yeah, you can see the scores and everything and all that goodness. And yeah, there's going to be guides coming up. We have one on Cathay. We have some blogs to kind of read. If you need more instructions about how to sign up, we have that here on this page. So it's work in progress. We're going to be adding more features and more content over time, but this is the basics. But the most important thing is you can follow the community. You know when events are going to happen. You can see it. You don't have to wonder when my streams are going to be. The tournaments will all be posted here. So you will hopefully be able to catch those. Alrighty. Kislev versus Korn. Nurgle is gas station sushi for sure, Evan. And then Slaanesh is like the gas station boner pills. That's like the whole paradigm there. Like those ones that have like the Fabio in the front and just the most ridiculous thing ever. Yeah, Zhao Ming is good. He's decent. He's definitely decent. I like Zhao Ming against Nurgle because Nurgle doesn't do a lot of damage, and he can use his Final Transmutation to blob bust, and also his Dragon's Breath is pretty good against Nurglings, Plague Bearers, things like that. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on him. Oh, Sipe, that actually happens in Scrubs. That's pretty hilarious. Okay, so it looks like Xiphos is ready with Khorne. At least Khorne has some mobile units for Xiphos to work with. He's got Khorne Dogs, Furies, some cavalry. Kislev is just going to be a blob of chariots. That's really what you have to beat. Like, if Khorne can figure out how to beat that, I would like to see Skarbrand, actually, to try and rampage the blob. I think that could win you the game. Yeah, Marco, I'll start putting it in my video descriptions as well. I'll make it, Norska is the gas station rubbers. Oh, that's funny, dude. That's really funny. Man, a lot of you guys sticking around. This is going real late into the night. I mean, what time is it? And where are you guys from? Let us know in chat. What country or realm are you hailing from? Turin, does your patch notes recommend Cathay dragons having access to spells in dragon form? No, it doesn't actually. Because if you do that, then there's no point for them to be in human form. You just sit in dragon form the whole time. Yeah, I think that's fine. I like having to like scheme and figure it out. Yeah, I noticed that when I was in Poland, like the food at the gas station seemed like a lot better quality than here in America. Like American gas station food is pretty rough. Whereas in like Poland and even when I was in Germany as well, it kind of felt the same way. Like the food that you get at those places seemed like a lot better quality. We got Germany, West Coast, Sweden, Australia. Oh, Cameron, it's got to be pretty good timing for you in Australia, huh? Netherlands, 1:35 a.m., baby. Germany, Arizona, West Coast, Canada, UK, Brazil, France, Poland, UK, Germany. You're in the Rockies. Very cool, man. Switzerland, Hungary, Germany. Oh, my God. We got folks from all over the place. Missouri. Never been to Missouri. I have not. It is on my list of places to check out someday. Sweden, West Coast, Canada, Greece, Massachusetts, Texas, Lithuania, Norway, Finland. Yeah, sorry if I missed your country. I'm trying to read them, but you guys are typing it so fast. From Turkey. Right on, man. It's late in Poland. This is the last game. Going to be wrapping it up. I'm going to go feast like the heathen kings of old. Alaska. Dude, I heard Alaska's nature is beautiful. Italy. All right. I'm of Italian ancestry myself. My family is from northern Italy. And near Lake Como, actually, is where my ancestors were from. In the Swiss, like right under the Swiss Alps there. Yeah. Germany, Georgia, France, New York City. Hey, my dad's from my dad was, he lived in New York. Yeah, that's where he spent most of his life. Hey, Gojira, stream's going good. South Carolina repping. I have family in South Carolina. I have quite a bit, actually. I have a lot of family in South Carolina. Columbia, London, South Dakota, Norway. Man, cool. Well, guys, it's a pleasure to have you all here. Washington State. The lady and I want to visit there pretty bad. She certainly would love the weather. Turin is Mr. Worldwide. Am I Pitbull? He's Mr. Worldwide, right? He's the original. Cleveland, Ohio. Got some friends from there. I figure gas station food here in Sweden is good since a food critic recommended it on TV ads. There you go. All right. I'd love to go to Italy. Yeah, see the home of my ancestors. Yeah, Turin is actually my middle name. I'm not the most creative channel. I'm just like, yeah, all right, well, let's make a YouTube channel and just call it my middle name. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Muffin Man, absolutely. Well, my last name is even more Italian. It's super Italian. But I'm actually more Irish than I'm Italian because my dad was he was half Irish, half Italian, and my mom was like half Irish and then a bunch of other things, like probably some German, French, who knows. Native American as well. Yeah. Gojira lives in my backyard. Oh, okay. Oh, Jay Phoenix, you live in Washington State? Right on. Yeah, right on. All right. So, Game 5 is here. Come visit. Yeah, Ryan, for sure. For sure. I'm such a chungus in my older years. I love trying different foods. So like if I were to go like travel, it would just be like a huge food tourism thing. See my shroud? Yes, of course. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Koji's trapped in the backyard. He just lives in our backyard. Atlanta. Oh, right on, Georgia. So yeah, Khorne build's very different here. This is like kind of one of the early iterations that Khorne would use against Kislev, which was Halberd spam. So Halberd spam with double cultist and a greater demon. So it's not Scarbrand, which I prefer Scarbrand. I think the Rampage just wins you the game sometimes. So we got double Halberds, double cultist, Khorne dog, as well as an exalted bloodthirster. Now for the forces here of Kislev. I like the build, but I don't like the bear. I feel like the bear is like giving Khorne a fighting chance. We do have light war sleds, backed up by a heavy war sled and a patriarch for the healing. Now again, I think that the elemental bear is a bit of a mistake, but Kislev has a good enough matchup here that I think they can get away with it. The bear might actually surprise me. I would actually love to be surprised by the dreaded bear, but in this case, I do think the bear is a bit of a liability. Now, looking around at Khorne, what they're going to do is they're going to park one halberd in the back, which is going to be super tough to remove, and they're going to fight over the middle. That is the Khorne nature of the beast. Maybe use some fleshhounds to contest objective number 3. We will have to see. I kind of rhymed a little bit. That was kind of cool. But the Exalted Bloodthirster and the Cultists making their way over. Halberd's going to be waddling up. Man, Khorne warriors are so slow, but I guess they have got some big armor, and these boys are extra thick. Anti-large, armor piercing. The Bariat squad is moving down. And the Exalted Bloodthirster certainly going to be good against the bear. The bear, their melee defense is super low. So they just get kind of beaten on by these big monster fighters, right? Cultists of Khorne are also a really good answer on foot against the Bariats because they don't take too much damage in melee. I mean, they do over time, but they have silver shields too. So Xiphos can use those silver shields to absorb the ammunition, which is quite a good feeling. Now, I would like to see one halberd being sent to the back objective. I think that is perhaps the right play because with the summons in the middle, you have enough buffering here. The Khorne dogs are kind of drifting about, and it looks like the Exalted Bloodthirster are going to be moving in. And are the Cultists actually going to get a free hit here? You can see they're taking basically no damage, which is very, very cost-effective for Khorne here. Like, the fact that the value is even right now is a huge win for Khorne. Xiphos with some really good control, obviously able to juke back and forth. We see one halberd unit maybe making its way towards the back objective. A little bit hard to say. You got to plan ahead with Khorne for sure, because they're very slow, and you want to get ahead on points, because oftentimes Kislev will outvalue you. Xiphos, in the meantime, just wasting the ammo. He's using his cultists to juke the shots of the chariots, which I think is quite good. Over the course of a long battle, those chariots often do go through all of their ammo, so I think that's an incredibly solid play there. Pulling back the halberds, trying to stay out of line of sight. The bear is moving up. There is no lord for Kislev. The bear is the lord. So if you want to get the penalty for killing Kislev's lord, you're going to have to go through the bear, which is pretty hilarious. Now, what is Xiphos saving for? He has not summoned anything. He's sitting on 1700. Kislev is going to summon Armored Kossars, which is very standard to just go hold the back objectives while your Bariat squad just causes problems. Ooh, Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons. This is a pretty alpha male play. Granted, I do think these units are very overcosted, but in theory, if they can get on top of those bear sleds, they can do a ton of damage. And yeah, having your cultists take this hammering isn't that big of a deal. But eventually, you are going to have to play the middle objective. Now, Kislev does have some shooting coming in, so we have some basic Kossars and Kossars with great weapons making their way down towards the middle objective. I think the halberds are going to need to move on it. You can't let Kislev get that far ahead on objectives. And the Minotaurs of Khorne are basically just waiting for the objectives to open up. That's kind of what's going down here. I do think that pushing up here for Void is a mistake because you're extending into Khorne's deployment zone, which means that they're going to be getting the faster reinforcements. And that is something Khorne can kind of falter on, is the reinforcement rate. So Cultists have taken a little bit of HP. Like, yeah, 600 value for Void, but like the ammo that's been lost here is definitely not good. It hasn't done that much damage. In the back, I like this play. Xiphos using the Fleshhounds as well as the big Bloodthirster to kind of pressure in while the Cultists just, cause a little bit of a distraction here. And the Halberds are now moving towards the back objective, I think. Fury's flying across as well. And the two Cultists could fight the Elemental Bear. So nice little charge there, but you're going to want to retreat. You have already forced a response. You've gotten the Kossovite Dervishes to commit back here. I think pulling the Fleshhounds back and the Greater Demon back here is probably the right play. We'll have to see. And look at this, the Elemental Bear is kind of being surrounded and beaten on. Fury's blocking the bear from escaping. We do get the two Cultists getting some nice damage on it, but the bear has great mass and is able to escape here. Greater Demon, probably going to want to withdraw. This is not a place it wants to be. Pull the Greater Demon back to the middle. This play overall from Xiphos was pretty cool. it baited the Kislev army over here. And if this demon can kind of get away without taking too much more damage, I think it could be very, very worth. Middle objective going to be going to the forces of Khorne now. Minotaurs are moving in. Cultists are fine, and it looks like the Greater Demon has gotten away. And honestly, those Khorne dogs have done a good job. They have triggered the passive here on the Kosovo Dervishes, so they're getting some decent melee attack into the chariots here. And the big demon is pulling back, and the overextended Dervishes now are going to be attacked by some Khorne dog reinforcements, while Khorne is going to be grabbing the objective. And this is such a good play from Xiphos. He is basically dropping a Bloodletter Summon, which is going to block up this entire force from getting back to the middle objective, giving him a 2-to-1 cap. I love this back pressure, though. This is really cool, because it's putting Kislev in a weird position where they kind of have to, like, defend this, but also can't really truly go for the middle. This is a very, very solid play here. Very, very solid play. So here comes the Fleshhounds of Khorne, once again engaging to the chariots, and the big demon also going to be piling in. Will he get some good attacks? We will see if he can actually connect with the bear sheds. Bear sheds? No, it's basically like a shed on its back. And he does take out one of the sleds? No, but he does quite a bit of HP damage. I don't like the double Bloodletter Summon. I think that's overkill. I think just buffering them off is a good play. And the Greater Demon probably going to want to pull back. Look, this objective is owned by Kislev, but actually the forces of Khorne have a little bit of capture weight going here. Now up here, Winged Lancers battling against Khorne dogs, but the Winged Lancers did miss their charge, giving the Khorne dogs the advantage, and the Halberds are now moving up here. So this blockade tactic, I think, is very strong, but Kislev still does have its objective here, so value is very much going to be on the table. And Khorne is trading pretty evenly. Minotaur is going to be moving across to attack the Kosovite Dervishes. More and more Halberds kind of coming from the back lines, which is, I think, quite strong. Dervishes here, about broken. The Armored Kossars, their passive has been procced. The Bear Sleds, obviously very, very nasty. The Exalted Demon of Khorne fighting a great fight. And the Cultists are also getting a good pin. So he is keeping the fight away from the objectives, while the Halberds and Khorne dogs over here continue to trade very, very evenly. The Winged Lancers are being forced back. This is definitely some of the better Khorne play I've seen in this matchup. It is a very, very tough matchup. And this bear might actually be paying the iron price. It's taking that whip right in the face from the Exalted Bloodthirster. And the Cultists and the Minotaurs of Khorne with their anti-large bonus really dropping some big shots. But so too is the Demon. I think withdrawing from the Demon at this point, getting him back, having him kind of patrol the middle and just secure that is going to be the right play. Let the Minotaurs of Khorne and your Cultists just kind of blob by right here with the Khorne dogs providing a little bit of support. And where are those Halberds going? The Chaos Warriors are moving back here. The big demon still has 2,600 HP. So use the demon in safe engagements now. You want to move him over here and attack the Winged Lancers and the Kossars. Now for Void Lulls, I mean, he is still ahead on value. He's got good healing, a nice summon of a Snow Leopard here. I think that's really, really quite incredible. Snow Leopard's going to be an excellent tool against the Minotaurs, and the Minotaurs of Khorne might have been one of the main blunders that Xiphos has made this game. That is a big investment. That could have been more warriors just tar-pitting objectives. I think trying to fight on Kislev's spawn point here is certainly cute, but you're taking a lot of damage on that Bloodthirster. He's being focus fired by the chariots, who are just basically in guard mode, ripping shots into him however they can. And yeah, Halberd's having an excellent trade against Winged Lancers. I think that if you're Khorne, you got to fall back and just defend your objectives at this point. I think fighting in the danger zone here is not the way. Two Cultists doing great though. Really, really tar-pitting the Elemental Bear. Currently Kislev is up quite a bit. Going for this back objective feels risky. Like, it's kind of trickling in a little bit. Khorne Dogs here, though, getting excellent trades. Halberd's getting excellent trades, too. There's so many good ones. These Halberds need to fall back, though. Fighting these Hussars with the great weapons up here, I don't think is going to be a good trade for them. Halberd's obviously not excellent here, and now they're retreating. Xiphos makes the correct decision, as Void Lulls is really summoning quite well. Summoning out the Snow Leopards, I think, is an excellent play. They're going to be a very difficult unit to remove. The trading for Khorne did go well, but that's what happens when you extend into somebody's deployment zone and you fight in their territory. You're giving them a big advantage, whereas fighting in the middle is a little bit more even. But Khorne is still threatening the back objective, right? They have Halberds back here. Halberds will probably take out the Snow Leopard. Bloodletters appear to be moving back here. Definitely need to get some Halberds down here. And what will Khorne be summoning? Minotaurs, I think, were a big blunder. And that could be the one variable in a very, very tight game that could cost Khorne the match, is the Bloodletters. Basically, what you need to do with Khorne is you're probably going to be losing in value most of the time, although maybe the Halberds get it. The two Cultists can be unsummoned and resummoned in to come and support the middle. Halberds up here, still running and trying to stuff the Kislevite summon zone. Bloodletters here getting absolutely wrecked. Really nice play by Void Lulls. He gets his chariots disengaged, and he just runs over the infantry that are really vulnerable to it. Definitely need to see some Khorne Dogs, and we do get the Khorne Dogs coming in. So Khorne Dogs moving in to Slam Jam, Space Jam into these guys. But good retreat from Void Lulls as he is able to retreat. Halberds are now on the objective. That is going to make it exponentially harder. And look at this. Khorne is actually threatening the back objective despite being down on value. The decision-making from Xiphos has been really good. The Bear Breath coming in, not quite able to do it. I think if Kislev loses this objective, that could potentially be a game-losing play. The value is really going up, and he is sending Griffin Legion in there, but these are halberds, and the Khorne Dogs, if they can keep the Griffin Legion off the objective while Khorne captures it, that could be a victory for Khorne, honestly. That would be really, really tough. He's so close to capturing it. The Kislevites are running on. They're almost at the edge of the objective. One more tick is going to go down here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Kislev is probably going to be able to hold it. The Cultists of Khorne moving on to the objective, but the thing about this is it's forcing Kislev to send reinforcements here, which means they're not addressing these objectives as much. Nice attempt here by Void. I do like the back cap here. He's moving the Kosovo Dervishes onto objective 1, which is going to force a response from Xiphos. It looks like it's going to be Chaos Warrior Halberds going back there. But Xiphos is rapidly approaching the point where he might be able to win this by just holding one objective. That is really the dream for Khorne in this matchup. Minotaurs of Khorne actually finally getting a good engagement. They're able to beat down many of these chariot units. And Kosovo Dervishes do take like 45 minutes to capture an objective. So those halberds should be able to get back there. This is a huge surround for Xiphos as well, as the Chaos Warriors of Khorne get a big beatdown on the huge healing magnet here. So the Patriarch is certainly having some problems, while the French champion continues to contest this back objective as well. The Khorne Dogs and the halberds trading very well, and I think the weak link here for Void has been the Elemental Bear. That's really been kind of the bane of his existence here, just not very useful, whereas if he had more sleds or more infantry, I think he could have contested the objectives a little bit. Now, this is a good play. This is such a good play by Void. Using the chariots to keep the halberds from getting to the objective is so solid, and the capture weight is going up for him, but the Chaos Furies of Khorne probably will push off the Kosovo Dervishes, but again, their leadership, because of the Kislev passive, is going to keep those bad boys fighting for quite some time. Now, the back objective is still actually being threatened by Khorne. Those halberds back there doing some excellent work. The middle objective, very solid for Khorne. They have halberds here, and Kislev is threatening the back objective. They do have the chariots. Okay, this could be a game changer, because suddenly they could end up with a 2-cap, and Khorne is kind of stuck in the middle. Although the Minotaurs are almost here, halberds need to get on that objective, because this is a huge cap for Void Lulls. The Kosovo Dervishes are down. The Minotaurs do have some capture weight. Xiphos is moving Khorne Dogs back here, I think. No, he sends them back to the middle. Halberds need to get on top of the objective. Oh man, the infantry are just now getting on. Is it going to go to the forces of Void? I think there might be enough halberds on that it's not going to be enough, because infantry have huge capture weight, and look at that. Oh my god, that was so close. The Chaos Warriors of Khorne, they get the objective back in the 4th quarter, and I think that maybe seals the game. Because if that had been taken by Kislev, I think that gives them enough buffering to maybe work some value plays. The Heart of Winter did go down here to take out the halberds here. And on the back objective, these Khorne Warrior halberds fighting like absolute champions. Absolute champs. The Elemental Bear roaring, probably only accruing like 500 value. Okay, I guess I was wrong. 2,400 value on the bear, certainly at least paying for itself. But positionally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of the bear. Maybe it has been good, maybe it hasn't, but I could be wrong. So, here we have it. Fleshhounds of Khorne battling against the Kosovo Dervishes. More and more Fleshhounds, Bloodletters moving up, Horn of Khorne is active. Minotaurs still going like champs, man. How much value have these guys got in this game? They've gotten over 1,000, not quite paying for themselves, but it looks like Xiphos, the champion of French Warhammer here, going to be coming in with the reverse sweep, losing the first 2 games in a really decisive fashion. One with Cathay looking like he was going to be on the fence, but overall here, proving that he's got some serious chops, winning with Slaanesh, winning with Kislev last game, and now winning a hard matchup that is actually favored against him with Khorne. Because I don't think there's any way that Void's going to be able to come back. Victory location 1 here, going for the forces of Xiphos. 2 as well. Kislev has taken number 3. The bear doing a pretty good job holding it down there, I suppose. Heart of Winter going to be nice, but he would have to capture 3. And there you have it, Xiphos with the reverse sweep in the grand finals of today's tournament. What an amazing match between Void and Xiphos. So good. So good. Let's take a look at the breakdown and see who the big performers are. So Greater Demon kind of got shut down, dude. Cultist, the roadblock, and the halberds, like nothing in Xiphos' army got like crazy value except for the Khorne Dogs, I suppose. But really the road blocking play and that feign onto the objective 3 in the beginning was so good. Because it forced Kislev off that middle objective where they probably wanted a blob fight, right? That was a really good Khorne play. And Void's build was good too. I'm not a huge fan of the bear, but it did pay for itself at least. I feel like the bear sleds are just so much more cost effective. Seeing more heavy sleds could have been nice. And probably would have been much harder for Khorne to fight. But overall, that is going to be GG well played, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Now let's make it official. We are going to go over to the brackets and update them in the true fashion of our tournaments. Here they come. Xiphos is officially going to be our number 1 ranked player. in my tournament league right now because now it is official. And we can go and look at the website. Xiphos will update that, so let me go ahead and report the score for them. And we can get this going. Got to make it nice and official. So players can report the score. So Xiphos, report the score right now. GG, well played. Great series. Xiphos, report your score. So I can show on leaderboard. Xiphos said he had a blast. It's super late now. Thanks, Turin. He says he has work in the morning. I love it. Dude, what a match. What a match indeed. So he'll report that in just a moment. We'll show you what it looks like on the old website. Aha! It worked. Power of technology, baby. Let's go. Let's show you guys. So now the leaderboard on the website. You can see tournament wins carry the most weight. So he's got 5 wins and 0 losses. We're going to be adding win percentage here soon too. So there will be a win percentage column coming in. We're also going to be giving players the ability to update the country and the clan that they're in so they can kind of shout out their the communities that they're part of. But yeah, you can see the current leaderboard for our tournaments right now, which it's pretty cool. Yeah, and it'll become more. We got to come up with like a tiebreaker like this, but really, yeah, this is the jam. So crazy series. Well played. Thank you guys all for the donations and support today. Wheelhouse, you especially, man. Thank you so much. And if you guys enjoyed the tournament, do drop a like on the way out. See if you can pump it up over 400. That'd be pretty cool. Definitely helps more people find the old multiplayer action. The next tournament we have coming up is going to be the Total Tavern launch tournament. That is going to be going down tomorrow. So if you guys want to sign up for this, you just go to totaltavern.com, join the Discord, and you can sign up. These are all the players. The important thing is right before the event starts, you need to check in. So within 1 hour of the tournament starting, you can check in and do that. And here's all the rules and everything. And yeah, so this is going on. And then on Saturday, we have the land battle tournament, which currently has 20 people signed up. I'm sure more will come. But it's tied to your Discord names. So you're going to be able to see who you're playing against. It's much easier to find your opponents than it is on Challenge. So hopefully it's a more efficient tournament hosting system. Yeah, we're doing it. All right, so back to the brackets. Once again, congratulations to Xiphos. Wookiee's spirit blesses you from above with his paw there. So there you go. You've done ODM proud as well as the French people. So that's it. What's to stop someone from making false reports of wins? That's my job. If somebody makes a false report, I have full admin control. So if somebody makes a false report, I go in and change it. And then I ban them from future tournaments. So, I mean, unless it was an accident, then I just fix it. But if they're doing it on purpose, then yeah, they would be banned from my events. And I have the ability to ban IPs and everything like that. So yeah. No, why couldn't the tournament be on Saturday? Logic, we do have one on Saturday. We have the land battle tournament on Saturday. We have another domination tournament tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm thinking 2 to 3 tournaments a week is what I want to be doing. It's pretty heavy duty, but with the support you guys give, it definitely makes paying out the prizes easier. No, I'm super hungry, guys. I got to go eat. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream will be earlier. The tournament will probably be starting closer to noon, although it is a bigger event slightly. But overall, it's going to be really fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Congratulations to Xiphos and Voidlaws, Ulrich Rawl, and Random Nicks. Great games, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care of yourselves. Adios. Do widzenia. Dobranoc.